Get ready for the Rams tonight. What about the health of your team?
Well, we're in pretty good shape, Jim. Other than the fact we had to put Trapillo on injured reserve after the Detroit game, I think we're pretty healthy. We did put Louis Lips on injured reserve on Saturday. His hamstring that he injured in the Detroit game just wasn't coming around, and we felt like we needed somebody, so we put him on IR and activated Marcus Dowdell. But other than that, Jimmy Wilkes is going to start tonight. It'll be his first action since the first game of the season. And everybody else is pretty good. We got some guys that aren't exactly 100%, but that's always the case.
Who will be your inactives?
Joel Smingy is going to be inactive tonight, and although he's healthy, he's going to be inactive, and of course Steve Walsh, our third quarterback.
You touched on Marcus Dowdell coming back. Patrick Newman won the fifth wide receiver's job on the team and won the punt returning job based on preseason, although Marcus had a good preseason returning punts. Was that primarily because you thought Patrick might be able to help you a little bit more in the passing game than a rookie?
We felt so. We just felt a little bit more comfortable with an experienced player at that point in Patrick, both as a punt returner and as a wide receiver. But with the emergence of Torrance Small as one of our four starters, then really Marcus is a fifth wide receiver and really wouldn't get into the game on offense unless something happened to somebody else. And, hey, we're going to give him a shot back there at punt returner tonight and see what he can do.
You mentioned the injury to Trapillo. What will this do to the rotation that you've been going with at right guard?
Well, we will not rotate. We will keep Kennard in there, most of the game at right guard and Dombrowski at left guard. We will continue to place Chris Porto at both tackle positions.
The tight end situation has been one that's been in a lot of flux for you this season. How do the three people, or sometimes the four people, I guess, that figure in that position, how do they stand right now health-wise?
Well, John Tice is still not 100% and will remain on injured reserve for this game. Hobie, Brenner, Frank Wainwright, and Tommy Stowers are 1, 2, and 3 tight ends. They'll all be dressed and active tonight and all healthy.
It's a great achievement that Eric Martin can have tonight if he catches a pass. It'll be his 79th straight game, and that'll tie a Saints record held by Danny Abramowitz.
Well, Eric has been a great player for the Saints since 1985. He's having an excellent season this season, as good as a start as I've seen him have since I've been here that I can recall. So, I hope he equals the record, and I hope it's a big catch for us that helps us win the game.
We'll talk about the Rams in just 1 second. More on the Jim Mora Chalk Talk right after this. You're listening to Saints Football.
The newest resort on the Biloxi Gulf Coast, the Grand Biloxi Beach Resort, has put together something special for all you big winners, just so you don't have to wait in line. They have arranged for your VIP entrance to the Isle of Capri Casino and the Biloxi Bell Casino. The Big Winners plan also includes room for two, all bar drinks, your choice of a meal daily, tax, and transportation, all for $59 per person per night. Some restrictions apply. Don't wait in line. Be a VIP at the Grand Biloxi Beach Resort. Call 1-800-325-9384. What is your office communication system like? First Communication is the first team in communications. They're ready and able to tune up that out-of-tune communication system you're using now. Let First Communication compose your telephone system and service. It has some very pleasant notes. Listen to how First Communication guards against breakdown. Your present system's high notes compared with First Communication's low notes. Call First Communication at 464-1717 and listen to your telephone communication system perform like a symphony.
Sports 1280.
What about Vince Buck's status, Jim?
Vince is close to being ready to play, and I'll tell you, now that we've activated Marcus Dowdell off developmental, we will have a spot on developmental next week so that we could let Vince start practicing. He would stay on IR, of course, during the course of the week, but he could practice, and we could make a decision prior to game time whether or not to bring him off injured reserve.
One of the things that I think has impressed Saints fans throughout your tenure here is how consistently your team plays from week to week. I would think a lot of the fans probably looking at your schedule see the first 5 games, say, boy, if we can just get through that with a winning record, which you have, then it gets easier after that. Is that anything you ever have to caution your players against?
Well, I kind of look for signs that they may be thinking this way. I don't like to bring it up if it doesn't need bringing up. Now, and because I don't like to create negative thoughts in their mind that, hey, you guys better be ready this week, or things you could be beat, or something like that. Because I've been through that before in my coaching career, not as a head coach, and sometimes you have a tendency to overreact or think that they're thinking this way and they're really not, So I'm trying to learn in this regard, and I haven't seen any signs this week from our team that they think this game's going to be any less difficult than the 5 we played, because it isn't. It might be tougher than most of them.
Does it make it easier for you to get their attention, or is there any need to get their attention more from week to week? But more so this week, does it make it easier the fact that they played so well against the 49ers?
That helped because they all looked at the tapes, as we all did, and they all know that that day, really as a team, the Rams were better than the 49ers. There was a couple of individual efforts late in the game by Steve Young and Jerry Rice that enabled San Francisco to win that game, but the Rams really had a great opportunity to win it. And the fact that it's that, and the fact that it's a division game, and the Rams, I think these are things that would lead me to believe this team will be taking this game very, very seriously.
Jim Everett had one of his best performances, perhaps in the past 2.5 seasons. Everybody always talks about getting to Jim Everett early. You got to get to him early, perhaps knock him out of his rhythm, and sometimes he never gets it back. Is there anything to that?
I think it's true with most quarterbacks, and I don't know why they always talk about Everett that way, but although, I remember a game here a few years ago, we had a pretty good lead, and he came back and hit Anderson for 336 yards on 15 catches, and I think we got a few sacks early in the game, so I'm not so sure that's true. I think with all quarterbacks, if you can get a little pressure on them early, it kind of shakes their confidence a little bit.
We'll be back to talk about the Ram running game right after this. This is the Saints Network. The Rams in the past few years, back when John Robinson was the head coach, continued to look for the hallmark runner that they could build their attack around. Ever since losing Eric Dickerson, they seem to be looking for someone of that type. Cleveland Gary's coming off, I guess, the only 100-yard rushing performance in the NFL last week.
I didn't know that. I knew that he rushed for over 100 yards. I didn't know it was the only one. He broke some long ones. He broke a 35-yarder against San Francisco. He broke a couple of 18-yarders. He likes to cut it back, so if you over-pursue on him and create gaps in your front, then he's going to find it, and he's an excellent runner. He doesn't have great speed, but he's got deceptive moves, and he's fluid, and he's tough, and he breaks tackles.
What kind of attack do the Rams run under a Chuck Knox? Pretty much the same thing that John Robinson ran?
They just seem a little more solid to me, and I don't know quite how to describe that. A little more committed, a little bit more hanging their hat on some things rather than a little hodgepodge. I felt like the last couple of years the Rams got a little trying this, trying that. I think the Rams have got an offense in, and they're going with it, and it's a good mix of run and pass, and they look real solid to me.
Yeah, you're right. In the last couple of years, they did move some people around on the offensive line that seemed to hurt them. On the defensive line as well, they went with a new philosophy last year and moved Kevin Green up and really lost their best pass rusher in doing so.
Right, and they brought in a whole new defensive staff, and they're going to go with this system, and all that stuff's fine if you got the players that can do it, that fit into that particular scheme. But, this isn't the case with this Ram team. They've got a defensive and an offensive scheme in that they can execute, that they have the players for, that the coaches know, that the coaches can teach, that the players can learn, and they just look like a much better team to me.
Chuck Knox has always had the reputation of being able to turn around teams pretty quickly, hasn't he?
He has, and that's, a little worrisome because I look at his record, and, every time he's come into a new team, he's done real well that first year. So they've got good players to start with. It ain't going to take any miracles to get this team on the winning side of the record.
Back with more in just a moment. You're listening to Saints Football.
The law office of Carnell Thomas provides competent and trustworthy legal advice in a warm and comfortable environment. This team of legal professionals has served their New Orleans community for the past 10 years. Now, if you have legal problems, their professionals stand poised to help you. Carnell Thomas and his associates has assisted thousands of people just like you in cases from maritime, personal injury, criminal, divorces, and succession. Stop by their office at 3723 Canal Street or call 482-2841. 482-2841. the law firm of Cardell Thomas gets results.
Good evening. There is no more parking in the Superdome. You're going to have to think commercial parking if you're heading towards the Saints game. No delays at the high rise from New Orleans East. Slow once again at the Canal Cleveland down ramp. Coming from the West Bank, the Crescent City connection, a handful of cars remain at the toll plaza. Heading towards the Superdome on the Pontchartrain Expressway, delays are back to the Carrollton interchange. Coming off the Crescent City connection, slow at the O'Keefe and the Camp Street exits. Drive carefully. Jamie Dijon, Saints Network Traffic.
Sports 1280.
Part of the rebuilding process for the Rams is occurring along the defensive line. Not many teams in the NFL, I wouldn't think, start two rookie defensive tackles side by side. They're doing so with some success in Boutte and Gilbert.
Right, they're both really good-looking guys. Jamie, they're big, strong. Gilbert's 315 pounds, and he might be more. I'm not sure. That's what they list him as. Boutte's around 300, and they're both very active. They get an excellent push up the middle. They're tall. It's hard to throw over them. They get their hands up. Boutte's got 5 or 6 deflections, so they're going to present a problem for us tonight. They're doing a real good job, and they got great futures in this league.
They are 28th against the rush in the NFL. What do you see, and I know you can't be too pointed in this remark, but what do you see as one of their problems for being so low?
Well, people have had some success running the ball, but, I'm not a real... the statistics to me are not meaningful. What are we against the rush? I think we're 20th. But yet I don't think we're the 20th best team against the rush in the NFL. I think we do a pretty good job against the rush. I hope so anyway. So those statistics aren't always indicative of how you play the run or the pass. And I think the Rams, what I've seen as far as their rush defense is concerned, is improvement each week.
How many games do you look at of the Rams on tape in preparing for them?
We've looked at all 5 of the ones they've played this year. We've looked at both of our games last year that we played against the Rams. Those are the ones we've kind of specifically put the emphasis on.
Would it seem that their last game is the most important for you out of those that you look at, or does it change from week to week?
Well, it depends offense and defense. Now, when I said we looked at last year's games, I don't think our offensive teams looked at last year's game because it's a whole different defensive philosophy. Our offensive staff did, but our defensive staff did because they've got the same offensive coordinator, Ernie Zampisi, and they haven't changed up a whole lot. But I think I always put most of my my emphasis on the last game, the most recent games. If the teams they're playing do things that are similar to what we do, if they're completely, like, say we're playing a run and say that they played a run and shoot last week, then you're not going to look at their defense as to how their defense is going to line up against you, because it's a totally different philosophy as to what they have to stop. But primarily you would look at the most recent games.
Back with the final word in just one moment. This is the Saints Network.
If you take the 4 quarters in a football game, add a few timeouts, and of course the announcer's witty commentary, you might have time to make chili from scratch. Or try Tabasco brand 7-spice chili recipe. 1 jar with its 7 specially blended herbs and spices turns a pound of brown meat into homemade tasting chili in minutes. And all you'll miss is a little of that witty commentary. An original or spicy Tabasco 7-spice chili recipe is homemade taste made easy from the makers of Tabasco brand pepper sauce.
Well, there have been a spate of upsets around the NFL today. Let's hope that you're not one of them tonight.
Well, yeah, I hope so. I don't like to think negative thoughts, but every week there's teams that win games that shouldn't win them, or come close to winning games that shouldn't win them, and hopefully you'll learn, and you got your guys ready to play, and they'll go out and play to their potential, and that's what we expect to do tonight.
Jim, good luck tonight against the Rams.
Thank you.
For Jim Mora's Chalk Talk, I'm Jim Henderson.
Chalk Talk with head coach Jim Mora, an exclusive pregame presentation of the Saints Radio Network. Kickoff is just minutes away, and just moments away are the pregame thoughts of Jim Henderson, Archie Manning, and David Garrett. You're listening to New Orleans Saints football.
Sports 1280 is well seasoned. Football, baseball, basketball, golf, tennis. Sports Final, morning 6 to 9, Monday through Friday with...
I'm Doug Joubert in the home of the Saints.
I'm Monica Pierre with a news minute for Sports 1280.
Drive carefully, Bob Noble, Smith, Trisky, and traffic.
Tony Doty, Sports 1280 Weather Center. Good morning, Tony.
Well, good morning, Doug. Really terrific forecast for you
Sports
today.
Page, middays 11 to 1 with Renee Nadeau and his guests like O.J. Simpson, Merlin Olsen, and Johnny Unitas.
Live from the Fairmont. Come on down and join us. We're at the Quarterback Club today, and we'll have Joe Dean with us today, Jim Finks from the New Orleans Saints, Coach Buddy Stevens from the Tulane Green Wave.
Talking sports Sports Afternoons, 3 to 5 with Corey Johnson and Russell Cote.
Between the Hedges is an extremely difficult place to play. Let's go to John first, downtown. How you doing, John?
Fine, Russ. How you doing, Corey?
All right.
The voice of the New Orleans Saints, Dave Garrett, anchors Sports Central at 5.
Let's go to the phones once again. Guys, next. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Real good.
All right. I kind of
Your
like
station for all seasons, the home of the Saints, Sports 1280.
Hit the Hut for the new all-day, everyday carry-out special. Get 2 medium one-topping pizzas, a lunch order of breadsticks, and a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi Cola, all for just $9.99. Carry-out special available at participating Pizza Hut restaurants, now accepting Visa and MasterCard.
What can you buy for $9.95 these days?
We deliver.
Quite a lot. With express mail overnight delivery service from your post office. For less than $10, you put the full power of the United States Postal Service to work for you. Over 700,000 men and women ready to do whatever it takes to assure next morning delivery. Express mail service, just $9.95 for up to 8 ounces. Sponsored by your Postal Service.
Sports 1280 AM.
Here come the Saints. Clear Channel Sports presents New Orleans Saints football as the Saints defend their Western Division NFC title. Proud sponsors of the Saints on radio include Southwest Airlines, providing frequent flights and low fares, which is why flying Southwest Airlines is just plain smart. Popeye's famous fried chicken and biscuits, the official training table product of the New Orleans Saints. Ford Quality Care. It may be your car, but it's still our baby. Sears Brand Central, the brand you want at the store you trust. Your Southland Jeep and Eagle dealers. Remember, there's only one Jeep. Pennzoil Motor Oil and Gum Out, available at all Walmart stores. BC Headache Powder. No matter where you're hurting, nothing works faster. Tabasco brand products, Tabasco Sauce 7-Spice Chili and Tabasco Bloody Mary Mix. They're Louisiana legends. And by the Isle of Capri in Biloxi. Isle of Capri for Caribbean-style fun and games. Now stand by to claim your 50-yard line seat with the 1992 play-by-play voice of the Saints, David Garrett.
Along with Archie Manning and Jim Henderson in the Louisiana Superdome, a near sellout tonight. We'll watch this NFL-NFC Western Division rivalry between the New Orleans Saints and the Los Angeles Rams. Mirrored records. The Saints are 3-2 on the year. The Rams come in this game at 2-3. First of all, some quick business. Yesterday, the Saints put Louis Lips on injured reserve and picked up Marcus Dowdell from the practice squad. It is anticipated that Dowdell will return punts this evening, and Eric Martin, at least on the roster, will get his first start of the season in place of Wesley Carroll. Inactive tonight for the Saints, Joel Smingy, right outside linebacker, backup to Pat Swilling, and Steve Walsh, who will play the emergency quarterback. The Rams come into this game leading in the all-time series, 26 wins, 18 losses. The series began with the 27-13 Rams win, September 17, 1967, at Tulane Stadium as the Saints' first game in the National Football League. We'll have Archie's and Jim's comments about tonight's matchup. We'll also hear from Torrance Small, who has made a spot on this team in the last 2 weeks since coming off the practice squad, and also hear from offensive line coach Paul Boudreau going against 2 rookie defensive linemen for the Los Angeles Rams tonight, and looking at the NFL's worst team against the rush. They are the Rams coming into this game this evening. What will that mean? We'll find out in a little while. We'll have more of today's pregame in a moment here on the Saints Network.
Now's your chance to see the most exciting and technically advanced lineup in our history. Introducing Jeep and Eagle for 1993 with innovative new models that will truly amaze and thrill you. See the new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the sophisticated new Eagle Vision. Get a classically rugged 2-door, 2-wheel drive Jeep Cherokee Sport for as little as $14,335. Or buy an American original, the fun-loving Jeep Wrangler, starting as low as $10,910. You could get great deals on every vehicle in stock. So whatever you do, don't miss the 93s at your Jeep and Eagle dealer. MSRP after $500 cash back direct from Chrysler. Excludes title, taxes, and options. Actual prices may vary. These are limited time offers. Buyer must take delivery from dealer stock. See dealer for details. Jeep is a registered trademark of Chrysler Corporation. See your Southland Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
Keep your car's engine in shape with Pennzoil Motor Oil from Walmart. Pennzoil Motor Oil from Walmart gives your car's engine the protection needed against heat, cold, and friction. And Walmart has Pennzoil Motor Oil available in straight and multiple viscosity grades. So for world-class protection for your car's engine, pick up some Pennzoil Motor Oil. It will keep your car in shape, and at the Walmart price, your budget will be fit. Walmart. Always.
If you take the 4 quarters in a football game, add a few timeouts, and of course the announcer's witty commentary, you might have time to make chili from scratch. Or try Tabasco brand 7-spice chili recipe. 1 jar with its 7 specially blended herbs and spices turns a pound of brown meat into homemade tasting chili in minutes. And all you'll miss is a little of that witty commentary. An original or spicy Tabasco 7-spice chili recipe is homemade taste made easy from the makers of Tabasco brand pepper sauce.
Welcome back to the Superdome. We're joined by Jim Henderson and Archie Manning in the booth now. And, men, we talked so much over the week about the Rams' great game against San Francisco last week, although it was a loss. Does that mean a lot, Archie Manning, losing a ball game but playing well? Do we see a resurgence in this team, or can you not count on one game to mean anything in this league?
Oh, I think definitely, Dave, when a team has just won 8 ball games in the last 2 years, and you go against one of the best teams in football, and you play real well, you have a chance to win in the 4th quarter other than a couple of turnovers. I think it does a lot for your football team. You're always just looking for something positive, and there were a lot of positive things on behalf of the Rams in that game. The 49ers, I think, felt very fortunate to get out of there alive.
Jim, in that contest, many feel that Los Angeles actually played a better ball game than did San Francisco. In your talks with coaches or others close to the situation, did they feel the same way?
I think they were very impressed with what they saw of the Rams last week, and especially what they saw of Jim Everett. You know, as he goes, so goes the Rams, and he's been in a 2-year slump prior to this year. Now he's got a quarterback coach back. He's trying to get a little bit better line in front of him. Of course, that's the whole key. The Rams in the last couple of years have really gone downhill because of what they've had up front. Their defensive line has really been suspect for a number of years, for a long, long time. An aging offensive line was the strength of the team. Well, they moved some people around there, lost some others, and that's where it's really all begun. But if Jim Everett's well protected, as the Saints fans well know, he can cause you a lot of problems. The Saints in the past have had a good rush on him, and that's what they'll have to do here tonight.
Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Saints Football.
Sports 1280 brightens up your Saturday with the University of Southwestern Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns NCAA football. It's your 24-hour sports station, WQUE AM 1280 New Orleans.
As mentioned in the open, Dowdell is on the roster. Lips is on injured reserve for the next 4 weeks, so it's Carroll, Martin, Dowdell, Torrance Ball, and Quinn Early. Torrance Ball is fastly developing as the second go-to man in the Saints' offensive pass receiving core. He, along with Eric Barton, have caught just about everything thrown to them. Torrance Ball, though, has only had 2 games to prove that. What does that mean to him? We'll find out after these messages. You're listening to New Orleans Saints Football.
Sports 1280 has the big 3, Archie Manning, Coach Jim Mora, and Jim Thinks. Every Monday morning at 7, it's the Archie Manning Monday Morning Quarterback Show, live from Stonebreaker's Restaurant. Have breakfast and meet and chat with Mr. Saints, Archie Manning, about Saints football.
I think this tackle was, the thing happened to Haverdick early. And I think this tackle thing's been in the back of their mind, the coaches, personnel, people, every since.
Every Tuesday night at 6:30 on Sports 1280, it's the nuts and bolts of Saints football and what makes it go. It's your chance to talk to Coach Jim Mora about the good, the bad, and the exceptional play of the Saints.
Special teams coach and I were talking today. We both are optimistic that we're going to do better in the kicking game. We're going to be okay there.
Every Wednesday evening at 6:30, we get down to business with the Jim Thinks Show, live from Stonebreaker's Restaurant. Have dinner and talk Saints football with the president and general manager of the New Orleans Saints.
Tom had been talking to me about my contract off and on, and he was aware that I was talking to Jim Mora, but this time of the year is extremely busy for Jim Mora and Tom Benson.
The big 3, Archie Manning, Coach Jim Mora, and Jim Thinks, exclusively on Sports 1280.
You can believe everything you hear about Royal Mazda. They're the dealership that's different. So when Royal says they've got a great Mazda for you, it's a fact.
When you drive away with a Royal Mazda, we feel like that we're sitting in the back seat. Our customers depend on us to be there for them long after they've bought their car, and we are. Mazda trucks are tough. Mazda sells itself.
This is Mazda Mania.
Take it from the pros who know. Royal Mazda, the dealership that's different.
Silver Bullet is the right beer now. Brought to you by Coors Light, the crisp tasting beer that's mountains above the rest. Remember to reach for the Silver Bullet when there's no room for filling up.
New Orleans, Sports 1280.
Welcome back to the pregame as the Saints prepare to take on the Rams this evening in the Superdome. Torrance Small is our guest, and Torrance, first up, congratulations. You get the Endurance Award. What kind of travel has it been for you mentally to not make the squad, then to make the developmental squad, and now be a virtual starter on this team?
Well, it wasn't easy. It was hard work all the way through from training camp. I just worked hard, kept faith, and just kept playing.
What made the difference in that time period where you had the opportunity to come up and play with the regular 47?
Well, there was nowhere else I could go. I couldn't go no further down, so only way I can go was up, and that's what it did. I kept improving every day. The coaches saw that in me and gave me a chance to get in.
Were you surprised it took place?
No. Seeing other guys practice and watching myself practice and improve every day, to me, I felt that I was doing just as good, just as good as they were.
The word on Torrance Small is that you catch everything, regardless of where you're at on the field, without regard for personal injury or what's going to happen to you afterwards. You're in every play. You run routes correctly. What have you done in the short amount of time in your rookie year to get such discipline?
Well, basically, I had discipline in college, run precise routes, catch the ball when it get up in the air. The ball is always mine. Don't worry about the leap too much because you're going to get that anyway. So basically, I just go out and try to concentrate when the ball get up in the air. It belongs to me as far as I see.
A lot of people have talked about your size at 6'3" being an advantage. How do you use that as an advantage?
Well, yes, I use my size and my strength, get smaller defensive backs off me and, help me get open and ball, comes to me, catch it.
In the couple of games that you played in and had catches, Detroit and of course the week before against San Francisco, what were your thoughts in those games? How important a role did you think you would play entering those contests, being new to the 47-man roster?
Well, I knew I would mainly be coming in on third down, so if the ball came to me, I had to catch it, if it's first down or we out on 3 plays or that's the end of the drive. So I knew I had to catch the ball if it came to me once I got in.
How much has the confidence the coaches have in you helped you become better?
Well, it's more like now I know I have the support. I know they believe in me, and my confidence is, just that much greater right now.
Torrance Small, and men, we know that he has become a second go-to guy. I think he catches not only in practice but in games about everything thrown to him. How much better is this receiver core with the emergence of Torrance Small, Archie?
I think he's a big guy, Dave. I think he's an excellent target. And of course, when he's made the hard catch in a few games. So I think Bobby Heberts has definitely developed some confidence in him and did not mind going to him. And, I see some similarities with Eric Martin. And Eric just uses his upper body strength so well to get open and make catches. And that'd be a good example, someone for Torrance Small to watch and follow and try to become a receiver like Eric Martin.
Jim, Torrance has kind of mirrored Fred McAfee. You kind of hang in there long enough on the practice squad. You see so many things. It becomes you to do well on the practice squad, and that's something Torrance has done.
And he's running the scout team. One week maybe he's Flipper Anderson, the next week he's Jerry Rice, or he's Fred Barnett. So he's been doing an awfully good job when he was on the scout team, and that's what really brought him to the Saints' attention. Looking over some of the stuff though prior to the draft and on draft day in preparation for this game, everybody thought that he was a steal coming out in the 5th round for the Saints. They really thought a lot of him when they got him. He did nothing to change anybody's opinion during preseason. Remember, he led them in receptions during preseason, and I thought it was going to be a tough call to get him through waivers, but obviously every other team's in the same position you are, and you can't take a chance on a guy that is going to bump off somebody that you've been watching all summer. So the Saints were fortunate to get him through there, and I think he's going to be a great addition to this team in years to come.
The fans are filing in. The Saints are performing for those fans and the media as well, and we've got lots more to come. We'll talk about the Saints offensive line in just a moment, going against the NFL's worst team against the rush. Also, the Saints offensive line has suffered some criticism How good or how badly have they played? We'll find out with Paul Boudreau, the offensive line coach, in a moment. Now these network messages on the Saints Network.
These days in business, you have to look at problems as challenges. For instance, they cut my department's travel budget in half and said I had to keep sending out the same number of people. Okay, I accepted the challenge and found a solution. Southwest Airlines Friends Fly Free offer. You can buy one round-trip ticket at their low, unrestricted fare, and a friend flies with you free, anywhere Southwest Airlines flies. And friends aren't just spouses and pals. They're bosses and partners and clients, too. There's no advance purchase on a Friends Fly Free ticket either. Just make a reservation at least 24 hours in advance and stay over for one night. By the way, this offer doesn't include local airport taxes up to $12 round trip each. If your plans change at the last minute, Southwest Friends Fly Free tickets are fully refundable. And although seats are limited right now, they're available all week long. Friends Fly Free only on Southwest Airlines. It's the perfect solution to cut your business budget or to turn a short business trip into a long weekend. Call 1-800-I-FLY-SWA. It's just plain smart.
When it comes to getting your Ford serviced, you don't want any surprises. That's why Interstate Ford in Metairie keeps the prices for the most common services listed on a menu over the service counter, so you can see what the charges are up front. Like an engine tune-up for as low as $39.95. Stop in at Interstate Ford, 3724 Veterans Boulevard in Metairie anytime. There are no surprises here. Quality care. It may be your car, but it's still our baby.
Welcome back to the Saints pregame show. Dave Garrett along with Archie Manning and Jim Henderson. Paul Boudreau, offensive line coach, is our guest. One of many times so far this year. Paul, it's a pleasure to speak with you again, and we hear things like Rams are the worst in the NFL against the run. Does that make you lick your chops, or does it change anything?
It doesn't change a thing for me. I watched the film, and those kind of statistics are pretty deceptive. You know, you got a guy last week, the Niners ran with Steve Young. He looked like Bo Jackson out there, you know, and if you take away his rushing, you know, they're averaging, San Francisco's averaging about 4.0 per carry. So, you know, 80 yards of rushing from the quarterback from scrambles, it makes it look bad for the defense, but these guys are pretty damn good.
There are two rookies, though, in the interior of the defensive line. As far as recognition or reads or the smartness that they'll need eventually to be good players in the NFL, that's probably not there yet, is it?
No, I think everything they're seeing now is for the first time. You know, they've played in major colleges, you know, Boutte at LSU. He's seen a lot of things happen to him, but for the first time, he's seeing different ways to block you and attack you, and in pass protection, you know, I'm sure he's had some problems there. But though both those kids, if you look at it from the first game, we had the Buffalo game, we looked at that tape, and you look at the games now, they have really come on in the last 4 weeks. And I've been impressed with both guys. You know, Gilbert's a load. He's going to make Dombrowski look like he's a little guy out there.
Criticism avails from laymen about the line. What about from the coaches about the line? How has your group graded out?
Well, they've graded out pretty well, and I'm sure those people up there are experts, and they watch the film every day like I do. I've been pleased with my guys, and you know, they've taken some shots, and people look at the statistics. Hey, we ran the ball 16 times against Philly, and if you want to get a running game going with 16 runs, it's not going to happen. They're coming together as a good group. They're protecting Bobby. You know, the first game, they protected him well for 3 quarters. The fourth quarter, we didn't protect him well. So right now, I'm really happy with them, and they can say what they want. When the end of the season comes along, and over the last 5 years, I've gone to war with these guys, I've been happy to have them. And they've all bled for me, and they worked their butts off for me, and I'm really proud to have this group. And I think when it's all said and done, we're going to win our fair share of games.
Would you say that the Saints were lucky that Jaton was still around in the situation of losing Trapp? At least you got a guy that can come back in and knows the system.
Well, that was a plus for us, you know, and you know, he had just worked out with Green Bay the weekend before, and James Campen, another former guy that we lost through Plan B, had hurt his knee, and he was up there on Tuesday working out for him, and it worked out great for us. He knows our system, like you said. He's an experienced veteran. He's started 8 games last year for the Bengals, so we're really happy to have the guy. Hopefully we don't have to use him. We can keep the same 5 together for a while, and he can just keep on developing as a Saint.
Paul Boudreau, the offensive line coach of the New Orleans Saints, and man, when you look at a loss of a Trapillo who had played consistent for the Saints, you have to bring on a guy like Jaton. How much more drop-off is this line suffering?
Well, I think now they're not going to go as much with the rotation that they experienced before. They thought Trapillo and Kennard were pretty even, and that's why Steve was getting a chance in the second and fourth quarters. It's not that Derek couldn't go all the way, it's just they thought that Steve would be a little bit fresher and that they were pretty even in ability so they could play them both. Now I don't think you'll see that sort of rotation. I think you'll see Kennard going almost all the way.
Just to mention over at the other guard, Jim Dombrowski, I know Paul Boudreaux's mentioned to us a couple of times in chatting before a game, but it was also echoed by one of the Rams coaches to me that Dombrowski is definitely playing Pro Bowl type football. He's just making all his blocks. He's really become a leader, just a good solid guard, and one of the best guards in the NFL, I'd have to say now.
Archie will have some scores after these messages. You're listening to New Orleans Saints football.
The NBC Sunday Movie presents Jackie Collins' Lady Boss.
I'm Gino's daughter. You taught me good.
She's every man's fantasy.
This is as close to heaven as I'm going to get.
She has everything.
I excite the hell out of you.
Jack Scalia, Vanity, Scott Valentine, and Kim Delaney in the event you've been waiting for. Jackie Collins' Lady Boss, from the #1 bestseller on the NBC Sunday Movie at 9, 8 Central.
I'm Lucky Santangelo.
The saga continues Sunday.
79% of salespeople hustle more today than they did last year. 59% knock on more doors. Still, 31% say they hear no more often. Nobody knows business travelers like Holiday Inn. We have everything you need, from dry cleaning to a great breakfast. We'll even say good luck and give you a smile. Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you. Call 1-800-HOLIDAY or your travel agent.
The law office of Cardell Thomas provides competent and trustworthy legal advice in a warm and comfortable environment. This team of legal professionals has served their New Orleans community for the past 10 years. Now, if you have legal problems, their professionals stand poised to help you. Cardell Thomas and his associates has assisted thousands of people just like you in cases from maritime, personal injury, criminal, divorces, and succession. Stop by their office at 3723 Canal Street or call 482-2841. 482-2841. The law firm of Cardell Thomas gets results. The newest resort on the Biloxi Gulf Coast, the Grand Biloxi Beach Resort, has put together something special for all you big winners, just so you don't have to wait in line. They have arranged for your VIP entrance to the Isle of Capri Casino and the Biloxi Bell Casino. The big winners plan also includes room for two, all bar drinks, your choice of a meal daily, tax and transportation, all for $59 per person per night. Some restrictions apply. Don't wait in line. Be a VIP at the Grand Biloxi Beach Resort. Call 1-800-325-9384.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Superdome as we're still being entertained here in our pregame show, and more information to pass along with the fans today. Some upsets, as usual, on another weekend in the NFL, and here's Archie with scores.
Well, the Saints, of course, will be in Phoenix next Sunday. The Cardinals lost to the Giants today. Giants on top 31-21. If I'm not mistaken, the Rams will be in New York, or in the Meadowlands, to play the Giants next week. An upset here, the Raiders 20 and Buffalo 3. Late fourth quarter score, Houston 38, Cincinnati 24. And this sounds like a real thriller. It's in overtime. The Jets have 3 and Indianapolis has 3. Here's I think a final. Indianapolis has won that game 6-3, or at least they go up in the game 6-3. Pittsburgh upset by Cleveland today in Cleveland by the score of 17-9. Atlanta tried to come back, failed to do so, and lost to Miami 21-17 as Miami goes 5-0, and with Philadelphia getting beat, becomes the only undefeated team in the NFL. Philadelphia loses to Kansas City today, 24-17. The 49ers on top of New England, 24-12. Dallas has no trouble with Seattle winning that game 27-0, and of course Denver will be playing at Washington tomorrow night.
Our Southwest Airlines starting lineups coming up in just a moment. You're listening to the Saints Network. Welcome back to the Superdome. Dave Garrett along with Archie Manning and Jim Henderson. It's time now for the Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Presented by Southwest Airlines, it's just plain smart. First of all, in the Saints offense, at least depth chart-wise, Eric Martin will get his first start of the season in place of Wesley Carroll at one wide receiver. Quinn Early starts at the other wideout. Richard Cooper will get the start at left tackle. Tim Dombrowski, who's played great at guard, gets the start on the left side. Joel Hilgenberg starts at center, and Derek Kennard starts at right guard, along with Stan Brock at tackle. Kobe Brenner, Frank Wainwright, and Tommy Stowers are the 3 tight ends in tonight's game. Bobby Hebert gets the start at quarterback. Steve Walsh is inactive for this evening's game as the emergency quarterback. Vaughn Dunbar starts at halfback, and Craig Hayward starts at fullback. Saints defensively, Wayne Martin and either Jim Wilkes or Les Miller at nose tackle, and Frank Warren across the front line. The linebackers, as usual, Ricky Jackson, Sam Mills, Vaughn Johnson, and Pat Swilling. The cornerbacks are Toy Cook and Reggie Jones, and the safeties are Brett Maxey and Gene Atkins. Joel Spingy off the defense is inactive on the two-man inactive roster for this evening. Rams offensively, Willie Anderson starts at one wide receiver. Flipper gets the start there. The other wide out, Henry Ellert. Left tackle is Gerald Perry. Tom Newberry at left guard. Vern Brostick will start at center. Joe Malinichik at right guard and Jackie Slater at right tackle. Pat Carter, Jim Price, and Travis McNeil are the tight ends. Jim Everett out of Purdue gets the start at quarterback. Had a great game last week. Cleveland Gary starts at one running back. David Lang starts at the other. On defense, at left end, Gerald Robinson. And a couple of rookies start at tackles. Mark Butte and Sean Gilbert getting the start. Butte, of course, out of LSU, a rookie, their third-round draft choice this past 92 draft. Gilbert's a big one, their first-round draft choice this past draft, a rookie out of Pittsburgh at 6'4" and 315. Bill Hawkins will start at right defensive end. Kevin Green, Larry Kelm, Roman Pfeiffer, and Robert Bailey. Kevin Green and Larry Kelm and Roman Pfeiffer start at linebackers. It's Robert Bailey and Darrell Henley at cornerbacks, and Anthony Newman and Pat Terrell will start at safeties this evening for the Rams. Saints come in at 3-2. Rams are 2-3. This, of course, a crucial game in the National Football Conference Western Division. That's today's Southwest Airlines starting lineup, and that's been today's pregame show. Now stay tuned for kickoff and Saints football coming up next here on the Saints Network.
There are only so many hours in a day, so many... From the beginning, Southwest Airlines has done things differently to make your business day more productive and efficient. Just take a look at our flight schedule. It's specifically designed around the times you need to fly, with a total of 13 flights to Dallas and 16 to Houston every business day. And Southwest has one of the best on-time records in the industry, so you can get down to business a lot quicker and not waste time or money. Southwest Airlines also serves close-in, uncongested airports like Dallas Love Field and Houston Hobby, saving you time on the road, as well as cab fare. It's really very simple. While all airlines were built to fly you places, only one was built to save you time. Southwest Airlines, the most convenient airline you can fly, with the lowest unrestricted fares. Call 1-800-I-FLY-SWA. It's just plain smart.
When it comes to getting your Ford serviced, you don't want any surprises. That's why Interstate Ford in Metairie keeps the prices for the most common services listed on a menu over the service counter, so you can see what the charges are up front. Like an engine tune-up for as low as $39.95. Stop in at Interstate Ford, 3724 Veterans Boulevard in Metairie anytime. There are no surprises here. Quality care. It may be your car, but it's still our baby.
Party Caribbean style at the Isle of Capri Casino, Mississippi's largest. The Isle is always open for non-stop fun and excitement with live entertainment, free admission, and free parking. So come to the Isle of Capri Casino at Point Cadet in Biloxi. It's a tropical paradise. For information, call 1-800-THE-ISLE.
It's good to be home in the Dome, and we're ready for Saints football against the Los Angeles Rams. Dave Garrett along with Archie Manning and Jim Henderson. The Rams are 26-18 in this all-time series. Overall, Los Angeles is 12-10 in games played here in New Orleans, including a 9-7 mark here in the Superdome. The Saints, though, have won 2 straight at the Dome over the Rams and 5 of the last 7. New Orleans also is overall 51-84 against the NFC West, including a 22-16 positive register since Jim Mora took over as head coach in 1986. The Saints have dropped 4 of their last 5 meetings, though, with NFC West teams. They're 1-1 this season against the West, a 10-7 win over the Falcons in Atlanta in September, and a 16-10 loss to the 49ers 2 weeks ago here in the Superdome. Which Rams team will we see here tonight? The one against San Francisco this past week, or the one that we've become accustomed to seeing? And will the Saints offense have an ability to score some points against this Rams defense that's allowed at least the worst percentage against the rush in the NFL? Paul Boudreau said earlier, guys, that probably is not a good stat because of what San Francisco was able to do this past week out of scrambles. What kind of game do you men expect tonight?
I think statistics where you see the Rams 28th against the run, those are statistics the Saints coaches don't like to see, because I feel the Saints fans here don't really respect the Rams as they did in previous years. You contrast this mood, Archie, to the mood we had here 2 weeks ago when the 49ers played in here. The place was electric. It was on fire. This week's game didn't sell out really in time, although the sellout was guaranteed. We see an awful lot of no-shows around here. There's not quite the spark there was here 2 weeks ago, and I think as a coaching staff, you got to be a little bit forewarned by that.
Oh, I definitely agree with you, Jim, and I think it's because really the type of football that the Rams have played the last couple of years. They really have been just a very tender-type team. Saints, of course, have won the last 4 outings against them. This will be a different team in time with Chuck Knox. It's hard to believe that a guy is back coaching somewhere where he became a head coach almost 20 years ago. Yep. And you follow Chuck Knox's teams around, you know they've become contenders pretty quick. He did that in Buffalo and Seattle, and of course with the Rams when he went there in 1973. So he'll definitely stabilize things, and I think it's just like Dave said, it's just a question of which Rams team shows up tonight.
In fact, he's one of 9 coaches to take over a losing team and lead it to the playoffs in his very first year. So the knock against Chuck Knox has been that he can't make a good team great. He can't get you to the Super Bowl. He can't win the ultimate game for you. But nobody in football is better at taking a bad team and making it a respectable one quickly.
Bob McElwee is the referee tonight. You'll hear his voice next as we have the toss of the coin on the Saints helmet at the middle of the field.
This gentleman, please call it while it's in the air. Heads, he says.
Saints win the toss. Rams got the call and called incorrectly. It must have gone tails, and we'll see what the Saints want to do.
Do you know, David, that the Rams have not won a coin toss the entire year, preseason and into the regular season?
That's incredible.
Saints won the toss and have elected to receive. They'll receive the football, the goal to our right in the Girard Street end zone, and move from our right to our left as we describe the action for you here in the first period of play. The Saints against the Los Angeles Rams. Saints at 3-2 on the year, Rams at 2-3 on the season. This game is brought to you in part by Tabasco Brand Products, a proud sponsor of Saints football on radio. Tabasco Brand Pepper Sauce, 7-Spice Chili, and Tabasco Brand Bloody Mary Mix. Like the Saints, they're a Louisiana legend. And happy birthday wishes to Rob Fields, who is the network sales executive of the Saints Network. He turns 45 today, and guys, he doesn't look a day over 44.
Well, why don't we stroke our boss tonight? My goodness. Happy birthday, Rob.
Happy birthday, Rob.
Actually, it was on the script here. We'd also like to welcome former NFL Saints greats Jim Taylor and Tom Dempsey to our Saints Network Skybox tonight, along with special network guest Mike Schwartz from San Antonio.
Well, we mentioned one trend here that continued with the toss of the coin, the Rams losing again. Another trend that the Saints will try to perpetuate here in the first quarter is that the Rams have been outscored 41-0 in the first quarters of regular season games so far this year. Of course, everybody knows the difficulty the Saints have had themselves. They have not led at halftime in any of their first 5 games.
Little Tony Zendejas will kick. 5'8", 165-pounder. He's an 8th-year NFL veteran, was picked up in Plan B last year off the Houston roster. And back deep to receive will be Fred McAfee along with Dalton Hilliard, both standing near the Saints end zone as we get ready for kickoff and play-by-play here on the Saints Network as the Rams come to town to take on New Orleans. Saints will be on the road next week against the Phoenix Cardinals in a 3 o'clock Central Time kickoff, and then we'll have the next weekend off. The off week for the NFC West is October 25th. There's the whistle from referee Bob McElwee, and Zendejas will approach the football from the 35. Saints will be moving from our right to our left, the crowd on their feet, and here's a high end over end kick. It will not go very deep. In fact, McAfee fields it to 12, has some running room to the right if he could get away from one defender, and does not. The defender catches up with him at the 15-yard line, and making the tackle is Chris Crooms. If he'd have gotten past Crooms, though, it was a lot of running room.
Well, that's the problem. Fred McAfee, of course, has great speed for the Saints, but you got a lot of fast guys running down on kickoff teams, too. Crooms, a defensive back, a rookie out of Texas A&M, made a real fine tackle.
Dunbar and Hayward in the backfield, and we see Wesley Carroll out there, although we were told that Martin would get the start. Really, it doesn't matter on the depth chart what it says, because there'll be 3 and 4 wideouts. Martin and Quinn Early are wide to the right. Colby Brenner is the tight end on the near side, and they line up in the I formation from the 16-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Saints against a 4-man defensive front for the Los Angeles Rams. Hebert, straightaway handoff to Dunbar, a right tackle. He was stopped right at the line of scrimmage, but tiptoes his way all the way up to the 24-yard line.
You saw the Saints open with 3 wide receivers, and yet they ran the ball. They feel that's one of the keys, that if you can spread the Rams out, that's when teams have had success running against them.
Exactly right, Jim. Not only did they have 3
wide receivers, but they had two backs in the backfield. And I think that's something we'll see a lot of tonight, two backs, but yet, like you said, spread them out with three wide receivers, and some teams have had some success running the ball against the Rams when they spread them out.
Over Kennard, Brock, and Brenner. Dunbar gains 8 to the 24. It's 2nd down and 2. Football on the far side hash mark. 3 wide receivers the same, and only 1 setback behind quarterback Bobby Hebert. On 2nd down, short yardage from the 24-yard line. That's Dunbar in the backfield. Hebert back to pass. Throws over the middle, almost intercepted by Robert Bailey.
Well, the ball should have been intercepted. Looks like Bobby Hebert was trying to hit Eric Martin in the seam, just on a quick 5-step drop, trying to hit him right in the middle of the zone. Badly overthrown and should have been intercepted.
It'll be 3rd down and 2 from the 24-yard line. Torrance Small will come in and replace Vaughn Dunbar. Also coming in is Dalton Hilliard.
You know, the Rams have 9 interceptions this year. It should have been their 10th.
You wonder if Bobby feels any pressure to get the ball to Eric early with the streak that he's got going. He could tie Danny Abramowitz with 79 straight games of reception should he get one here tonight.
Out of the shotgun, 4 wide receivers, Early and Martin to the right, Small and Carroll to the left. Blocking back is Dalton Hilliard. Hebert back to pass, throws over the middle. It's caught at the 30-yard line, 1st down up to the 34-yard line. It's Quinn Early catching the pass. And Saints have their first down of the game.
Well, the Saints have a lot of success with that play on 3rd and short. They spread out the wide receivers, kind of send some people downfield, and then one of the outside guys just breaks over the middle. Man-to-man coverage. Bobby gets the ball to Quinn and a 1st down.
At the 34-yard line after the 10-yard gain to Quinn Early, 1st down and 10. Saints successful on their first 3rd down opportunity of the ball game. Split backs now. Hayward and Dunbar behind quarterback Bobby Hebert. Eric Martin is split to the near side. Quinn Early to the far side. Brenner's the tight end on the right side. Fake handoff, play action. Hebert looks wide open. It's caught at the 45-yard line. Eric Martin up to the 47, a 12-yard gain and another 1st and 10.
This is something the Saints want to do a great deal of tonight, is their play action game to be with 2 backs in the backfield. And that's a running formation. Ironhead Hayward is offset a little bit to the left side. The tailback Dunbar is in an eye look deep in the backfield. Good fake to him. Eric Martin simply goes down the field 10 yards, turns around and hooks. The fake held the linebacker, had a great lane to throw the football.
Officially, it'll go as 13 yards to Eric Martin up to the 47-yard line. Saints on the move with their 2nd 1st down of the game. Only 1 running back behind Hebert under center, and that is Vaughn Dunbar. Wide receiver Carroll to the right, and Martin and Early are split to the left side. Brenner, the tight end on the right from the 47. Handoff goes to Dunbar. Gets outside for a moment. Gets across the midfield stripe and down to the 48-yard line. About a 5-yard gain before Anthony Newman. 5th-round draft choice out of, or 5th-year man out of Oregon. 2nd-round choice in '88. Strong safety makes the tackle.
Another reason, too, that they feel like the Rams are perhaps a bit easy to run on is the size of their secondary. Their cornerbacks are both 5'9", less than 180 pounds, and the safeties aren't very large either. So if you can get somebody into the secondary, you can run over some people.
Yeah, the Rams are also doing something kind of peculiar on defense. They're actually taking one of their linebackers out and putting a defensive back, Anthony Newman, in a linebacking spot on 1st down.
Hayward and Dunbar split backs behind Hebert after the 4-yard gain. It's 2nd down and 6 from the 49-yard line. Fake handoff. Hebert back to pass. Lobs one down the far side sideline for Dunbar. It's overthrown and incomplete. Dunbar was twisted the wrong way. Incomplete at the 30-yard line.
Well, they were trying to pick on Kevin Green right there. Some people feel like Kevin Green, even though he has 6 sacks this year, is somewhat out of position. He's always been more effective as a rusher, even if he's listed as a linebacker. It's when he's coming all the time. He's playing an actual linebacking position on the outside for the Rams, many times stacked inside. And he's got one-on-one man-to-man coverage to Vaughn Dunbar, and he shouldn't be able to cover him. He wasn't but about a yard behind, and the ball was really thrown over the wrong shoulder.
Saints are 1 for 1 on 3rd down conversions. That was the 10-yard pass to Early 4 plays ago. It's 3rd down and 6 from the 49-yard line. 4 wideouts once again.
The Rams have 7 defensive backs in their secondary.
Carroll in motion. Hebert back to pass. Throws one. It's caught. Martin 1st down. 35 down to the 30. Still on his feet. Gets another player down to the 26-yard line. Michael Stewart makes the tackle after the 23-yard gain by Eric Martin from Bobby Hebert.
Well, Bobby seems to be following a poor pass with a real good pass. That time he located Martin just wide open right in the middle of the zone. Really nice throw to him. Good job of running with the ball afterwards. Big 1st down.
Down to the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Saints. 11:03 remaining, 1st period of play. Martin comes wide to the left in the slot, along with Quinn Early and Wesley Carroll's wide to the right. They're in the eye this time with Dunbar dotting the I and Craig Hayward, the fullback. Hebert under center on first down and 10 from the 26-yard line.
Be a good spot to run to the left side right here.
Handoff goes to Dunbar, hole on the left, 25 down to the 20, spins free of a tackle down to the 16.
Dave, I don't know if that was an audible or not. Maybe they just had the right play call. But the Saints had two receivers out to the left side. Now, Roman Pfeiffer, one of their linebackers, walked out on one of those wide receivers. That really makes the defense vulnerable to run the ball inside off tackle, and that's what the Saints did, and a nice gain by Vaughn Dunbar.
It'll be 9 or 10. We'll have to measure it as the sticks are pulled in and the chain from the sideline. See if he got down to the 16. If he did, it's a 1st and 10 and a 10-yard gain. He did not. He's a little short. So it's 2nd down and a statistical 1 from the 17-yard line, but it's shorter than that.
I kind of remind you of the little mentor calling these plays.
Very much so. Very much so. You don't dress quite as nicely, but you're on your way. You know, I got the feeling that Vaughn Dunbar's eyes really lit up this week looking at this Ram defense on tape. He made some comments publicly that I think probably Jim Mora wouldn't be terribly in favor of. He said at one point in an interview I saw this week that the Rams didn't really flow to the ball, didn't really chase the ball like other defenses he had seen, and I think he expects a big night here this evening.
He also said he didn't spike the ball last week in Detroit because he had a sore shoulder, and Jim Mora knew nothing about this sore shoulder.
Rams are giving up an average of 5.4 per opponent's rush. 2nd down and 1 from the 17-yard line. Handoff goes to Hayward this time, and he gets the first down, and the bowling ball gets inside the 15 with more yardage before Kevin Green can make the tackle. 1st and 10 Saints inside the 15.
Well, that's just an old-fashioned football play right there. Strong formation to the left with the backs shifted to the right. Ironhead Hayward just takes the ball off tackle. Dunbar providing the blocking on the weak side. Just good hard running into the line by Ironhead and a first down.
This has been an impressive drive for the Saints. They've used all their weapons, although some would say they don't have a whole lot to choose from, but they've moved the ball around, and both Dunbar now and Hayward have made an impact running the ball.
10th play of the drive after the 4-yard gain by Craig Hayward. 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line in Rams territory. Hebert hands off. Dunbar sweeping left, 15 down to the 10, cuts up to the 5. An 8-yard gain for Vaughn Dunbar. Tackle made by Michael Stewart in the defensive secondary.
Real good running play right there. Hard running by Vaughn Dunbar, trying to follow in the blocking of Derek Kennard, who was pulling from his right guard position. Kind of a misdirection type of play. Bobby Hebert does a good job of carrying out his fake. I wonder if the Saints may have some type of bootleg off that play later on.
4 carries for 29 yards for Vaughn Dunbar thus far this game. As the huddle is broken, it's the regular offense with Quinn Early wide to the right, Hobie Brenner tied in on the right. Wide to the left is Eric Martin, split backfield behind quarterback Bobby Hebert on 2nd down and 2 from the 5-yard line. Hayward switches now to line up on the right side of the formation. Hebert with a long signal count, play clock down to 2, handoff to Dunbar, cuts back up at the 5, still on his feet, but he won't get but to the 4-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1 at the 4. Tackle made by Mark Butte.
Well, I think Bobby had an off-tackle play called to the left side. The Rams were stacked over there, so he just shifted Ironhead over to his right side, ran off tackle behind the tight end over there. Rams stuffed it pretty good.
Paul Boudreaux was talking about in your interview with him, David, in the pregame about the matchup between Dombrowski and Gilbert, and they got up pushing and shoving from the bottom of that pile, so that'll be an interesting matchup to see tonight.
Boy, this Gilbert is some big kid, 6'4", 315. Rams are really high on him. 3rd person picked in the NFL draft this year. Got some big people in the game now. Port and Wainwright, and the coaches want to call a timeout, which Bobby decides to do.
Coaches were going berserk on the sideline trying to get Bobby's attention, and he does take the timeout. So we'll pause. Saints knocking on the door. It's 3rd down and 2 from the 5-yard line. 7:49 left to go first quarter. It's the Rams nothing and the Saints nothing. You're listening to Saints football. Now here's Archie.
When something's right, and I want to tell you right now, you can get the right deal on the right car from Royal Mazda, the right dealership. My wife even drives a new Mazda from Royal, the dealership that's different.
This is Renee Nato. Join me and Wayne Mack right here after every New Orleans Saints game on Sports 1280 for the wrap-up show. Call us at 524-1280 in New Orleans, out of town toll-free 1-800-364-1280, and we'll talk Saints football. On the wrap-up show, we'll have interviews, replays, and your calls about the team, the game, and the Saints in general. For the last word on the Saints game day, listen to the wrap-up show with me, Renee Nato, and Wayne Mack on Sports 1280.
What can you buy for $9.95 these days?
We deliver.
Quite a lot. With express mail overnight delivery service from your post office.
We deliver.
For less than $10, you put the full power of the United States Postal Service to work for you.
We deliver.
Over
100,000 men and women ready to do whatever it takes to assure next morning delivery. Express mail service, just $9.95 for up to 8 ounces. Sponsored by your Postal Service.
In New Orleans, there will always be snowball stands in the summertime. You can depend on it. And since 1883, New Orleans has depended on the Whitney National Bank. In a time when the financial stability of your bank is more important than ever before, more and more people depend on the Whitney. Our dedication to customer service and personal banking relationships has remained uninterrupted for more than 100 years. Stable, competitive, personal, the Whitney. With 32 Metro New Orleans locations to serve you. Member FDIC.
As we return, it's third down, 2 yards to go for a first down, 5 yards to go for a touchdown. And the Saints wind up with 2 flankers to the right, 1 wide receiver to the left.
The Saints have a reverse in this week. I don't think they'd run it right here, though.
Hebert out of the shotgun, snap back in good shape, throw to the end zone, touchdown Saints, Eric Martin, right in between 3 defenders.
There's a shotgun formation, kind of unusual in that part of the field to get in a shotgun, but I think the Saints obviously had seen something in the films they could work on right there, because Eric, right beside a tight end on that side, just hooked right in the middle of him. Bobby fitted right in there. Very impressive drive to open the game on the part of the Saints, and that's what you want to do against a team like the Rams. Try to take them out of it early.
12 plays, 84 yards. Hebert, the 5-yard pass to Eric Martin, and it took 7:15 off the clock. In the Pointer Street end zone, Barnhart to hold. Morton Anderson to boot the extra point. With 7:45 remaining first quarter, the ball is down, the kick is perfect, and we have timeout on the field with the Saints lead. 7:45 remaining first quarter. Saints take a 7-0 lead over the Rams. Now this for your Southland Jeep and Eagle dealers and Sears Brand Central.
Now's your chance to see the most exciting and technically advanced lineup in our history. Introducing Jeep and Eagle for 1993 with innovative new models that will truly amaze and thrill you. See the new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the sophisticated new Eagle Vision. Get into the newly designed Summit Coupe for as little as $7,706 and Summit Sedan for a little more. Or drive away an affordable, sporty Eagle Talon DL for about $11,652. You could get great deals on every vehicle in stock. So whatever you do, don't miss the 93s at your Jeep and Eagle dealer. MSRP after $500 cash back direct from Chrysler excludes title, taxes, and options. Actual prices may vary. These are limited time offers. Buyer must take delivery from dealer stock. See dealer for details. Jeep is a registered trademark of Chrysler Corporation.
See your Southland Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
It's Sears Days, and right now, you get 0% finance charge with Sears Charge Delayed Billing option when you spend $200 or more at Sears Brand Central on any brand name appliance. No payments, no billing until January 1st, 1993. Sunday and Monday only, so hurry into Sears Days. APR 21%. Minimum finance charge 50 cents. Both lower in some states. See store for details.
When the Saints wanted a little home cooking for the home team, they chose Popeyes, because when it comes to feeding a hungry bunch of Saints, nobody beats the chicken, biscuits, and sides at Popeyes, a proud member of the Saints official training table. This game also brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Whatever direction you're headed, just go Southwest. Southwest Airlines, that is, with frequent flights and the lowest unrestricted fares. It's just plain smart. For reservations, dial 1-800-I-FLY-SWA. Saints were flying in that first drive, 7-0 lead, 7:45 remaining first quarter. It's Todd Kinchin, the rookie out of LSU, third-round draft choice this past year, neat to receive, along with Vernon Turner, acquired from Buffalo last year off of waivers, second-year player out of Carson Newman, Tennessee.
Great start for the offense. Bobby Hebert, sharp tonight, 4 of 6, 51 yards and a touchdown. Eric Martin, 3 catches on the drive for 41 yards. Of course, scores his 3rd touchdown of the year. By the way, that's Bobby Hebert's 6th touchdown pass of the year. And Vaughn Dunbar, 5 carries, 29 yards on the initial drive.
Turner's been averaging 19.7 per kickoff return. Here's a low knuckleball line drive kick out of the end zone. Kinchin was closest to it, but Morton Anderson got it through for the touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 for Jim Everett and the Rams at the 20-yard line.
Everett might have to re-stretch before he goes out there. He's been sitting on the sideline for a long time. The Rams get their hands on the ball for the first time in the first quarter with 7:39 remaining after that long opening drive for the Saints that covered 84 yards in 12 plays.
Clock down to 7:39 in the first period, and we'll read the offense as they break huddle Robert Delpino out for the week, actually on injured reserve. And it's David Lang along with Cleveland Gary behind quarterback Jim Everett. Carter in motion from his flanker right to left. Handoff goes to Gary, tries to get outside and is stopped after about a 2-yard gain. Gene Atkins on the tackle.
And boy, he is a strong tackler. It looked like Gary was going to have some room to run, but Atkins stood him straight up and drove him backward and then got some help.
Yeah, you know, there are really not many free safeties in the league that can make that tackle. Cleveland Gary is a 226-yard running back. Now, he cut it back like he's going to the open field. Gene Atkins comes up from the free safety spot and just sticks him into the line of scrimmage and drives him back.
Wide to the left is Henry Ellard. Another wide receiver split to the right. That's Jeff Chadwick. No, that can't be Chadwick. He is not on the active roster. Handoff goes to Gary once again. Over left tackle. He gets very little yardage before Frank Warren makes the tackle. Wide out to the right was Flipper Anderson.
Well, last week, Cleveland Gary had the game of his career in the pros. 110 yards on 18 carries against the 49ers. But he'd really gone through a long maturation problem since being the first round draft choice of the Rams. Back in 1990, you remember he fumbled 12 times in 15 games, and he's still trying to overcome that stigma as a fumbler.
Ellard comes wide to the near side with the man in the slot. That's Aaron Cox. 3 wide receivers to the near side. 3rd down and 6 from the 24-yard line. Out of the shotgun in a noisy dome. Everett back to pass. He's hit as he throws. It's dropped incomplete. It was intended for Jim Price, the tight end. Coy Cook defending.
And you know that's got to hurt Jim Price. He was the GOAT of last week's game. Had a ball go through his hands for a costly interception and later fumbled. Not only did that hurt his team a lot, it hurt his roommate because he and Jim Everett are roommates on the road, and he dropped that pass there that he should have had.
Well, he wouldn't have had the first down anyway, and boy, it was a great pass rush by the guys up front, putting that pressure on Everett. The Saints did exactly what they wanted to do in that initial drive by the Rams. They wanted to stop the running game and then put pressure on Everett on the rush.
4th down and 6 from the 24-yard line, and it's Marcus Dowdell to return this punt. Don Bracken will boot it. His season average 43.1. He gets a high spiraling kick. Dowdell will have a chance to return. Retreats at the 30. Gets outside. There's going to be a clip. He jukes a player at the 35-40. It's not going to matter. He's across the 50. Another flag. And down to the 36-yard line.
Boy, what a terrible break for this young guy. His first time to touch the football. A 10th-round pick out of Tennessee State. Feels the punt, makes some good moves, and really got a nitpicking call on a clip down there. It really wasn't one of those deals where the blocker just kind of shoulders the guy. Official threw the flag, and they're going to bring it back.
2 illegal blocks in the back, number 49 and number 39. Will it set the furthest back? 10 yards.
Well, you know, even though they brought it back, I tell you, what great confidence for a young guy in his first time out there. We may have us a punt returner now.
All right, there's timeout, 5:52 remaining first quarter. Saints lead second possession of the game and up 7-0. With timeout, we'll tell you. You're listening to New Orleans Saints football.
On Sports 1280, you can talk to the always unpredictable Mr. Saints, Archie Manning, every Monday morning at 7, live from Stonebreaker's Restaurant at breakfast time. Call or be in the audience for the Archie Manning Monday Morning Quarterback Show, 7 a.m. on Sports 1280.
Whatever you choose, you'll save at Shoetown and Foot in Fashion's half-price apparel sale. Buy any apparel item at our everyday low price and get the second of equal or lesser value for half price. Got that? Choose any apparel item. Buy one and the second of equal or lesser value is half price at Shoetown and Foot in Fashion. Save up to 30% on name brand athletics. Reebok, Converse, Fila, Pony, and Nike. Men's, women's, and children's athletics. Up to 30% off and half price on apparel during our anniversary at Shoetown.
Looks like he's going to be out of the game. If you just got put on injured reserve or want to stay in the game, the Sports Medicine Center at Lakeside Hospital can help. A full range of medical professionals are trained to treat everyone from pro athletes, weekend warriors, or Little League champs. The Sports Medicine team can show you how to overcome existing injuries or prevent new ones using modern fitness equipment and medical technology, from sprained ankles to the most complicated injuries. The Sports Medicine Center at Lakeside Hospital. Call 885-FITT. That's 885-3488. Exxon Shop salutes the 26th Saints season with special savings they're passing on to you. Save with the Tiger all season long. Stop in at a local convenient Exxon Shop near you and stock up on plenty of Lipton tea. Try the new Lipton Original Fresh Brewed Iced Tea in a 16-ounce bottle for 99 cents. The only really brewed iced tea, and it's available at Exxon Shop. Rely on the Tiger. Rely on your Exxon Shop. Stock up on plenty of Doritos. All large sizes, assorted flavors, your choice, only 99 cents. At all participating Exxon Shops. Rely on the Tiger. Rely on your Exxon Shop. Prices may vary at participating locations.
Sports 1280.
Saints will have it after the penalty mark-off all the way back to their 18-yard line. They started at their 16 on the first offensive drive. It's 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Rams faking the blitz. Wideouts to either side and split backfield. Hebert back to pass on first down, throws for Martin, it's incomplete. A little bit out of his reach, he had to come back for it, and it's no good, 2nd down and 10.
Well, very peculiar defensive set on the part of the Rams. They bring their people up late, almost like a 9-man front. Now, I don't know if Bobby checked off or not, but he had a good play on it. It looked as though he wanted to throw to the flat to Ironhead. He was covered, and he kind of stepped toward Ironhead, yet tried to throw it to Eric Martin on the hook and threw behind him.
It also looked like some of his offensive linemen weren't ready.
5 yards.
It's a penalty here on Brock. Brock was looking inside almost like he was listening for an audible. And I think the snap came a little too early for him, or he wasn't quite set. In any event, the penalty goes against Stan.
We notice on the scoreboard it's 6-6 Toronto and Oakland. That game in the 10th inning of play. First down and 15 from the 13-yard line. Saints break huddle and use 3 wide receivers. Martin and Early wide to the right. Wesley Carroll wide to the left. 1 running back, Dunbar, behind quarterback Hebert under center. Kobe Brenner's the tight end on the right side. Snap, handoff to Dunbar, sweeping right behind Dombrowski, cuts it up at the 15 and gets almost to the 18-yard line before he stopped. 4-yard gain, tackle made by Larry Kelm, the middle linebacker.
I think that's a setup play right there. Vaughn Dunbar on a sweep-type play out of that formation. I know that the Saints have a reverse hand. They may use it, may have Dalton Hilliard in the game when they use it, but to give it to him like that, inside reverse probably to Quinn Early, Eric Martin coming around, Bobby Hebert will have to block. We'll watch for it later in the game.
3 wideouts with the 2 sets to the left this time and 1 to the right out of the I formation. 2nd and 11 from the 17-yard line. Dunbar and Hayward in the I. Hebert looks at a 4-man defensive front. Handoff Dunbar, hole on the outside, 20, up to the 25-yard line. He gains a quick 8 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 yards to go. Anthony Newman makes the tackle. Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Saints football.
Sports 1280 has University of New Orleans Privateers NCAA basketball. Follow the UNO Privateers through Sun Belt Conference play on their new home, WQUE AM 1280, New Orleans.
3rd down and 3 from the 25-yard line. Saints are 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. Dalton Hilliard in the backfield along with Bobby Hebert with 4 wide receivers, 2 to either side. Out of the shotgun, stands at his 20, the line of scrimmage, the 25. Stand back in good shape. Here comes the blitz. He throws down the far side sideline and just out of the outstretched hands of Quinn Early. It's incomplete and overthrown at the 35-yard line.
Coverage by Steve Israel, one of the rookie defensive backs of the Rams out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, in fact, they said that he was the fastest player coming out of the draft last year. He's been timing a 4.24 40, and he was going step for step with Quinn Early.
Vernon Turner will be deep to receive. Tommy Barnhart stands at his 10 to punt. He's been averaging 43.2 as long as 59. This is his first punt of the game. Line of scrimmage, the 25-yard line. Hilgenberg, the deep snap man, as well as being the regular center, snap back in good shape. And Barnhart gets off a jet. Turner retreats to his 21-yard line. Tries to go to the left, cuts up the field, and is snowed under short of the 30-yard line. A 55-yard punt off the toe of Tommy Barnhart. A proud sponsor of the Saints Network is the Isle of Capri in Biloxi. For Caribbean-style fun and games, it's Isle of Capri. Timeout on the field, 4 minutes left in the first period of play. Saints leading by a score of 7-0. Another proud sponsor of Saints Radio, your Southland Jeep and Eagle dealers. Remember, there's only one Jeep. Now this for BC Powders.
Power, BC Power.
When your job gives you a powerful headache, you need the power of BC.
Power, BC Power.
In this auto body shop, you get a headache just walking in the door.
BC Power in the powder, the power of BC.
Somebody's hammering out dents over here or running a grinder over there. So there's always noise.
BC Power in the powder, the power of BC.
Then on top of that, there's fumes. Pretty soon your head starts pounding like a sledgehammer.
You need something to see you through, something strong so you feel like new.
Around here, there's headaches just looking for a place to happen. But BC knocks them right out.
BC Power in the powder, the power of BC.
When you need strong relief, BC stops pain fast.
The power of BC.
Use as directed.
If you've been putting off your car's oil change, do it now. Today's 4- and 6-cylinder cars are really tough on motor oil. Drive into Laurel A1 Tire and New South Tire in Laurel, Mississippi, and get a complete Castrol GTX oil change. And while you're there, you can register to win free Saints tickets. The job will be done fast and done right using Castrol. Spruce up your car's engine at Laurel A1 Tire and New South Tire, Laurel, Mississippi. 55-yard punt, and men, you may have noticed a wrinkle there in the lineup on the punt team.
Yeah, Frank Wainwright snapped that ball, and none too crisply, it might be added, to Barnhart. For some reason, Hilgenberg was still sitting on the bench in the offensive lineman's meeting down there with Paul Boudreaux, so we'll keep our eye on that.
It was still a 55-yard punt. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and 1 setback. A throw to the near side sideline to Flipper Anderson, complete at the 50, to the 40, and out of bounds down at the 26-yard line. Jim Everett quickly over Brett Maxey gets it to Flipper Anderson.
Well, you're talking about a perfect throw. There's a situation where the Saints are playing double zone. By that I mean the cornerbacks roll up, the safeties are playing too deep. It's just a timing route where Flipper Anderson comes down, runs a fade down the sideline, and Everett just fits it in there right between the corner and the safety. Brett Maxey's coming over and forces him out of bounds. Was a nightmare to think about that night he had here in '89, huh? Dave, you didn't see that one, but it wasn't but 336 yards.
Well, that one was good for 44. Everett on the delay handoff to Cleveland Gary with the flag on the play as Gary crosses the 25 and gets down to the 21-yard line. Wayne Martin on the tackle will read the flag. It was first down from the 26 in Saints territory after that 44-yard pass, but we'll have the legal procedure called against the Rams. It is the first penalty against Los Angeles.
Number 61, offense.
Holding rather
10 yards, still first down.
The legal procedure, and Vern Brostick, the center, is the guilty party.
You know, Flipper Anderson, we mentioned, of course, had 15 catches that night in '89 for 336 yards. He's always been kind of a home run hitter for the Rams, and had an extremely high average yards per catch through the years. He's caught 12, that's his 13th catch of the season, averaging 17.3. His longest had been 41, but he has caught 3 touchdown passes this year.
Jim Wilkes comes out of the lineup for the Saints defensively. Man in motion is Jim Price. Everett back to pass on 1st and 20. Throws underneath. It's caught by the tight end at the 34-yard line. Pat Carter on the reception, only a 3-yard gain before he is snowed under by a host of Saints defenders.
Well, not a lot of yardage gained on the play, and a good job in the secondary. Now, Everett had to move around a little bit, but he actually had plenty of time to spot people. No one open. He just had to dump it off over the middle for a nominal gain.
It'll be 2nd down and 17 from the 33. This after the holding penalty on the center, and then the 3-yard pass to Pat Carter, who's traded to Los Angeles from Detroit back in 1989. 50-year player out of Florida State. Anderson splits wide to the left. Ellard in the slot to the left. Jim Price is the flanker on the right, now in motion across the formation from right to left. Draw play to Cleveland Gary. He's tripped up the line of scrimmage. No gain. Back to the 33. Wayne Martin on the tackle.
Seems like we mention him week after week after week, how well Wayne Martin is playing. Archie, you said that you thought Jim Dombrowski was playing Pro Bowl type offensive line and left guard for the Saints. I think there's a guy that's playing Pro Bowl defensive end.
Well, I agree with it, especially when you got a Ricky Jackson and Pat Swilling who rush so hard up front. Then your defensive tackle, who actually Wayne Martin's a defensive end sometimes and a defensive tackle sometimes, but he's a guy that's got to watch for that draw, yet they still want pressure on the quarterback.
Rams are 0 for 1 on 3rd down conversions. 3rd down and 16 and a half.
Like the Saints have 7 defensive backs in.
Everett's being snowed under. He's going to be snagged by Ricky Jackson back at the 37-yard line. A sack for the Saints defense.
That's 5.5 sacks this year for Ricky Jackson. He's in the battle with Pat Swilling. Swilling has 6. I'm sure Ricky would like nothing more for each of them to have about 18 or 20 at year's end.
5-yard loss on the sack by Jackson. It'll be 4th down and 21 yards to go, and the punt team comes on board for the Rams. It'll be Bracken, his first punt, 46 yards. And remember, Dowdell had a 34-yard return that was called back. Here's the punt high into the air. Dowdell calling for a fair catch and receives it right at the 10. And then he is hit.
But not very hard.
No. No flag.
But a smart move by a young return man. The 10-yard line, that's kind of as deep as you want to go, but he knew where he was on the field, made the fair catch where at least you get it on the 10, it doesn't bounce, and they stop it on the 1.
Well, you remember in preseason, he didn't do many things wrong as a punt returner in preseason, but it came down to Newman. They thought could help him more as a receiver than the rookie could.
Well, that's just something I never really understood. But remember, we kept talking about who's going to be the return guy, and they said, well, Dowdell does the best job, but we don't know if he's going to make our football team or not.
Scott Stephen is the man who gave the brush across the upper shoulders of Marcus Dowdell. No penalty flag. It's 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line. Saints' 3rd offensive possession of the game. They've scored on 1 and had to punt on 1.
Be a good spot for a little play-action pass right here.
Martin in the slot to the near side with Early wide to the left and Wesley Carroll wide to the right. Vaughn Dunbar, the only running back behind Hebert under center at the 10. Hand off to Dunbar, big hole, up to the 15, to the 20, to the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 Saints, an 11-yard gain by Vaughn Dunbar.
For some strange reason, the Rams are playing a nickel defense on 1st down against the Saints. Now, no one does that against the Saints because they're predominantly a running team. They're taking a 5th back, bringing him in for a linebacker, walking him out on a wide receiver. It's just leaving a big alley to run off tackle.
Saints have run 6 first down plays and 5 have been rushes, and Vaughn Dunbar has carried the mail on most of them. 1st down and 10 from the 21-yard line after the 11-yard gain by Dunbar. Split backfield behind Hebert this time. Dunbar in motion out of the backfield.
This is an 8-man front on the part of the Rams.
Hebert back to pass on 1st down, throws over the middle, caught by Brenner at the 25, and then pushed backwards, good for about a 4-yard gain. We'll see where they mark forward progress. For middle linebacker Larry Kelm made the tackle.
Well, they throw to Holdy about once a semester, don't they? That's his 5th catch of the year.
That's a somewhat reminiscent of last week's game against the Lions. The Saints have started from their 16, their 18, and their 10 here in the 1st quarter, and the Rams are about to have been outscored 48-0 in the 1st quarters of games so far this season.
The clock's going to run out in the 1st quarter before the next play can be run by the Saints. So that's the end of the 1st quarter with the score. The Saints 7 and the Rams nothing. 2nd quarter action is next on the Saints Network.
These days in business, you have to look at problems as challenges. For instance, they cut my department's travel budget in half and said I had to keep sending out the same number of people. Okay, I accepted the challenge and found a solution. Southwest Airlines Friends Fly Free offer. You can buy 1 round-trip ticket at their low, unrestricted fare, and a friend flies with you free, anywhere Southwest Airlines flies. And friends aren't just spouses and pals. They're bosses and partners and clients, too. There's no advance purchase on a Friends Fly Free ticket either. Just make a reservation at least 24 hours in advance and stay over for 1 night. By the way, this offer doesn't include local airport taxes up to $12 round trip each. If your plans change at the last minute, Southwest Friends Fly Free tickets are fully refundable. And although seats are limited right now, they're available all week long. Friends Fly Free only on Southwest Airlines. It's the perfect solution to cut your business budget or to turn a short business trip into a long weekend. Call 1-800-I-FLY-SWA. It's just plain smart.
Forget our Pop of the Game selection coming up later, sponsored by Popeye's famous fried chicken and biscuits. Each week during the season, Archie, Jim, and I select the outstanding hit of the game by a Saints player. In recognition of that player's big hit, Popeyes will donate $500 to his favorite local charity. Popeyes is proud to be able to recognize an outstanding individual effort and help out the community with this weekly donation to a deserving institution. Don't forget our Popeyes Pop of the Game coming up. Saints have 2nd down and 5 at the 26 after the 5-yard pass over the middle to Hobie Brenner. Now moving from our left to our right. Bobby Hebert overlooks a 4-man defensive front with 2 wideouts to the left and 1 to the right. Hebert passes, wide open Eric Martin, 45 to the 50-yard line. 1st and 10 Saints at the midfield stripe. 24-yard gain. Pat Terrell makes the tackle.
Well, the Saints are just killing them with the run and the pass, and it's really in the same area. That's that defensive back, Anthony Newman, who's really in for a linebacker. He's walking out on Eric Martin, yet he's playing his own defense. Eric Martin comes off the ball. Newman just kind of freezes right in there, and they throw the ball between he and the safeties. A big gainer, good play calling, good execution.
4 catches for 65 yards for Eric Martin, including a touchdown reception of 5 yards in the 1st quarter. Martin is wide to the left, Quinn Early wide to the right, split backfield for the Saints. Bobby Hebert pointing out something on the defensive left side. And hands off to Vaughn Dunbar, who tries to sweep to the right. Gets outside of the 50, lowers his head, and gets down to the 45-yard line. Maybe a little more. Tackle made by Robert Bailey.
Well, the Saints make 5 yards there. and they took the running play right into the strength of the Ram defense. The strong safety. Now they took out the defensive back and put a linebacker back in the game that time, Roman Pfeiffer. The Rams walked their strong safety up on the tight end on the strong side. The Saints still ran that way. Dunbar broke it outside and gained 5.5 to 6 yards.
Statistically, they'll give Dunbar 6 yards. He's having a great game thus far. 2nd down and 4 from the 44-yard line. He has 9 carries for 58 yards thus far. 2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right for the Saints at the 44-yard line.
The other side. Now it's a formation where a tight end receiver on one side, 2 receivers on the other. He's been hitting Eric Martin on the weak side of the seam. This time they tried to hit the tight end, Hobie Brenner.
It'll go as incomplete. 3rd down and 4 from the 44-yard line. The Saints are 3 of 4 on 3rd down conversions. This drive started at the Saints 10-yard line.
Here's a four wide receiver set. Let's see if he doesn't try to get it to Terrence Small here.
Hilliard in the lineup along with Bobby Hebert out of the shotgun in the backfield. Big rush by the Rams. Fans thought they were offside. Pass complete to Quinn early for the first down inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. A 6-yard gain. 1st and 10 Saints. Tackle made by Steve Israel. 2nd-round draft choice this past year, a rookie out of Pittsburgh.
Well, the Saints are doing a masterful job of mixing the pass and the run. Some late first quarter statistics just in. The Saints had 6 first downs to the Rams 1. 56 net yards rushing to the Rams 5, 56 passing to 42 for the Rams. You see the blend, 56 yards through the air, 56 on the ground, and the Saints dominated in time of possession, 10-21 to 4:39. That's after 15 minutes of football.
12:45 remaining here in period number 2. Saints leading 7-0, 1st and 10 from the 38. Handoff goes to Dunbar, sweeping left behind one blocker, and he doesn't get much. He gains 3, maybe 4 down to the 34. We'll see where the spot is. Roman Pfeiffer, right side linebacker, makes the tackle.
You know, the starting free safety, Pat Terrell of the Rams, I saw him going into the locker room earlier, possibly for some x-rays. Now, on their normal first down alignment, I think Michael Stewart is in, and strong safety, Anthony Newman, the starting strong safety, moves to the free safety spot.
3-yard gain for Dunbar. It's 2nd down and 7 from the 35-yard line. 7 of 8 Saints first down plays have been runs. 2 wideouts to the left. That's early with Martin in the slot. Carroll wide to the right. Hebert with the snap, straight back to pass on 2nd down. Sets up a screen. Pass caught by Hilliard with some blockers in front of him. He gets down to the 30. Be a 5-yard gain. 3rd down and 2 coming up. Kevin Green in the middle of those blockers to make the tackle.
And a good job by Kevin Green. Dalton Hilliard cut back. That could have been a big play.
Football is just touching the 30-yard line. The Saints are 4 for 5 on 3rd down conversions. 11:27 remaining first half. Saints leading 7-0. How about a Halo Hall of Fame clue? I was one of the smallest Saints ever to play in New Orleans. I wore number 27 and had 96 and 91-yard touchdowns in the first season. Who am I? We'll give you the address to send your entry in a moment. 3rd down and 2 from the 30-yard line. Martin and early to the right with Martin in the slot. Carroll to the left. Hebert back to pass on 3rd and 2 over the middle. It's caught. First down. Wesley Carroll at the 22-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 8 on the play, and the Saints still move.
It's hard for me to believe the Saints continue to get away with that play right there. I can't imagine the Rams playing a zone defense on 3rd and 2. It's pretty simple. Wesley Carroll just comes in from his slot spot, hooks it up about 5 yards. Bobby throws it to him, first down.
It's got to be fun to play quarterback down there tonight, doesn't it?
I tell you what, the Saints really having their way. Carl Smith doing an outstanding job of taking advantage of what some real weaknesses in this Ram defense.
Martin and Early wide to the right. 2 tight ends this time for the Saints. Actually, we'll tell you in a moment. 1 running back behind quarterback Bobby Hebert. An unbalanced line to the right side. Take handoff, bootleg to the near side. Hebert throws to Martin. It's caught. He keeps his feet in. First down, Saints inside the 15, down to the 12-yard line. A pickup of 10.
Eric had to make a great catch on that, but only because the ball was poorly thrown. He was wide open. A little waggle play and a rollout to the right. Found Hebert with all sorts of time. He didn't throw it very well, but Eric made a nice fingertip catch and kept both feet in bounds. Looks like they have another first down.
Here's the clue again. I was one of the smallest Saints ever to play in New Orleans. I wore number 27 and had 96 and 91-yard touchdowns in the first season. Who am I? If you think you know this Halo Hall of Famer, mail your entry or postcard with your name, address, and phone number to Southwest Airlines, Halo Hall of Fame contest, 111 Veterans Boulevard, Suite 704, Metairie, Louisiana, 70005. And our congratulations to Wally Yip of Metairie, Louisiana, who was our first correct entry drawn in the Southwest Airlines Halo Hall of Fame contest, and named David Parks as our third Saints Halo Hall of Famer.
Wally who? Wally Yip. Didn't he take Lou Gehrig's place several years ago? Is that a typo?
Nope, that's correct, and congratulations, Wally.
I'll tell you what, if it's one of the smallest Saints of all time, that can't be Joe Wenderhoff.
But I bet Wendy was blocking for him on those long touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, it's just short, so statistically it's second down and 1 at the 13, but the football is just inches from the 12. Torrance Small is in there and in motion from wide right to the left. Hebert, fake handoff, looking to the end zone for Small. Can't find him. Hebert will run to the 10, down to the 5-yard line before he is snowed under by 2 Rams, but there's a flag on the play. It's an 8-yard run. Michael Stewart makes the tackle, will read the penalty flag, thrown on the defensive secondary's right-hand side.
Well, we do know this, that Bobby's no threat to Steve Young right now.
He's running a little bit more like Robert Young, actually, tonight.
Well, he did see the opening on the right side and picked up 8 yards, and I think the penalty will go against the Rams.
Yeah, defensive holding in the area where Torrance Small had lined up and gone downfield. We'll hear Bob McElwee.
Holding defense, number 52. The penalty will be assessed from the end of the run, half the distance to the goal line, first down.
Well, that's a great break for the Saints offense. Hebert gets his yardage. And the 10th first down of the ball game for the Saints. The game was from the 13 down to the 3, a 10-yard gain for Bobby Hebert, 13 down to the 6. A 7-yard gain for Hebert, and then the penalty down to the 3-yard line, half the distance. First and goal from the 3 for the Saints. Hebert asks for quiet, double tight end. Torrance Small, the wide receiver on the right, handoff to Hayward up the middle of the line, and he gains a yard, maybe 2, but did not get in. It'll be second down and goal.
Well, Bobby came up just on a quick count, just a straight handoff, straight ahead, over right guard. Ironhead Hayward picks up a couple yards. Saints make a couple other substitutions now. Chris Port checks in, possibly to play one of the tight end spots.
A yard gain, second and goal at the 2. 8:57 remaining first half. Saints leading 7-0, scored on their first drive of the game. 12 plays, 84 yards, connecting with Hebert and Martin in a pass for the touchdown.
Port and Brenner are the tight ends, and actually Wainwright is the tight wingback on this formation.
Split backfield, Wainwright in motion. Handoff goes to Dunbar, tries to bust it up the left side, gets down close to the end zone, but is held out right at the 1. So 1-yard gain, third down and goal coming up from the 1.
Well, Rams got a little bit of penetration. Michael Stewart crashing in really kind of disrupted the flow of the play in the backfield, but Dunbar kept his feet, got on upfield and inside the 1.
Scott Stephen is the man responsible for keeping Dunbar out of the end zone. Third and goal from the 1.
What do you call here, boys? Looks like a handoff to Ironhead Hayward to the right, if not the play action pass.
Wainwright in motion, handoff, fake, bootleg. Hebert looks to the end zone, throws as he's hit. It's in and out of the hands of the would-be receiver, intercepted. Rams will run it back to the 10, up to the 20. Leon White still running to the 30. He's finally tackled at the 39-yard line.
What a terrible break for the Saints. And Bobby's really going to be disappointed when he views the film because Vaughn Dunbar was wide open in the end zone. I think he's the guy they said deep, and then the tight end is the secondary receiver. Bobby, after the play-action rollout, didn't spot Dunbar all alone in the back of the end zone, tried to force it into Wainwright then, ball tipped up, intercepted by White.
Leon White gets the interception, and Dunbar turned around and got the tackle. White, the free agent pickup this past year, 7-year player out of Brigham Young. It's 1st and 10 Rams after the break at their own 39.
Actually, that was Brenner, the tight end, that he was trying to force it into.
Crowd on their feet. Handoff goes to Gary, tries to cut back to the left and gains 3 yards to the 42-yard line before Wilkes can make the tackle.
Well, Wes Miller came through his block, had a chance at Gary in the backfield, missed. Then Gary got forward to pick up a couple.
Up to the 42-yard line. Rams with the football. 7:27 remaining second quarter. Saints cannot get it in on 1st and goal from the 3. Leon White intercepts the third down play from the 1-yard line.
You know, that was a heck of an effort, too, by Vaughn Dunbar to come all the way out of the end zone and chase down Leon White and trip him up. He probably wasn't going to go coast to coast, but he could have gone a long ways farther.
Out of the I formation, Wayne and Gary behind quarterback Everett with flags thrown, and they'll stop the play. As the pass goes to Cleveland Gary on the right side, it'll be false start against the offense most likely.
Yeah, that'll be Gerald
False
Perry.
start, number 64, offense, before the snap.
That's Gerald Perry, the left tackle out of Southern University, of course, with the Denver Broncos, came over to the Rams, having to block on pass throwing tonight. He's an excellent tackle. He's got good technique for a big man, just trying to get a little jump start, though, blocking on pass.
He also had arthroscopic surgery on each knee in the offseason.
Saints put an extra defensive back in there. Jimmy Spencer into the lineup now. Frank Warren came back in.
Saints playing a lot of double zone outside, and the reason for that, the Rams are real good at hitting what they call a seam post, and that double zone pretty much takes that away.
Ellard wide to the right, Anderson wide to the left. With the man in motion across the formation, Everett back to pass, throwing for Ellard, caught first down and out of bounds at the 48-yard line in Saints territory. A 15-yard gain from the 37 down to the 47 in Saints territory. Spencer pushes Ellard out, but not before Everett and Ellard combine for the first down.
The Rams are also good at the sideline pattern, and probably Henry Ellard runs the best one. Jim Everett's listed as 6'5". It looks like he's more like 6'6". And one thing he can really do, he's got a great arm. He can throw that 20-yard sideline off balance, can really throw it off his back foot, which he does sometimes when he gets a good rush.
Cleveland Gary, the only running back. Everett under center from the 48-yard line. The tight end Price in motion from left to right. Handoff goes to Gary. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Wayne Martin met him like a brick wall, maybe a yard. 6:10 remaining in the first half, 7-0 Saints lead. No gain at second down and 10.
Archie, you mentioned Henry Ellard. He's quite a story, 10-year veteran out of Fresno State. He qualified for the Olympic trials and came to New Orleans hoping to make the Olympic team in the triple jump, but pulled his hamstring in warm-ups and never really actually competed. But that's quite a feat for a man of his age and the pounding he's taken.
Really is. That was his 13th reception on the year.
Cleveland Gary has 5 carries for only 8 yards. It's second down and 10 from the 48. Everett throws. It's caught by Price at the 45. He lowers his head and gets down to the 41. Maybe the 40. A 7 or 8 yard gain. Reggie Jones makes the tackle. It'll be third down and short for the Rams after they mark it just inside the 41-yard line.
Saints were coming with a good rush, but Everett throws to his left quickly after a 5-step drop. Once again, was able to throw that ball off his back foot while he's kind of backpedaling. Boy, he's got a strong arm.
Rams are 0 for 2 on third down conversions. In fact, they've only picked up 2 first downs in the game.
Well, there's a little respect for the Saints' ability to stop the run. On this 3rd and 2, the Rams come out in a shotgun formation, spreading out their wide receivers. They're going to throw the football.
There's 4 wideouts. Everett gets the first down to the tight end Price over the middle, down to the 35 to the 34-yard line.
You see how much Everett likes to go to Price. You remember that was the role that Pete Holohan always filled on this team, and he was a longtime favorite of Everett's, doing just that. Just getting to the sticks, knowing where he had to be, pulling up and taking in that short pass and keeping drives going.
Price really playing Jim at that H-back position. That's what Holohan played. Of course, Ernie Zampecia, their coordinator, used to be with Don Coryell in the Chargers, and Kellen Winslow's the guy that really made that position famous.
Flipper Anderson wide to the right. The man in the slot on the right-hand side is Matt Carter, is actually a tight end. Saints are blitzing. Everett back to pass, being rushed, still being chased. Gets away from Martin. One would-be tackler at the 50. Throws it away down the right side of the end zone. Incomplete. Saints won an intentional grounding, and a flag has been thrown.
They got it.
I've never seen intentional grounding on a ball that went 50 yards. I mean, I've seen a guy throw it on the sideline or throw it high, but I've never seen anyone from the 45-yard line grounded into the end zone like that.
That's intentional airing.
Well, the Saints have been beneficiaries of 2 controversial intentional grounding calls this year. Once against Jim Harbaugh on the Bears here in that 28-6 win where he threw it out of bounds in the direction of some receivers. That time, there was only one receiver downfield, and he threw it to the corner of the end zone.
I can't imagine what he was doing. He'd gotten away from Wayne Martin. Wayne gave him good chase. He really got out around him and had plenty of time to locate someone, and it looked as though he just zeroed in on this Saints helmet in the right corner of the end zone and went for it.
I think you're absolutely right. Here's Bob
There was no
McElwee
pressure
again.
on the passer, no foul. There was no pressure on the passer, no foul.
Well, that's a rule, and I got to agree with him. There sure wasn't any pressure on him.
Is that one where an argument is won with a coach and an official on the sideline?
Yeah, maybe so. Just rethinking what the rule right is. You know, the rule is there's no grounding unless the quarterback's under pressure.
You know, Jim Mora won an argument like that earlier this year when time was taken off the clock. In a game against San Francisco 2 Sunday nights ago, and won the argument and had more time put back on, and Morton Anderson then converted a field goal a little later.
Well, you don't win too many of these officials. How about you? You've been winning any arguments with Jim Mora?
We don't argue, Archie.
Okay.
We get along great. 2nd down and 10 from the 35-yard line. Handoff goes to Cleveland Gary up the middle, and he gains down to about the 32, a 3-yard gain.
Well, Everett and the Rams do a smart thing. The crowd upset at the call, very loud here. Everett brings his team up quick and runs a draw play, trying to quiet them down a little bit.
Rams are 1 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. It'll be 3rd down and 7 from the 32-yard line in Saints territory with 3:39 and the clock moving here in the first half.
Turnbull was in for Ricky Jackson on the last 3rd down. This time Turnbull is in for Pat Swilling.
Mora wanted him loud for the shotgun formation for the Rams. He's getting it. Everett out of the shotgun will have to hurry. Now looks to the right and will run with it. 35 down to the 30, 1st down and out of bounds. And Everett puts his hands up in the air as if he tossed the tape at the end of the 100-yard dash. Yeah, about a 12-yard gain.
He's pretty pleased with his performance there. You think he just scored the winning touchdown. All he did was get a 1st down, but he did keep this drive going with 3:17 to play in the 2nd quarter.
Well, you said he'd been in a slump the last 2 years.
The gain down to the 22. It's a 10-yard gain. 1st and 10. Rams in Saints territory. Rams were 3 and out on their first possession. Picked up a 1st down, but had a holding penalty and a Saints sack holding back, and they had the punt on their 2nd possession. This is their 3rd.
Maybe he's got an incentive in his contract for 12-yard runs.
Everett under center with 4 wide receivers. Lobs one toward the end zone. There's going to be interference called. It's intended for Ellard, and Toy Cook is the defender on the play.
Yeah, it's going to be
Toy Cook just playing bump and run on Ellard right on the line of scrimmage. Quick count. No doubt what Everett was going to do.
Defensive pass interference. Number 39. 1st down.
Well, they got the number wrong. They haven't had too many things right in this drive, according to the Saints fans. That was on Toy Cook.
Yeah, Toy had his right hand out on the shoulder of Henry Ellard. They're going to call that.
Of course, the only argument will be of whether that ball was catchable. It ends up being a 13-yard penalty. 2:49 remaining 1st half, and the Rams trying to drive to tie it up. 5th 1st down. 1st down and goal from the 9. Cleveland Gary in the backfield along with Jim Price. Ellard and Anderson wide to the left. Everett back to pass. He looks. He throws over the middle. It's incomplete on a great hit by Brett Maxey. Pass was intended for Pat Carter. No good.
Yeah, Maxey went right through him to knock it out of his hands. It was just him and Carter, and Brett Maxey rose to the occasion and swatted it away.
This drive started after the interception by Leon White and the return to the 39-yard line in Rams territory. 2nd down and goal from the 9 with 2:44 remaining 1st half. Everett sends Ellard and Anderson wide to the left. The tight end is lined up as a flanker. Jim Price on the left. Handoff, the draw play to Cleveland Gary, and he gains maybe a yard to the 8.
Hey, looked like he might have a little something there on the draw, but stopped abruptly by Les Miller and Sam Mills. Sam Mills, the leading tackler for the Saints this year. 31 tackles coming into tonight's game.
Might be a candidate for Pop of the Week, huh?
Could be.
What do you think, David? Might be the Pop of the Week right there.
One can never tell. That is such a complex award that we choose every week. That will be thus logged into the play-by-play annual here tonight. It was a gain of 2 to the 7. It's 3rd down and goal from the 7-yard line. 2:03 remaining. See if they get the playoff before the warning. They do. Everett back to pass. And he's sacked. Back at the 13-yard line. Ricky Jackson again with help from Pat Swilling.
Well, Toy Cook had some good coverage. It looked like Everett was looking in his direction to Henry Ellard. Okay, Everett should know he's not going to get that much time to look around and throw the ball in that situation against the Saints pass rush.
1:56 remaining, first half. Saints lead 7-0. There's timeout. 2-minute warning. You're listening to Saints football.
Hi, this is Wayne Mack. Join me and my pal Renee Nadeau right here after every Saints game on Sports 1280. You know, I've always enjoyed talking about the Saints, and as soon as everybody else has their say about the game, you, Renee, and I will have the last word with your phone calls. In New Orleans, it's 524-1280. Outside New Orleans, toll-free, 1-800-364-1280. Join yours truly, Wayne Mack and Renee Nadeau, and your phone calls as we wrap it all up on Saints Game Day on Sports 1280.
The law office of Cardell Thomas provides competent and trustworthy legal advice in a warm and comfortable environment. This team of legal professionals has served their New Orleans community for the past 10 years. Now, if you have legal problems, their professionals stand poised to help you. Cardell Thomas and his associates has assisted thousands of people just like you in cases from maritime, personal injury, criminal, divorces, and succession. Stop by their office at 3723 Canal Street or call 482-2841. 482-2841. The law firm of Cardell Thomas gets results.
Renee Nadeau coming up after the game. Join me and Wayne Mack for the wrap-up show. I want your thoughts on Saints football. 524-1280 or call toll-free 1-800-364-1280. Join me, Renee Nadeau, and Wayne Mack on Sports 1280.
There's one bank that lives by its motto of absolutely the best personal service in New Orleans. That bank is your friends at United Bank and Trust. At United Bank and Trust, they make it their business to know each of their customers personally because they know to better serve all your banking needs, they have to take a one-on-one approach. Whether it's home mortgages, car loans, home improvement loans, or small business loans, United Bank and Trust at 2714 Canal Street can help. United Bank and Trust, where personal service isn't just a motto, it's the way United does business with you.
Sports 1280 AM.
Proud sponsor of Saints Radio is Sears Brand Central, the brand you want at the store you trust. And another proud sponsor, your Southland Jeep and Eagle dealers. Remember, there's only one Jeep. Zendejas to attempt a 30-yard field goal in the Porter Street end zone after the Ricky Jackson sack. It's fourth down from the 13-yard line.
Zendejas is 5 of 9 on the year, 2 of 3 between the 30 and 39-yard line.
Snap back in good shape. It certainly has plenty of distance, and the kick is good. It's now 7-3. Saints lead with 1:53 remaining in the first half. Now this for Sears Brand Central and Ford Quality Care.
It's Sears Days, and right now, you get 0% finance charge with Sears Charge Delayed Billing option when you spend $200 or more at Sears Brand Central on any brand name appliance. No payments, no billing until January 1st, 1993. Sunday and Monday only, so hurry into Sears Days. APR 21%. Minimum finance charge 50 cents, both lower in some states. See store for details.
The Isle of Capri Casino introduces Caribbean Fun Spots. Collect Caribbean Fun Spots for more fun and more value. It's colorful, exciting, and very rewarding. Get your Caribbean Fun Spots at Mississippi's favorite fun spot, the Isle of Capri Casino at Point Cadet in Biloxi. For information, call 1-800-THE-ISLE.
When it comes to getting your Ford serviced, you don't want any surprises. That's why Interstate Ford in Metairie keeps the prices for the most common services listed on a menu over the service counter, so you can see what the charges are up front. Like an engine tune-up for as low as $39.95. Stop in at Interstate Ford, 3724 Veterans Boulevard in Metairie anytime. There are no surprises here. Quality care. It may be your car, but it's still our baby.
Welcome back. That drive, 12 plays, 48 yards. It consumed 5:52 on the clock. Zendejas got a 30-yard field goal. 1:53 remaining in the first half, and it's 7-3. The Saints leading over the Los Angeles Rams.
Boys, that was a little 10-point swing right there. Saints going, just controlling the Rams defense, driving it down the field. Everything working, going in, gets the interception, and the Rams fortunately just turned it into 3 points, but really a 10-point swing.
Well, it looks like the Saints are going to lead at halftime for the first time this season in the 6th game of the regular season, but I think some of the Saints fans might be wondering, is that our touchdown for the evening?
I don't think so.
Zendejas to kick off on the 35-yard line to our right. McAfee and Hilliard deep to receive. And the referee, Bob McElwee, says booted away. Zendejas does, as was the first. It goes to McAfee, short of the goal line at the 7, to the 10. Breaks a tackle to the 20, 25, up to the 30, 35, 40, up to the 45-yard line.
Boy, it was a good run by Fred McAfee. Broke a tackle. Chris Kroons got it on upfield to the 45. Really got the Saints in good shape now with 1:46 to go. 2 timeouts left for the Saints to get something going.
Timeout, 1:46 remaining first half. That return was 38 yards by McAfee. It's 7-3, Saints over the Rams. You're listening to Saints football.
Listen to the Archie Manning Monday Morning Quarterback Show every Monday morning, 7 till 8:30 on the home of the Saints, Sports 1280. Join Dave Garrett, the voice of the Saints, and All-American All-Pro Archie Manning at Stonebreakers Restaurant on Edenborn behind Schwegman's Off Veterans. A continental breakfast will be available, and you can put your 2 cents worth in about the Saints and their opponents. Audience participation, call-in, and prizes, all on the Archie Manning Monday Morning Quarterback Show every Monday morning, 7 to 8:30, exclusively on Sports 1280.
This is Wayne Mack reminding you to stay with Sports 1280 after the game for the wrap-up show. I'll take calls at 524-1280 or toll-free 1-800-364-1280 and get your opinion on today's game. The Saints Wrap-Up Show with me, Wayne Mack, on Sports 1280.
Hey, George, I heard you just purchased a new heat pump. Yeah, Bill had it installed last week. Why in the world did you buy a heat pump? Well, a heat pump's one piece of equipment that provides comfortable heating and cooling with just a flick of a switch. And for each unit of electricity that goes in, you get 3 units of heat out. I mean, it's like getting a $100 value for only $33. George, where'd you get your heat pump? We got it from a contractor member of the Louisiana Heat Pump Association. If you're interested in moving up to the heat pump, just call 1-800-537-4255. They'll provide you with a list of qualified member contractors in your area.
What is your office communication system like? First Communication is the first team in communications. They're ready and able to tune up that out-of-tune communication system you're using now. Let First Communication compose your telephone system and service. It has some very pleasant notes. Listen to how First Communication guards against breakdown. Your present system's high notes compared with First Communication's low notes. Call First Communication at 464-1717 and listen to your telephone communication system perform like a symphony.
New Orleans, Sports 1280.
Welcome back to the Dome. Saints leading 7-3. New Orleans has 1:46 to work with. They'll go with 4 wide receivers on 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. Bobby Hebert out of the shotgun. Dalton Hilliard in the backfield along with Hebert. Snap back in good shape. He's being rushed. Throws a screen. Complete to Hilliard. 35. Up to the 40. 45. Gets a block to the outside. To the 50. To the 45 and out of bounds. Then he's tackled out of bounds. There's a late hit. The Saints will get benefit of a penalty.
Yeah, that's really going to help. Steve Israel just rode him out of bounds right in front of the Saints bench, so they'll tack the penalty yardage onto that. Hilliard with a masterful job of following his blocking, Arch, milking that for all it was worth.
Yeah, when you want to put your training film together,
the man out of bounds.
when you put your training film together on how to execute a screenplay, take that one right there. Great execution. What a wonderful job by Dalton Hilliard, just zigzagging in and out, following his blocking.
Let's count the penalty. The officials will stop at the 30-yard line. It's 1st and 10 at the 30 in Rams territory, and you're certainly within Morton Anderson's range.
And the Saints have 2 timeouts remaining. You'll remember they used 1 down near the goal line in the first quarter when they scored their touchdown.
Yeah, most teams, you think less than 2 minutes, you always, before the half, you think field goal, but I think the Saints have been doing so many things well offensively and so much success, they're definitely thinking touchdown here. Plenty of time.
13 first downs for the Saints now as we correct at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10. 4 wide receivers once again, and Hebert out of the shotgun. Hilliard the back on the right, and it's a handoff to Hilliard up the middle in the draw, 30, down to the 25, to the 20, first down to the 18-yard line.
Oh, another good call. Rams had 7 defensive backs in the game. The linebackers, actually they're defensive backs, but they're playing in the spot of linebackers, taking a deep drop on the snap of the ball. Zone coverage. Carl Smith calls for a draw play. Works very well. Joel Hilgenberg doing a good job downfield blocking. Now the clock's running. 109, 108. Saints with plenty of time. 2 timeouts left.
Saints have 206 yards total offense first half, leading 7-3. 1st and 10 after the 12-yard draw play run down to the 18-yard line. Hilliard in the backfield. Hebert out of the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. Back to pass, looks over the middle, lob to him, wide open. Wesley Carroll caught at the 10-yard line and could not break free of the tackle down to the 9.
Well, the Saints will use a timeout. That'll leave them with 1. Saints really took their time after the completion. between plays there. Clock down to 44 seconds now. One timeout left.
44 seconds remaining in the first half. Saints leading 7-3. Southwest Airlines, the 7th largest airline in America, offers over 1,200 daily departures to 33 destinations at the lowest unrestricted fares. Southwest Airlines, it's just plain smart. Saints will have it at the 10-yard line on a second down play. 7-3 Saints in the first half. Now this for Popeyes.
Dropping his throw now, looking for the screen, looks like he's going to cross it over. He's going to be picked off at the 38, to the 30, down to the 20, the 10, 5, touchdown Saints!
The footballs are flying, and New Orleans is out to win the West again. And as an official member of the Saints training table, your local Popeyes Chicken and Biscuits is proud to offer the best fans in the league, the Saints Touchdown Special. Enough of our famous New Orleans-style chicken and sides to feed 4 hungry fans and then some. This month's Saints Touchdown Special includes a box of hot, fresh Popeyes chicken, your choice of any 16-ounce side item, and 4 buttermilk biscuits for only $9.99. So come on in to your neighborhood Popeyes for a Saints Touchdown Special at the super party price of just $9.99. Home cooking for the home team. That's what Popeyes Saints Touchdown Special is all about. Pick one up today. On the heels of the team's first ever NFC West Championship, the saga of the Saints, the illustrated history of the first 25 seasons, has now been published and available at fine bookstores, including B. Dalton Booksellers. If you'd like a copy, you can call toll-free 1-800-358-1950 for the 200 photo plus special on the Saints' first 25 years. Penned by Louisiana sports journalist Wayne Mack, it's Saga of the Saints, 1-800-358-1950, also available at B. Dalton Booksellers, as well as other fine bookstores. Second down and 2 from the 10-yard line. 10 yards for the touchdown. 44 seconds remaining first half. Carroll and Early wide to the left. Eric Martin in the flank to the right. Dalton Hilliard behind Bobby Hebert. Under center. And the Rams started to jump off sides, but no contact. Man in motion now is Quinn Early from left to right. Bobby Hebert gets the snap with 1 second remaining. Lobs to the end zone to Carroll, in and out of his hands, incomplete. No good. It'll be third down and 2 from the 10.
Boy, it looked like he was going to be open for that. It looked like Bobby just underthrew it a bit, but he had broken behind Robert Bailey.
Well, what had happened, the Rams were up there faking a blitz, and they kept stepping back, then faking it and stepping back, and really Bailey's got the coverage on the outside, was up there faking the blitz, and forgot he had to cover him. Ran out there late. Ball actually looked like it hit in the stomach of Wesley Carroll. Bailey had his hands up.
Third down and 2 from the 10-yard line with 40 seconds remaining now. Clock stopped with the incompletion. Quinn Early in motion from far left to the right. Hebert, handoff to Hilliard, trying to get the first down. He gets extra effort but doesn't make it. Gains a yard to the 9, only got a yard. 32, 31, now 30 seconds remaining.
Well, I think Saints going to have to kick a field goal here.
This isn't going to sit well with Saints fans at all. I think everybody here would have liked to see the Saints take another shot at the end zone. And then if you have to kick it, kick it. But running that play into the middle of the line on 3rd and 2 with Dalton Hilliard running it didn't give you a whole lot of help or a whole lot of chance of picking it up, according to most of the fans here who will second-guess the play calling, and now the Saints will settle for the field goal.
Well, the Saints also just like to use so much time between the 2-minute and 1-minute mark.
Saints do burn a timeout as the clock stops with 6 seconds remaining in the first half. There's timeout. We'll pause for these local messages. Saints leading 7-3. You're listening to Saints football.
Sometimes you need to take time out and listen to some music. When that happens, turn to our sister station, Continuous Music, Q93.3 FM. Q93.3 FM has 100,000 watts of power, jamming New Orleans Saints football into your radios all over Louisiana. In addition, you hear Coach Jim Mora, Archie Manning, Jim Henderson, and Dave Garrett. We are the only 2 radio stations in New Orleans where you hear New Orleans Saints football. A 100,000-watt Saints blowtorch, Q93.3 FM and Sports 1280.
Included tax title license not included. Trade after NSGX ranked included in South Central region.
Car buyers. Ray Brand Nissan, #1 in New Orleans, #1 in Louisiana, and #1 in the South is outselling all the other Nissan dealers in 18 states. Get the 92 Stanza for just $96.90, or the 92 240SX for $10,990. The 92 Pathfinder is $15,480. And the 93 4x2 pickup is $67.93 during the Ray Brand Nissan year-end clearance. 1884 West Bank Expressway, Harvey.
Ray Brand Nissan guns down the competition.
Sports
1280 with your chance to talk to New Orleans Saints coach Jim Mora. Every Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 7:30, you can call Coach Mora and tell him what's on your mind, compliment or criticism. The Coach Jim Mora Show, every Tuesday evening at 6:30 on Sports 1280. Whatever you choose, you'll save at Shoetown and Foot in Fashion's half-price apparel sale. Buy any apparel item at our everyday low price and get the second of equal or lesser value for half price. Got that? Choose any apparel item. Buy one and the second of equal or lesser value is half price at Shoetown and Foot in Fashion. Save up to 30% on name brand athletics. Reebok, Converse, Fila, Pony, and Nike. Men's, women's, and children's athletics. Up to 30% off and half price on apparel during our anniversary at Shoetown.
All sports, all day.
It'll be 4th down from the 9-yard line. Morton Anderson in to boot the attempted field goal. Tabasco Brand Products brings you tonight's game, a proud sponsor of Saints football on radio. Tabasco Brand Pepper Sauce, 7 Spice Chili, and Tabasco Brand Bloody Mary Mix. Like the Saints, they're a Louisiana legend. This will be a 26-yard attempt from the 16-yard line. Hash mark to the right with Barnhart to hold. With 6 seconds remaining in the first half, the ball down, the kick in the air. It is good.
There's a penalty that the Rams are saying will go against the Saints.
The flag is thrown in the middle of the offensive line. Kobe Brenner is saying it's against the Rams.
Point is good. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. Leaping and climbing on a man. 15 yards on the kickoff.
Leaping and climbing.
You know, that rule was put in effect because of Tyrone Young, who was a great kick blocker for the Saints. He did it against the Cowboys on an extra point one time, and Tex Schramm, who was on the rules committee, got it outlawed.
Tie in the sky.
Tie in the sky, that's right.
3 seconds to go.
Yep, 10-3, Saints lead, and will get benefit of a penalty here on the kickoff.
Well, Saints have a lot of yards and a lot of first downs, but just 10 points.
10-3, as a matter of fact, 6 plays, 48 yards on the drive. It took a minute 50. Morton Anderson connects with the 26-yard field goal. Give the Saints a 7-point lead.
And we should point out the contribution that Fred McAfee made to that drive with his kickoff return of 38 yards, the longest kickoff return for the Saints this season.
You know, Jim, you look awfully nice in your Perlis and Cajun Clothing Company blazer and crawfish shirt here this evening.
Thank you.
You can see all the colors and styles of crawfish shirts and Saints Network blazers at Perlis on Magazine in the Esplanade and at Cajun Clothing Company in Jack's Brewery, the Riverwalk in Oakwood, Cortana, and Acadiana Malls.
I like your white crawfish shirt, Dave, and with the white pants. I thought he was an orderly from Baptist Hospital when he came in the booth tonight.
Well, I got accused of being an ice cream man, an orderly. The sleeves are on the front side, though. David Lang and Vernon Turner deep to receive this kickoff from the 50. Morton Anderson squib kicks it. It's taken by an upback at the 24-yard line. That's Todd Kinch and the LSU product still on his feet to the 32-yard line before the end of the first half is upon us. Kincham with the return of 5 or 6 yards after the squib kick. And that's the end of the first half with the score. New Orleans Saints 10 and the Los Angeles Rams 3. Billy Q. Herrick will be Jim Henderson's guest during our halftime activities. You don't want to miss that one, folks. The Southwest Airlines halftime report begins in 1 minute with the first half summary. This is the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Now's your chance to see the most exciting and technically advanced lineup in our history. Introducing Jeep and Eagle for 1993. With innovative new models that will truly amaze and thrill you. See the new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the sophisticated new Eagle Vision. Get a classically rugged two-door, two-wheel drive Jeep Cherokee Sport for as little as $14,335. Or buy an American original, the fun-loving Jeep Wrangler, starting as low as $10,910. You could get great deals on every vehicle in stock. So whatever you do, don't miss the 93s at your Jeep and Eagle dealer. MSRP after $500 cash back direct from Chrysler. Excludes title, taxes, and options. Actual prices may vary. These are limited time offers. Buyer must take delivery from dealer stock. See dealer for details. Jeep is a registered trademark of Chrysler Corporation.
See your Southland Jeep and Eagle dealer today. Saints football proudly sponsored on radio by Southwest Airlines, providing frequent flights and low fares, which is why flying Southwest Airlines is just plain smart. And by Popeye's famous fried chicken and biscuits, official training table product of the New Orleans Saints. And by Ford Quality Care. It may be your car, but it's still our baby.
We're at halftime. Saints lead the Rams 10-3. And if you're just plain smart about New Orleans Saints football history, you could be a big winner in the '92 Southwest Airlines Saints Halo Hall of Fame contest. The more you know about the memorable Saints stars of the past, your better your chances of being one of 8 big winners during the '92 season. Winners will enjoy an exciting gift package including all of these great prizes. A pair of free round-trip tickets from any Southwest Airlines city to New Orleans or any of the other 33 Southwest Airlines destinations of your choice. A pair of free tickets to an upcoming Saints home game in the Superdome. And a pair of free tickets to the Saints Hall of Fame and Museum in Kenner. Dinner for 2 at Stonebreaker's Restaurant in Metairie. Oh, my former Saints great Steve Stonebreaker. Plus a special Southwest Airlines Saints Smart Pack filled with fun gifts from Southwest Airlines. To win, just listen for the in-game clues. We've already had one in each Saints broadcast. If you can name the Saints Halo Hall of Famer, mail your entry or postcard to Southwest Airlines, 111 Veterans Boulevard, Suite 704, Metairie, Louisiana, 70005 by the entry deadline. If you're the first correct entry drawn on the announced drawing date, you're a winner. No purchase necessary to win. Just send in the correct entry by the announced deadline date. If you're the first correct entry drawn by Southwest Airlines, you'll be one of 8 big winners this season. Listen for clues each game and be a winner. The Saints Halo Hall of Fame contest brought to you by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the New Orleans Saints radio network. Halftime summary, Saints leading 10-3, a touchdown and a field goal. The Rams only had a field goal at the end of a drive that stalled out at the 7-yard line, and Ricky Jackson's sack forced Zendejas to come into the game to boot a 30-yarder. Saints' first score came on their first drive. They chalked up 7 minutes and 15 seconds out of the first quarter clock. 12 plays, 84 yards. Hebert hits Eric Martin on a 5-yard pass through the crease through 3 defenders for the score. Anderson's extra point kick made it 7-0. Zendejas got the field goal with 1:53 remaining in the second. Then the Saints marched right down the field, 6 plays, 48 yards. Their drive stalled. 4th down and 1 from the 9-yard line just before half, and Morton Anderson hit the chip shot of 26 yards for the margin we have. 10-3, Saints in the lead. Bill Q. Herrick will be the guest of Jim Henderson coming up on our halftime report in just a moment. The score, Saints leading 10-3 on the Southwest Airlines halftime report, and you're listening to Saints football.
Player personnel, Billy Q. Herrick is my halftime guest, and Billy, a lot of offense by the Saints in the first half, but not a lot of points to show for it.
Right, Jim, we're getting some good execution on long drives, moving the ball, but we're stalling down once we get near the goal line.
We'll do something about that.
Well, the second half, I'm sure they'll come out and make sure they get it done and get it in the zone.
Let's talk about your area of expertise. There's been a lot of talk this year that professional scouts were going to be frozen off certain campuses around the country because of the NFL drafting so many underclassmen in recent years. Have you found that to be the case with the Saints?
Well, the colleges have gone to what's known as the October rule, which the Division I schools, approximately 95 of them, have instituted a period of 4 weeks in October where you can have your scouts go on campus to evaluate their players. It hasn't caused us any hardship. Our area scouts have been out on the road since the end of August. They've just had to rework their schedule a little bit in September to get some of the Division I AA schools out of the way, and then hit the Division I schools hard in October. For myself, it hasn't had too much effect either. I've got my schedule worked out for the month of October where I'm going to be able to get to the top prospects at the major colleges.
What schools have you seen so far this fall?
Jim, I've been to Texas A&M, and they've got 2 outstanding prospects, an outside linebacker again, another linebacker to follow in Quentin Coriat and Aaron Wallace, and Roper's tradition, a fellow by the name of Marcus Buckley, an outside linebacker, is a good prospect, and they have another corner following Kevin Smith, Derek Frazier. Also been this past week to Alabama in the middle of the week. They have 2 outstanding defensive linemen in Curry and Copeland. And then down to Florida to watch Shane Matthews, who's having a good career at Florida. Has been SEC Player of the Year 2 years in a row. And then finished up on Friday at Florida State. And they have 3 prospect defensive linemen, a lot of team speed, and got the opportunity to watch them play North Carolina on Saturday. And North Carolina has an outstanding center. So I've been able to see some top players, in the early part of October here.
We're visiting with Billy Q. Herrick, the Saints Director of Player Personnel, here at halftime, nearing the start of the second half. In fact, with our score, the Saints 10 and the Rams 3.
More on the Southwest Airlines halftime report in a moment. You're listening to Saints Football.
Sports 1280 has the big three, Archie Manning, Coach Jim Mora, and Jim Finks. Every Monday morning at 7, it's the Archie Manning Monday Morning Quarterback Show, live from Stonebreaker's Restaurant. Have breakfast and meet and chat with Mr. Saint, Archie Manning, about Saints football.
I think this tackle was, the thing happened to Haverdick early. And I think this tackle thing's been in the back of their mind, the coaches, personnel, people, every since.
Every Tuesday night at 6:30 on Sports 1280, it's the nuts and bolts of Saints football and what makes it go. It's your chance to talk to Coach Jim Mora about the good, the bad, and the exceptional play of the Saints.
Special teams coach and I were talking today. We both are optimistic that we're going to do better in the kicking game. We're going to be okay there.
Every Wednesday evening at 6:30, we get down to business with the Jim Finks Show, live from Stonebreaker's Restaurant. Have dinner and talk Saints football with the president and general manager of the New Orleans
Tom
Saints.
had been talking to me about my contract off and on, and he was aware that I was talking to Jim Mora, but this time of the year is extremely busy for Jim Mora and Tom Benson.
The big three, Archie Manning, Coach Jim Mora, and Jim Finks, exclusively on Sports 1280.
Looks like he's going to be out of the game. If you just got put on injured reserve or want to stay in the game, the Sports Medicine Center at Lakeside Hospital can help. A full range of medical professionals are trained to treat everyone from pro athletes, weekend warriors, or Little League champs. The Sports Medicine team can show you how to overcome existing injuries or prevent new ones using modern fitness equipment and medical technology. From sprained ankles to the most complicated injuries. The Sports Medicine Center at Lakeside Hospital. Call 885-FITT. That's 885-3488.
Silver Bullet is the right beer now. Brought to you by Coors Light, the crisp tasting beer that's mountains above the rest. Remember to reach for the Silver Bullet when there's no room for filling up.
Sports 1280.
Billy Q. Herrick, in the short time remaining, give me what you've seen of the progress so far of a couple of your draft choices of a year ago. Vaughn Dunbar, your number 1, and number 5, Torrance Small.
Okay, Jim, Vaughn is an outstanding runner. As he's being showed each week, he gets better. With the more opportunity he gets to carry the ball, he gets a feeling of where the holes, how they're going to break, and he's so close to breaking one. And all the games that he's played in, he's got through the line quickly, got into the secondary, and is just one step away from making a real big long run. And I think that's going to come shortly. Torrance Small is a guy that started out on the practice squad and got elevated. Had a good half against the 49ers a couple weeks ago where he caught 4 passes. And once again, I think as he gets more reps, he gets more practice time, he gets more involved in the 4 wides and gets the ball thrown opportunity, I think you'll see good improvement from him.
Billy, thanks a lot for the visit. It's always a pleasure to have you up here in the booth with us. As a token of our appreciation, we'd like to add this to your wardrobe. It's a beautiful collection of Oscar de la Renta ties. They come courtesy of the Wemco Corporation right here in New Orleans. Hope you wear them in good health for years to come.
Will do, Jim. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Billy Q. Herrick, Saints Director of Player Personnel, with us here in halftime in the Superdome. The halftime festivities down on the field have just concluded. The Rams and the Saints have made their way back down to their respective benches, and they're loosening up to begin this second half here in New Orleans. That's today's Southwest Airlines halftime report. Our score at the half, the Saints 10 and the Rams 3. The second half kickoff is next on the Saints Network.
We're back in the Superdome. Morton Anderson has just sent his kick through the end zone, through the hands of Todd Kinchin. It was 10 yards deep, so the Rams will start 1st and 10 at their own 20. Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Saints Football.
Sports 1280 has the New Orleans metro area high school football dream season. You'll hear all the best matchup games all season long on your 24-hour sports station, WQUE AM 1280, New Orleans.
Saints leading 10-3. Rams have it first. Ellard wide to the left. Flipper Anderson wide to the right. The pitch goes to Lang, sweeping to the right. Cuts up at the line of scrimmage. Sam Mills makes the tackle after a 2-yard gain to the 22-yard line. It's second down with 8 to go.
David, in the first half, the Saints had the ball nearly twice as long as the Rams did, 19-26 to 10-34. 5 first downs for the Rams to 15 for the Saints. 2 out of 5 on third down efficiency for the Rams. The Saints were 5 of 8. 87 net yards for Los Angeles, 215 for New Orleans. 87 rushing for the Saints to 23 for the Rams. Net yards passing 128 to 64 New Orleans. And the only 2 sacks of the first half were recorded by Ricky Jackson, dumping Jim Everett.
That was Lang's first carry of the game. second down and 8 from the 22-yard line. Ellard in motion, handoff to Cleveland. Gary's hitting the backfield and gains maybe 2 yards to the 24-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Tackle made by Toy Cook. To the 24, not the 34, the 24-yard line.
Well, it's nice that Archie could finally make it back for the second half.
Y'all let them start without me again. I told you about that.
I thought maybe you were down in the sideline enjoying what I think you termed was the halftime salute to Cellulite.
No. And quoting one of your phrases from Atlanta, Jim, I'm glad you said that.
I'm not.
Rams are 2 for 5 on 3rd down conversions. 13:33 remaining 3rd quarter. Everett back to pass, throws over the middle. A miraculous catch made by Price, a one-handed grab. 1st down at the 34-yard line. How did he get that? The 10-yard gain, good enough for the 6th first down of the ball game for the Rams.
Well, Jim, you mentioned that Jim Price was the GOAT of last week's game against the 49ers. Boy, there was a chance for Jim Everett to be a GOAT. Pressured on 3rd down, just really threw it in a crowd in the direction of 3 Saints defenders, right out of their reach, and Price just goes up and makes a great one-handed catch.
Price has 3 catches for 23 yards. That one was good for 10. It's 1st and 10 at the 34. A flanker and a wideout to the far side. Ellard is wide to the near side. Out of the I formation, Lang and Cleveland Gary. Everett back to pass. Throws one long down the far side sideline and almost intercepted by Toy Cook. Incomplete. Intended on the play for Willie Anderson.
Looks like Pat Swilling is joining Dr. Terry Habe going into the Saints dressing room. We don't know if that'll be for an x-ray or what.
Yeah, Ronaldo Turnbull has been in his spot, and Pat was out of the lineup earlier in the first half. As you mentioned, you saw Turnbull in there for him in the 2nd quarter.
Toy Cook had the better turn on that last pass, intended for Flipper Anderson, but it goes as incomplete.
It was excellent coverage by Toy Cook, running step for step with Flipper Anderson on that corner route. Actually, Toy probably should have come down with the interception.
Ellard in the slot to the right, Anderson wide to the right. Ellard in motion from right to left, now back to the right. Out of the I formation, handoff goes to Cleveland Gary, and he's snowed under at the 35-yard line by Vaughn Johnson. A 1-yard gain, it'll be 3rd down.
It looks like Jim Everett's trying to get that ball deep to Cleveland Gary, coming from an I formation, and Gary wants to cut it back, and he's just cutting it back right into the Saints linebackers every time.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do much on the ground here tonight. If they're going to beat the Saints, it's going to have to be through the air.
So credit Gary with a 2-yard run. Rams are 3 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. It's 3rd down and 8 from the 36-yard line. Everett will work out of the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. Robert Del Pino out of the lineup on injured reserve tonight. Everett back to pass. Throws one for Ellard. It's in and out of his hands, incomplete at the 40-yard line. He was double covered on the play.
Well, Reggie Jones on the coverage right there with Flipper Anderson, although Flipper did stop, come back, almost made the catch. Great pass rush by the Saints, just the whole front wall, just a big push right there, right in the face of Jim Everett. He has to throw the ball, turn his back and fall away as Ronaldo Turnbull's right in on top of him from Pat Swilling's old rushing position.
Don Brackett into the ballgame, averaging 36.5 with punts of 46 and 27 tonight. This is his first punt of the second half. Rams did pick up a first down, line of scrimmage to 36. Bracken stands at his own 20. Dowdell deep to receive for the Saints, activated off the practice roster yesterday. Looks like Bracken took an extra step on that punt. Dowdell calls for the fair catch at the 27-yard line. It is a 37-yard punt and no return. And we have timeout on the field, 11:46 third quarter. Saints leading the Rams 10-3. You're listening to Saints football.
Sports 1280 has the Jim Mora Show. It's your chance to call and talk with New Orleans Saints coach Jim Mora. Every Tuesday evening, 6:30 to 7:30, all season long. You can call 524-1280 in New Orleans or 1-800-364-1280 outside New Orleans and tell the coach what you think of the team, its players, and its playing. Coach Mora will analyze the team's performance and talk strategy as each game for the Saints becomes more crucial. Listen and talk to New Orleans Saints coach Jim Mora every Tuesday evening, 6:30 to 7:30, exclusively on Sports 1280. When the joys of home ownership bog down in financial responsibilities like a new roof or an extra room, remember, home ownership can also mean financial opportunity like home equity. Let Jefferson Savings help you meet those responsibilities and talk with your tax advisor about the money-saving opportunities of an any-purpose home equity loan. Jefferson Savings and Loan Association, an equal housing lender. Sports 1280 and your chance to talk to the president and general manager of the New Orleans Saints, Jim Finks, live from Stonebreaker's Restaurant every Wednesday evening at 6:30 with phone calls and audience input. The Jim Finks Show every Wednesday evening at 6:30 on Sports 1280. What is your office communication system like? First Communication is the first team in communications. They're ready and able to tune up that out-of-tune communication system you're using now. Let First Communication compose your telephone system and service. It has some very pleasant notes. Listen to how First Communication guards against breakdown. Your present system's high notes compared with First Communication's low notes. Call First Communication at 464-1717 and listen to your telephone communication system perform like a symphony.
Sports 1280 AM.
Don't forget to tune in to the Saints postgame show when Archie, Jim, and I pick the weekly Popeyes Pop of the Game winner. Each week, we recognize the Saints player who delivers that Pop of the Game and announce the local charity that receives $500 in his name. Brought to you by Popeyes Chicken and Biscuits. 11:46, third quarter, Saints' first offensive possession. Bobby Hebert on a blind side rolled down on a busted play, possibly, from the 28, gains a yard to the 29, and was smacked hard by Darrell Henley.
That's definitely a busted play there. That's the last thing Bobby wants to do.
Well, you'd say it's hard to determine whose fault it is. Someone went the wrong way. Chances are it's Bobby's because he went to the left side and the fullback and halfback went to the right side. So we'll ask after the game. It's a loss, though. Well, maybe a one-yard gain.
About a length of the football, so statistically it's a yard. Second down and 9 from the 29. Quinn Early and Eric Martin wide to the right. Wesley Carroll wide to the left. Martin's in the slot. One running back, Dunbar, behind Bobby Hebert under center. Back to pass, looks, screens, complete to Dunbar. Tries to get outside, but can, and is tackled for no gain. Maybe a yard to the 30. Kevin Green in on the screen buster that time.
Those Saints have run more screens in this game than I've ever seen them before. That's the third one tonight. Twice, though, Kevin Green's done a good job of reading the screen.
He's their best linebacker. Last year, they moved him up front and really had him playing defensive end on the right side. He's just not physical enough for that. 6'3", 247. He had just 3 sacks last year after moving up to the defensive line. He had 13 the year before.
Saints are 5 of 8 on third down conversions. It's 3rd and 9 from the 29. 4 wide receivers. Dalton Hilliard's in the lineup. Dombrowski the center. Wesley Carroll in motion from slot right to the left. Here's the snap to Hebert with 2 seconds remaining on the play clock. Pass in and out of the hands of Carroll, incomplete, but there's a flag on the play, and maybe the left side defensive end jumped off sides.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was a free play, although it looked like it went right through the hands of Wesley Carroll. No, they're calling it on the Saints.
10:08 remaining third quarter, 10-3
Illegal
Saints.
formation. Number 47 offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Well, there is no 47 on offense unless Cedric Mack was in to play receiver one play. So Vernon Turner will be deep. Tommy Barnhart's first punt of the game was 55 yards. It's 4th down. 9 yards to go. Barnhart stands inside the 15. Turner stands at his own 26-yard line. It's a high snap. Barnhart gets away another better than average punt. Fair catch being called for by Turner at the 25-yard line. There's a 46-yard punt off the toe of Tommy Barnhart. We have timeout, 10 minutes exactly remaining, third quarter. Saints leading the Rams by a score of 10-3. This game being brought to you by Ford Quality Care, a proud sponsor of Saints Radio. It may be your car, but it's still our baby. Ford Quality Care. Also brought to you by Sears Brand Central, the brand you want at the store you trust. 10-3 Saints, third quarter. Now this for BC Powders.
Power, BC Power. When your job gives you a powerful headache, you need the power of BC. Power, BC Power.
In this auto body shop, you get a headache just walking in the door.
BC Power in the powder, the power of BC.
Somebody's hammering out dents over here or running a grinder over there. So there's always noise.
BC Power in the powder, the power of BC.
Then on top of that, there's fumes. Pretty soon your head starts pounding like a sledgehammer.
You need something to see you through, something strong so you feel like new.
Around here, there's headaches just looking for a place to happen. But BC knocks them right out.
BC Power in the powder, the
power of VC.
When you need strong relief, VC stops pain fast.
The power of VC.
Use as directed.
Today's smaller high-performance engines are really tough on motor oil. That's why there's Castrol. Castrol is the only leading motor oil that in every grade meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Stop into any of the 13 locations of Dimick All-Pro Auto Parts for all grades of Castrol GTX and heavy-duty motor oil. While you're there, register to win free Saints tickets. Look for a special in-store mail-in offer when you buy 12 quarts of Castrol GTX or heavy-duty motor oil at Dimick All-Pro Auto Parts for $1.25 per quart from October 15th to October 18th.
David and Archie, Pat Swilling has a bruised hip. He's come back from the locker room and he's testing it on the Saints sideline. But for now, it's Turnbull in there at the right outside linebacking position.
I think we'll see Swilling back in there.
1st and 10, pitch goes to Lang, sweeping the right side. The line of scrimmage was the 25, and David Lang cuts it up for a 2, maybe 3-yard gain to the 27 to the 28. Ricky Jackson on the tackle.
Number 56, Pat Swilling checks in. Turnbull out.
You are sharp tonight.
I'll tell you.
Besides missing the second half kickoff, you haven't done much wrong.
You probably like to know what this next play will be for the Rams, wouldn't you?
Do you know what it's going to be?
Pass.
9:30 remaining third quarter, and pass maybe because there's only 31 yards rushing for the Rams in this game. I formation. Everett fake handoff, back to pass, looks over the middle, throws wide open. Ellard caught, first down, 48-yard line. Snowed over by 3 different Saints. 22-yard gain on the second down play from the 27.
Well, I tell you, when you give Everett time, he can throw the rock now. That's a play-action pass out of I formation, and Henry Ellard must have gone down about 25 yards, broken to the middle, and Jim Everett is 6'5". He just threw it right over the zone defense on the break-in to Henry Ellard. A beautiful executed play.
Yeah, they say he throws off his back foot. Well, if he's not getting pressure up the middle, he gets the chance to step up, and that's just what he did there, and it was a clothesline to Ellard at the 49.
22 yards to Ellard. Everett's now 7 of 12 for 107 yards. Saints on the blitz. Everett back to pass again. He throws a long, long pass to the end zone on the right side. Troy Cook almost intercepted the pass intended for Flipper Anderson. It went through Cook's hands.
Nice tight coverage by Troy Cook. He had a little help back there from Atkins, but on a play that was similar to the one he was called for pass interference on in the second quarter, Cook was equal to the task there. You know, one thing the Saints really haven't done this year is intercept the ball. They've only got 3 interceptions. When you figure they had an NFC best 19 sacks coming into the game, there should be more of a correlation there, don't you think?
Well, it's unusual. What was it, 2 years ago? The Saints had a total of 8 interceptions in a 16-game schedule. Of course, bounced back last year, I think, with 29.
4 wide receivers this time. Ellard in the slot to the left. Wide to the left is Aaron Cox. Handoff goes to Cleveland. Gary gets the first down, still running inside the 40, down to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10, 13-yard run for Cleveland Gary. Sam Mills finally stops him.
Well, kind of caught the Saints off guard there on the shotgun formation. Ran the draw play. Tacklers were there after about maybe a 6 or 7 yard gain, but a nice spin move by Cleveland Gary getting forward, picking up the first down.
8:03 remaining in the third period. 10-3 Saints over the Rams. We'll have another Halo Hall of Famer clue, our final clue for this set, coming up right after this play.
I can't wait.
1st and 10 from the 37. Flankers left and right. Wide receivers left and right. Only one running back. Everett back to pass. Now will run with it, and is down after a gain of maybe 1 by Wayne Martin. Here's that clue. I scored 5 touchdowns for the 67 Saints, and every one could be called a flea flicker. Who am I? Mail your entry or postcard to Southwest Airlines Halo Hall of Fame Contest, 111 Veterans Boulevard, Suite 704, Metairie, Louisiana, 70005. I scored 5 touchdowns for the 67 Saints, and every one could be called a flea flicker. Who am I? The drawing deadline for winning entries, October 15th.
Did the Saints have a guy who was nicknamed Flicker?
I'll have to look that up.
Ellard wide to the right, Anderson wide to the left, 2nd down and 9 from the 36-yard line. Everett draw play to Cleveland Gary, jukes left, now back to the right, and gains yardage down to the 33, a 3-yard pickup. Sam Mills will make the tackle, and it'll be 3rd down with 6 yards to go from the 33.
The veteran right tackle for the Rams, Jackie Slater, has just been helped to their bench. 17 years worth of experience out of Jackson State. He's a guy who's blocked for both Walter Payton and Eric Dickerson during his collegiate and professional career.
He's the only guy that was on the team when Chuck Knox was originally with the Rams. Oh, that's hard to believe. 17 years playing offensive tackle in this league.
3 for 7 on third down conversions. Fans make their presence known. Man in motion, Aaron Cox from left to right with 4 wideouts. Everett back to pass on third down. Lobs one for Ellard. Caught. Jukes a player at the 20 down to the 15-yard line. 1st and 10. Jimmy Spencer, the man caught as Ellard made eye connection with Everett and came back to catch it.
Well, we talked about Everett's ability to throw off his back foot. There's an all-out blitz on the part of the Saints. Now, Spencer's got man-to-man coverage. He's with Ellard, but Everett just waits it out. He gets good protection up front and just anticipates the break of Henry Ellard, lays the ball out there. As soon as Ellard turns around, the ball's right there. Well-executed play.
Ellard makes his 500th career reception with that pass catch.
The key to the success of that play by the Rams was an excellent blitz pickup on the part of the Rams offensive line.
The tight end lined up as a flanker. Price in motion. Handoff to Cleveland. Gary's dropped for a yard loss by Wayne Martin. From the 15 back to the 16, it's 2nd down.
I can't believe they continue to try to run that.
I know it. Hasn't done much for him. I think Saints fans a little restive. This seems to be one of those games where the Saints just dominated totally in the first half, only had 10 points to show from it, squandered opportunities down near the goal line, a possible touchdown that had to be a field goal late in the first half, find themselves only leading by 7. That's not much when you've got the quick striking capability of Everett, along with Flipper Anderson and Henry Ellard.
Well, you're exactly right. Just really have the feeling the Saints should have scored 21 points in that first half.
2nd and 11 from the 16-yard line. Price in motion again. They're using tight ends as flankers. Everett back to pass, throws to the corner toward the end zone. It's caught by Ellard. 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. A gain of 14. Troy Cook on the tackle.
Same thing, just great anticipation on the part of Jim Everett, throwing the ball long before Henry Ellard makes his break and not really putting a lot on the ball, kind of floated out there, but Ellard turns around, the ball's right there, very hard to defend.
That's the 7 route that the Rams call it. That's long been the corner. That's the corner route, Archie, as you'll remember. And Ellard has long said that that's his favorite route to run.
The 7 route, okay. Boy, you come a long way.
I think I just saw a slip of paper going right back up his sleeve. 3:58 remaining third quarter. Saints lead the Rams 10-3. 1st and goal from the 2. I formation. Handoff to Cleveland Gary, and he stopped short, maybe right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Proud sponsors of Saints football, Pennzoil and Gum Out, both available at all Walmart stores. Pennzoil and Gum Out.
Jackie Slater's back in there now at right tackle. Again, we mentioned the 17-year veteran. Once had a chance to interview him, and I asked him how he would describe his position. He says playing right tackle is like having a fight in a closet. He's had a lot of them.
2nd down and goal from the 2-yard line. 3:18 remaining third period. A flanker on the right. I formation. Everett back to pass. Lobs one for his tight end, and it's overthrown, intended for Carter, incomplete, on the left-hand side of the end zone.
Well,
depending on the play, Brett Maxey.
Brett Maxey does a great job for the Saints. He's just such a smart player back there in the secondary, and just seems like he's in the right place at the right time. I think we've got a flag down and possibly defensive holding on the Saints. That was a play-action pass. Rams had all their big people in there. Actually had one of their linemen at a tight end spot.
Defense, half the distance to the goal line, 1st down.
Boy, tough break for the Saints. Gene Atkins called for holding. That'll be 1st down and half the distance. Rams trying to run the play-action pass out of I formation and throw the crossing pattern to Carter back across the field. Brett Maxey just right there with him.
1st and goal from the 1 for the Rams.
3:10 remaining third quarter. Saints leading 10-3. That looks in jeopardy at the moment. That's the 4th Saint penalty of the ball game. 29 yards.
They'll probably try to give it to Gary over the top right here.
Out of the I formation, Lang and Gary. Handoff to Gary. He dives toward the end zone. I believe the Saints stopped him at the line of scrimmage. No gain, 2nd and goal. Vaughn Johnson on the tackle.
Well, we've seen Vaughn Johnson be a part of a lot of great goal line stands down through the years for the Saints. He anticipates so well, and nobody tackles any more fiercely. But the Saints will really have to dig in here. There's, in fact, a little bit of a loss on that play of about 6 inches.
Vaughn really does do a good job of anticipating that jump from an I-back.
12 out of the 14 carries by Cleveland Gary have been for 3 yards or less. That one was less. Second and goal into 1. High formation, a flanker to the right, handoff to Gary again. He stopped short at the 1. Vaughn Johnson once more.
Well, this would be a great stop here if they can do it one more time and force Zendejas to kick. I can't see the Rams going for it on 4th down. Can you, Art?
I can't either. And I think the Saints have an excellent chance. And I got to believe the Rams, Sam Peason calls the play. I got to believe he thinks they got to throw the ball right here in order to get in the end zone. They're just not going to run it in on the Saints.
Gary's last 4 carries have been -1, 0, 0, and 0. How about another 0? 3rd down and goal from the 1. Same formation. I formation. Handoff to Gary, left tackle. He waltzes into the end zone and stands up. Touchdown Rams.
Like I said, they'll never run it in on the Saints.
Tom Newberry really threw a great block that time on Vaughn Johnson. That hole was cavernous, and he just went in standing up virtually untouched. A 1-yard touchdown run as Zendejas will add the point after that'll make it a 10-10 game.
Besides cavernous, that hole was big, too.
It was big.
Wide.
Zendejas to attempt the point after the 75-yard drive. The minute 53 remaining 3rd quarter. Ball down, the kick is in the air, and it is good. Timeout. 1:53 remaining in the 3rd period. It's a tie game. The Saints 10 and the Rams 10. You're listening to Saints football.
Listen to the Jim Fink Show every Wednesday evening, 6:30 to 7:30 on the home of the Saints, Sports 1280. Join Dave Garrett, the voice of the Saints and the man who signs the checks. President and General Manager of the Saints, Jim Finks, at Stonebreakers Restaurant on Edenborn behind Schweigman's All Veterans. Dinner will be available. It's your chance to talk to the man about holdouts, contracts, salaries, bonuses, and trade. Call in or be in the audience at Stonebreakers Restaurant for the Jim Fink Show every Wednesday evening, 6:30 to 7:30 on Sports 1280. On Sports 1280, you can talk to the always unpredictable Mr. Saints, Archie Manning, every Monday morning at 7, live from Stonebreakers Restaurant at breakfast time. Call or be in the audience for the Archie Manning Monday Morning Quarterback Show, 7 a.m. on Sports 1280.
On select models includes rebates with approved credit, tax title license not included. Dealer participation may affect final price. Rank and according to Chrysler Corp. See dealer for details. Car buyers, Ray Brandt Dodge, the dealer that brought you buy one, get one free, is back. Now, Ray Brandt Dodge presents 0 down, 2.5% financing, and no payment till 93. Put 0 down on a 92 conversion van. Get 2.5% financing and make no payment till 93. 1660 West Bank Expressway, Harvey. There's only room in this town for one Dodge dealer, Ray Brandt Dodge. The rest, get out of Dodge!
New Orleans, Sports 1280.
You know, we were just discussing during the break that the Rams mirrored the Saints offense on that drive, taking up 8 minutes and 5 seconds to go 13 plays, 75 yards. Right, Jim?
Yeah, and Jim Everett's getting well protected and finding his wideouts, and a talented group they are. So the Saints got to get something going on offense here with Dalton Hilliard returning the kickoff.
Hilliard at the goal line, already to the 25, to the 30, up to the 40, fumbles the football, and I think Zendejas recovered. Oh, no, the officials say it belongs to the Saints at the 46.
Now that's got to be down by contact because the Rams clearly fell on the ball. Oh, what a break for the Saints.
Either that or the officials blind.
I'll take either option. It was a 48-yard return. You may hear from Bob McElwee here with 1:41 remaining in the 3rd period.
Only thing I could
The
say...
recovering man came in from out of bounds.
Zendejas fell on the ball.
The ball goes this way.
It's kind of like professional wrestling. You watch that a lot. You know, when the guy gets his foot out of the ring, things Zendejas' foot was out of bounds.
That's right. Good call. 1:41 remaining 3rd quarter timeout. Score tied 10-10. Now this for Southwest Airlines. It's tied in the Dome. A minute 41 left. 3rd quarter 10-10 Rams and Saints. This game brought to you by Ford Quality Care, a proud sponsor of New Orleans Saints Radio. It may be your car, but it's still our baby. Ford Quality Care. Don't forget to come in to participating New Orleans Popeyes and register to win free Saints game tickets and a chance for the all-expense-paid trip to the Super Bowl during the Saints Super Sweepstakes. There's a new winner every week, so register often. See store for details. From your friends at Popeyes and the Saints Network. First and 10 Saints, their own 46-yard line after the break. Zendejas was stepping out of bounds on the fumble recovery. It stays with the Saints after Hilliard dropped it after the wonderful return. A fake of a blitz, 3 wide receivers. Hebert lets the play clock go down to 2. Back to pass, looks over the middle, throws wide open. Hilliard 50, down to the 45-yard line. He's stopped by Larry Kelm and Anthony Newman. It is a 9-yard gain, second down.
Well, we've seen the 2 longest kickoff returns by the Saints in the season in one game. Earlier in the second quarter, a 38-yard return for McAfee, a 48-yard return there just moments ago by Dalton Hilliard.
Good blocking by that kickoff return team. Drop back pass on the part of the Saints with 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and 1 back. Bobby wanted to go to Eric Martin once again in that seam route. Chose to dump it off over the middle. Let's see if they come back to that. This is a running formation right here.
Hayward and Dunbar in the backfield behind Hebert with 2 wideouts early on the right side. Martin on the left. In motion, Dunbar out of the backfield. Handoff goes to Ironhead. He gets the first down to the 42-yard line. Gets up shoving a Ram player around, and the Saints don't need a penalty here.
And that's Michael Stewart. He was in on top of Hilliard, who was clearly down and was still pushing him, and a number of the Saints came to Ironhead's defense. Not that he needs a whole lot.
First down. That's the Saints' first down of the second half, their 16th of the ball game. It's a gain from the 45 down to the 43, a 2-yard pickup.
Just 40 seconds to go in this third quarter. It's been a quick game, really has.
36 seconds, clock moving. Martin left, early right, split backs. Hayward and Dunbar behind Hebert under center. Hobie Brenner, the tight end, on the right side. From the 43-yard line. Straightaway handoff to Dunbar. Looks for an opening, can't find one. He might have earned 3 yards down to the 40. It'll be a 3-yard gain, second down and 7. Tackle made by Roman Pfeiffer. Second-round draft choice last year out of UCLA.
Terrence Small checks in the game. Ironhead Hayward coming out.
That's the end of the third quarter. The clock runs out before the Saints can get another playoff. So with timeout at the end of the third period of play and the score tied at 10-10, we're headed for the final 15. You're listening to Saints football.
Stats after 3 quarters: Saints 15 first down to the Rams 12, 93 net yards rushing to the Rams 48, 137 passing to 128 for the Rams. Time of possession virtually even, 23 minutes, nearly 22 for Los Angeles.
Second down, 7 from the 40-yard line. 2 wideouts to the left and 1 to the right. Hebert back to pass after under center. Throws to Torrance Small, and he dropped the ball. It was in his hands at the 38-yard line. Incomplete. Third down and 7 from the 40 now.
You know what? That's 4 passes at least that I count that Bobby should have had completed. That was a drop there. Wesley Carroll's dropped a couple, and Hobie Brenner dropped the one in the end zone for the that resulted in the interception that is the big play in the game at the moment.
14:55 left to go in the fourth quarter of play. 10-10 Saints and Rams. 4 wide receivers on this play. Torrance Small and Wesley Carroll to the left, and it's Hurley and Martin to the right. Dalton Hilliard, the blocking back for Bobby Hebert. Play clock down to 3. Hebert gets the snap out of the shotgun. He throws a little low, and it's incomplete, intended for Wesley Carroll, but he could not hold on to it.
That was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and the Rams have a great propensity for doing that. They came in with 14 pass deflections by the defensive line, and I think that's number 15.
Well, Kevin Green got a pretty good rush, and I think did tip the ball. It really frustrates a quarterback. Rams, though, quite a bit have tipped the ball where a lineman really hadn't rushed. He just stays at the line of scrimmage, doesn't get upfield, and then tips the ball when the quarterback delivers it over the middle.
Correction, that pass dropped by Quinn Early. It would have been short of the first down. Barnhart to punt. He's averaging 50.5. Snap back in good shape, but we have a flag on the play. And the play will not get off the launching pad. Well, the punt goes out of bounds at the 5.
I saw James Williams flinch up there on the offensive line for the Saints. Whether contact was made, I don't know, but I think it's going to go against the Saints.
Well, the Saints with 15 first downs in the first half have but 1 thus far in the second
False start,
half.
left guard before the snap. 5 yards, 4th down.
And I might add 15 yards of total offense.
So it'll be a 4th down with the penalty marked off. 12 yards to go now from the 45. Vernon Turner deep to receive for the Rams. He stands at his own 10. Barnhart punts from his own 40 now. Line of scrimmage is at the Rams 45. We've had 2 high punt snaps to Tommy Barnhart. Play clock down to 5. Snap back in good shape. Barnhart gets this one high into the air. Fair catch being called for by Turner. He lets it go. It hit Maxey at the 5 and gets to the goal line. It's tapped around and it goes in for the touchback. A 45-yard punt by Tommy Barnhart. Saints had a chance to catch that one on the fly, but did not. We'll pause 90 seconds for these local messages. 14:37 remaining, final period. Score tied 10-10. You're listening to Saints football.
A little too easily to them early in the game. The second half has belonged to the Rams. Saints need to make a big play on defense.
You're right, Jim. Turnover would be big here.
Anderson wide to the right. Tied into the slot. Pat Carter in motion. Fake handoff. Play action. Everett back to pass. Throws. Wide open. Ellard caught. Complete and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. A 20-yard gain. Reggie Jones defending. And it's Ellard on the catch.
Boy, that was a good throw by Jimmy Everett. A real quick fake on the play-action pass, and Henry Everett just blowing off the line of scrimmage. Runs a slant corner pattern on Reggie Jones. Had him by a couple of steps, and Everett just put it right there as he went out of bounds.
13th first down for the Rams. Ellard goes wide to the left. Flipper Anderson wide to the right. The tight end lined up as a flanker on the right is Pat Carter. Out of the I formation. Handoff goes to Cleveland Gary over left tackle. He gets nothing. Well, he gets 2, but relatively nothing, up to the 42-yard line. Tackle made by Jim Wilkes, who's back and healthy.
Starting for the first time tonight after that injury in about the second week of the season prior to the Bear game. Gain of 3 on the carry as Wilkes rode him down at about the 43-yard line of Los Angeles.
13:46 remaining in the contest. Saints and Rams tied at 10. Sam Mills motioning for the crowd to elevate the volume. A flanker and 2 wideouts to the right, 1 back behind quarterback Everett. At back, Gary gets the handoff, crosses the 45, and gets to the 48-yard line.
Pretty good running play by the Rams there. Gary going over that left side, picks up about 4 more.
And running behind Tom Newberry, the left guard, who had a big block on the touchdown by Cleveland Gary back in the third quarter. Rams made a lot of moves last year, some of them very inexplicable. One was moving Newberry to center after he'd been a Pro Bowl guard. Now he's back at left guard and much happier there.
I think Georgia made that move, didn't you?
The Rams are 5 of 9 on third down conversions, but they're 3 of 4 here in the second half. Third down and 3 from the 47. Out of the shotgun, Everett back to pass. He's going long, and he overthrows everybody. The Saints intercept the ball. It's Gene Atkins at the 18-yard line on the overthrown pass from Everett.
Well, they say a free safety has to be a good center fielder. That ball was that was really a poor decision on the part of Everett. I don't think his defender really even saw the ball thrown. It was overthrown, and really, Gene Atkins covered a lot of ground in getting over there and making the interception.
Owen just barely got the second foot down before tumbling out of bounds at the 18. Reggie Jones a little shaken up on the play, but he trots off the field alongside Toy Cook, and the Saints take over after the break we've been looking for. It'll be at the 19-yard line, first down and 10.
Gene Atkins' first interception of the year. Jones, Cook, and Maxey had one, just the 4th of the year, and that's Jim Everett's 9th interception.
Juan Dunbar in the backfield behind Hebert. Martin in the slot to the left, Early wide to the left. Torrance Small is split wide to the right.
I'd like to see him hit Martin again in that seam route like they did earlier.
Hebert lobs one, wide open. Martin at the 35-40, up to the 45, still on his feet. He may have been hit late. After he's down at the 47, there is no flag. First and 10 Saints. Larry Kelm hit him after it looked as though Martin had bounced.
You are hot tonight, I'm telling you. Well, let's see what I want to call here.
Why couldn't you have played like that?
29-yard gain.
I should have been on the sideline with those headphones on the whole time.
That's what a lot of the fans contended throughout much of your career.
All right, we're going to come back with a little running play to Dunbar here.
Wide left and right. Split backfield. First and 10 from the 47. Brenner, the tight end on the right side. A defensive back sneaking up at the line of scrimmage to the Rams. Hand off to Dunbar. He gets very little, if anything at all. tried to juke a player at the line of scrimmage and runs right into the hug of Michael Stewart with 11:47 remaining in the game. No gain. Martin has 6 catches now for 103 yards, and this is a record-type night for Eric Martin.
Yes, in fact, he tied Danny Abramowitz's record earlier in this game. Took the ball home, or it's on the sideline waiting for him. It'll go in his trophy case after he's caught a pass now in 79 straight games to tie Abramowitz.
Martin in the slot left, Quinn Early wide left, Torrance Small wide right, Dunbar behind Bobby Hebert.
Well, if you run the ball, you want to go left here against this Ace defense.
He runs left, and across the tackle and across the 50-yard line, Dunbar gains quick yardage down to the 40, or that's Dalton Hilliard, beg your pardon, and he gains down to the 46 before Bill Hawkins makes the tackle. Dalton Hilliard on the carry. And he picks up 8 yards. Saints have 100 yards rushing. It's 3rd down with 2 yards to go. Saints are 5 for 10 on 3rd down conversions. 4 wide receivers now. Small and Early to the left. Early in the slot. Martin and Carroll to the right. Martin in the slot. Hilliard in the backfield with Bobby Hebert out of the shotgun. Hebert sends Early in motion left to right on 3rd down. The Rams are off sides. There's the snap to Hebert. He throws. It is caught by Torrance Small, but the officials are calling the play dead, and that may mean the Saints moved or there was contact.
I didn't see any contact.
It looked like both the Rams came across, 2 Rams came across the line, then Bobby got the ball snapped before they got back.
Well, we'll find out from Bob McElwee in a moment.
Encroachment, 91 defense. 5 yards, first down.
That's Kevin Green guilty of encroachment. The penalty will give the Saints a first down as they mark it off to the 41-yard line of the Rams. Saints trying to move after the first turnover that they collected tonight. The interception by Atkins back at the New Orleans 19. This drive has now moved it to the 41 of Los Angeles. 10-10 game with less than 10:20 to play in the 4th quarter.
Juan Dunbar back to the lineup. 1st and 10 from the 41. Hebert looking at one linebacking position and pointing something out. 2 wideouts to the right and 1 to the left. Handoff to Dunbar, sweeping right, cuts up a crease, fumbles, loose football, and is picked up by the Rams. The Rams get it at the 37-yard line. Los Angeles has returned the turnover that the Saints just picked off. Michael Stewart on the recovery.
Well, something Vaughn Dunbar hadn't done much of since he's been here. Misdirection running play, coughs it up, Rams recover.
Proud sponsor of Saints Radio is BC Headache Powders. No matter where you're hurting, nothing works faster than BC Headache Powders. We're going to take one. 9:54 remaining in the game. It's 10-10. Now this for Popeye. Attention Saints fans, there's a brand new publication devoted exclusively to giving you the inside story on the Saints. It's called Saints Digest, the official publication of the Saints. Game coverage, action photos, player features, stats, a column by Archie Manning, published 26 times a year, weekly August through January, and 4 special off-season issues. You can get your Saints Digest subscription for $32.95 a year by calling 1-800-334-4005. You'll also receive the 92 Saints Media Guide. That's 1-800-334-4005 for Saints Digest.
Your column's going to be a big part of the next crawfish boil I have.
How long do we have to wait for that?
You didn't like my article on Big Stan Brock?
It was an excellent article.
Thank you.
you can use more than one-syllable words, you know. There's no penalty for that.
First down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Make it to 38. Rams after the fumble by Dunbar and Stewart's recovery out of the I formation. Everett hands off to Cleveland. Gary runs into his own blocker and tackles himself at the 35. A 3-yard loss. We'll see where they mark backward progress.
Well, it looks like Gerald Perry was just stuffed. The offensive lineman was stuffed at the line, and Gary ran right up his back.
Wilkes caused that. Gary has 19 rushes for only 38 yards this game.
Gary was third in the NFC in rushing, 355 yards coming into this game.
Second down, 13 after the 3-yard loss. Ellard and Henderson wide to the right. The flanker to the left. That is Price in motion from left to right. Everett rolls to the near side. He's going to be sacked by Ricky Jackson back at the 23-yard line. Jackson gets another sack.
That's a great play by Ricky Jackson. He was double teamed out there and fought through that to get to Jim Everett. For Jackson, that's his 3rd sack of the game. There have only been 3 in the game. He has them all.
New little wrinkle for the Rams. Saints had in a nickel defense, 4 people rushing, 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs, and Jim Everett tried to roll out to his right. I agree with you, Jim. Just an outstanding job by Ricky Jackson. That gives him, 7.5 sacks on the year.
Team leader now.
Loss of 11 on the play. It's 3rd down and 24 from the 24. Rams a little confused on their offensive setup. Anderson finally gets set, and Jim Everett has to burn a timeout. 8:35 remaining in the game. The score is tied at 10-10. Rams call timeout. You're listening to Saints football.
This is Renee Nato. Join me and Wayne Mack right here after every New Orleans Saints game on Sports 1280 for the wrap-up show. Call us at 524-1280 in New Orleans. Out of town, toll free 1-800-364-1280. And we'll talk Saints football. On the wrap-up show, we'll have interviews, replays, and your calls about the team, the game, and the Saints in general. For the last word on the Saints game day, listen to the wrap-up show with me, Renee Nato, and Wayne Mack on Sports 1280. On select models includes rebates with approved credit, tax, title, license not included. Dealer participation may affect final price rank and according to Chrysler Corp. See dealer for details. Car buyers, Ray Brandt Dodge, the dealer that brought you buy one, get one free, is back. Now, Ray Brandt Dodge presents 0 down, 2.5% financing, and no payment till 93. Put 0 down on a 92 conversion van. Get 2.5% financing and make no payment till 93. 1660 West Bank Expressway, Harvey. There's only room in this town for one Dodge dealer, Ray Brandt Dodge. The rest? Get out of Dodge!
This is Wayne Mack reminding you to stay with Sports 1280 after the game for the wrap-up show. I'll take calls at 524-1280 or toll free 1-800-364-1280 and get your opinion on today's game. The Saints wrap-up show with me, Wayne Mack, on Sports 1280.
What can you buy for $9.95 these days?
We deliver.
Quite a lot. With express mail overnight delivery service from your post office. For less than $10, you put the full power of the United States Postal Service to work for you. Over 700,000 men and women ready to do whatever it takes to assure next morning delivery. Express mail service, just $9.95 for up to 8 ounces. Sponsored by your Postal Service.
Sports 1280.
Welcome back to the Superdome. 8:35 remaining. 4th quarter score tied 10-10. Rams have it 3rd down and 24 at the 24. Had to call a timeout, and they're up in the dome. Everett out of the shotgun, gets the snap off in good shape. Now comes out in the open area, still looking to throw, and does. It's complete to Ellard at the 30-yard line. I'm sorry, that's Vernon Turner who makes the catch at the 30-yard line. Only good for about 6 yards.
Saints had pretty good pressure there for only a 3-man rush, and he had to dump it off underneath it, well short of the first down. Good series there for the Saints defensively.
Marcus Dowdell back to receive this punt. Done a fine job tonight for his first games. Made good decisions. Had a good return that was called back.
Don Bracken will punt. He has averaged 36.3 with punts of 46, 27, and 36.
Saints have got a return on.
Punt off in good shape. It's a spiraling kick that never turns over. It's caught at the 30. Blocking set up 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. He's to the 40. Down to the 38-yard line. How about that for the man just off the practice roster? A 31-yard punt. 41-yard punt and a 32-yard return.
Well, I really like this little guy. What a beautiful return was set up by Joe Marciano and his special teams crew. Kind of a wall was set up, but it went down the middle of the field. Just a big alley there, and Dowdale looked good.
First down and 10 for the Saints. As they mark the football downfield from the 38, it's at the 37-yard line.
Well, they've gone through Patrick Newman, they've gone through Lewis Lips, and apparently they had their punt returner on their team the entire season.
Yep.
Hilliard is in the backfield. Dowdell had one punt called back earlier of 34 yards.
Well, now it's time for the offense to just take charge of this football game.
Hilliard gets the carry, crosses the 35, still on his feet, down to the 30-yard line.
Good, strong running and some excellent blocking up in front of him by Jim Dombrowski, who's having a great year.
Bill Hawkins on the tackle.
Well, that kind of sends a message right there. Just a straight handoff on the left side, charges forward for about an 8-yard gain.
Boy, Dombrowski just pancaked Sean Gilbert. Not an easy thing to do.
Second down and 3 from the 30. Martin wide to the right side, along with Quinn Early. Wide to the left is Torrance Small. Dalton Hilliard still in there, and Brenner is the tight end on the left. Hebert looks at a four-man defensive front. Handoff to Hilliard, right side, 30, cuts it up, 25, first down Saints, down to the 22.
Big hole on the right side. Remember earlier in the game, Jim talked about how the Saints wanted to spread them out and run the football, and that's what they're doing here. We've got 3 receivers in the game, kind of spreading everything out and just giving the ball deep to the tailback and let him create a hole.
I'll tell you what, though, I don't think if you're the Saints here, you're very comfortable if you have to kick a field goal. I think this one has to go in the end zone for the Saints to win it, don't you?
Absolutely. Get it in the end zone.
Martin and Early wide to the left. Torrance Small wide to the right. Dalton Hilliard behind Hebert. First and 10 at the 22 after the 8-yard run. 6:07 remaining in the game. Handoff Hilliard, left tackle, running room, down to the 15. 7-yard gain, second and 3.
Good blocking by Hilgenberg, the center. Offensive line, it looks like really taking charge here. Very impressive running plays.
And running that clock while they do it, it shows 5:45 and it's running here in the fourth quarter in a 10-10 game.
Hilliard has 6 carries for 42 yards. His last 3 have gone 7, 8, and 7. Second down and 3 from the 15. Martin in the slot to the right. Along with Quinn Early, wide right. Torrance Small, wide left. Dalton is still in there. Line of scrimmage is the 15-yard line. Hebert hands off Hilliard, right tackle. Had a crease for a moment. Got close to the first down, but he's about a yard short, and there's still some scuffling going on. I think he gains 2. It'll be third down and 1 at the 13. Tackle made by Pat Terrell.
You could combine Dalton Hilliard's speed with Vaughn Dunbar's speed. You'd have quite a running back, wouldn't you?
I'm glad we have both of them. Multiple substitutions now. Both teams.
Vaughn Dunbar in the lineup along with Craig Hayward for the Saints.
Well, that's a big play here. You got to pick it up or probably kick it.
Well, the Saints got their big people in. Ford will be at one of the tight ends, along with Brenner and Wainwright, a tight end at a tight wing spot. It looks like a formation where you might give it to Hayward here.
Third and 1 from the 13. Handoff Hayward, and he gets hit. He got close, then he was pushed backwards.
Oh, boy.
Wait and see.
It just depends on the spot. Hayward kept bouncing, trying to go forward. They kept hitting him and then started driving him back. Just depends on the spot.
I don't think he got a very good spot.
What do you do?
I think you kick it.
Yeah, you kick it.
Anderson is out on the field, so is Barnhart. 4:03 remaining, clock moving. Here comes Morton.
Well, this is very much in keeping with the Saints' philosophy. Win it with your special teams, win it with your defense. And the clock is winding down. The Saints are really lining up in a hurry here for this 30-yard field goal attempt by Anderson.
Play clock down to 7. It'll be a 30-yard attempt, as Jim said, with 3:42 remaining in the game. Ball down, the kick is in the air, and it's good. 3:37 remaining in the game. The Saints have the lead once again. Saints 13 and Rams 10. Now this for your Southland Jeep and Eagle dealers and Pennzoil, available at Walmart.
Now's your chance to see the most exciting and technically advanced lineup in our history. Introducing Jeep and Eagle for 1993 with innovative new models that will truly amaze and thrill you. See the new Jeep Grand Cherokee and the sophisticated new Eagle Vision. Get into the newly designed Summit Coupe for as little as $7,706 and Summit Sedan for a little more. Or drive away an affordable, sporty Eagle Talon DL for about $11,652. You could get great deals on every vehicle in stock. So whatever you do, don't miss the 93s at your Jeep and Eagle dealer. MSRP after $500 cash back direct from Chrysler excludes title, taxes, and options. Actual prices may vary. These are limited time offers. Buyer must take delivery from dealer stock. See dealer for details. Jeep is a registered trademark of Chrysler Corporation.
See your Southland Jeep and Eagle dealer today.
How does your car sound when you start it? Perhaps a little like this? Stop into Walmart and pick up Gum Out Extra Fuel Injector Cleaner from Pennzoil. Gum Out helps eliminate engine stalls and hard starts while providing maximum performance. Then your car will sound like this. So for increased engine performance that detergent gasoline alone can't deliver, and at the Walmart price which no one else can deliver, add a bottle of Gum Out to your car's gas tank. Your car's engine will be happy. Walmart, always.
Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Saints Radio Network, flies the newest pure jet fleet in America. Southwest Airlines, it's just plain smart. Also, we invite you to come into any participating New Orleans Popeyes and pick up the official Saints bumper sticker for 92. Each has a coupon good on Popeyes menu items, the Saints Super Sweepstakes entry form, and the 92 Saints schedule. Pick one up today. Be one of our weekly winners from your friends at the Saints Network and Popeyes.
Remember way back in the first quarter when I said, do you think the Saints have their touchdown for the night? I was only kidding.
What a prophet. It seemed like I was back in September.
Here's Morton Anderson's kickoff, and it's fielded by Kinchin and dropped out of the back of the end zone with a touchback. Morton had pop on it that time. So the Rams will start at their own 20. This half, they started at their own 20 and had to punt. Their own 25 and scored. Their own 20 and had to punt, or threw the interception, and their own 38 and had to punt. 3:32 remaining in this game.
Looks like the Saints may open with a nickel defense here. Really expecting the Rams to come out throwing the football.
Well, they'll make some noise, and they're not quite of a sellout crowd tonight. Carter from the flanker in motion. Fake handoff. Everett back to pass. He throws for Ellard. It's overthrown and incomplete. Ellard was really set up for a shot there. Didn't get it, but it's incomplete at the 45. Reggie Jones defending 2nd and 10.
Pretty good fake by Everett. Throws a deep post pattern. Throws it real hard. Just too high.
Now here's a guy who led the NFL in touchdown passes in 1988 and 89, and then last year really went south. Just 11 touchdowns through 20 interceptions. A couple of years ago, they lost Dick Corey, who was his quarterback coach, and never replaced him. And Everett never had anybody to really go to for guidance. This year, they got him Ted Tollner, the former USC coach. He seems to have really made a difference in restoring his confidence.
Tight end in motion, Jim Price really actually lines up as a flanker, and Everett's back to pass. He tries to run, and he's sacked by Morton and Warren. 1 yard shy of the line of scrimmage. He may have just gotten back. I don't know if that'll be called a sack.
I think it will be if he didn't get to the line of scrimmage. It's got to be. It's a sack for no yards. I think it was Wayne Martin, and it is, who got it. That's the 4th of the night for the Saints. Ricky Jackson had the previous 3.
Wayne Martin's 5th sack of the year.
So it'll be 3rd down and 10 from the 20. Rams are 5 of 11 on 3rd down conversions. Clock now just moves to 3 minutes remaining in the game.
6 defensive backs in for the Saints.
3rd and 10. Everett out of the gun. Back to pass. Throws. Caught by Flipper Anderson. Incomplete. It was knocked out of his hands by the Saints defender, Reggie Jones.
Boy, it looked like a completion for the first down, but Reggie Jones really rocked him and jarred that ball free.
Well, the crowd will love Marcus Dowdell returning to the field. Bracken's last punt was 41.
Boy, special teams have really come to life tonight. Have had returns of 38, 48, and 34 yards. 34 on a punt return by Dowdell, and he had a 34-yard return called back earlier in the game.
Line of scrimmage to 20. Dowdell stands at his own 37. Bracken has averaged 37.5 per punt. Gets a good one. Dowdell up to the 41-yard line, catches it, and then is smothered at the 40. Ooh, that's scary.
Kevin Green right on top of him, and Marcus, who's shown such good judgment as a Saint, he wanted to bring that one back, but the fair catch was definitely in order there. There's a Ram shaken up at the 39-yard line.
It's a 40-yard punt with no return. Real cooking with the casual atmosphere, crammed full of authentic Louisiana sports memorabilia. We're talking about Stonebreaker's Restaurant in Metairie, serving the world's best baby back ribs. Owned and operated by former Saint Steve Stonebreaker, where only a Saint could make such heavenly ribs.
You know, they used to put two guys back as safeties in the punt return game, and that allowed one guy to tell the other whether he should fair catch it or not. Can't do that any longer with just one there. It's almost totally on his own judgment, and the crowd being loud. If anybody did want to tell him to fair catch it, perhaps they couldn't. But he wanted to bring it back, and the Saints were lucky he held on to that ball.
A real credit, too, Jim, to Kevin Green, who made that stick on Marcus Dowdell. He's been their second leading tackler this year on special teams.
Sammy Lilly, the fourth, is the shaken up player. They've taken him off the field now. The free agent pickup, fourth-year player out of Georgia Tech.
Well, the Saints need to pick up a few first downs here. Keep it on the ground. If they give it back to the Rams, give it back to them without much time on the clock and a long way to go. The Saints are up by 3, 13-10, with 2:43 remaining.
The Rams only kept the ball 49 seconds on that last possession. Hayward in the backfield behind Bobby Hebert with 3 wideouts, 2 to the left and 1 to the right. From the 40, hand off to Ironhead, tosses the 40, bowls over a man at the 45, up to the 47-yard line. A 7-yard gain for the Pittsburgh product, Greg Hayward. Larry Kelm on the tackle.
Well, good first down running play. That's the type of yardage you want to get when everyone knows you're going to run the football. You're trying to make some first downs, eat up some clock.
Yeah, Darrell Henley came up from that pile after having been run over by Hayward.
That's what you call a mismatch.
Yes, Darrell Henley, 5'9", 172. I think one of Ironhead's thighs weighs more than that.
That's my size. Hayward has 5 carries for 15 yards. Second down and 2 from the 48.
Well, I think we're going to give it to Ironhead again. 2-minute warning.
Not before the 2-minute warning gets here, though. Clock down to 2 minutes. Saints lead with the football. Second down and 2 coming. 2 minutes remaining in the game. There's timeout. 13-10 Saints. You're listening to Saints football.
Hi, this is Wayne Mack. Join me and my pal Renee Nadeau right here after every Saints game on Sports 1280. You know, I've always enjoyed talking about the Saints, and as soon as everybody else has their say about the game, you, Renee, and I will have the last word with your phone calls. In New Orleans, it's 524-1280. Outside New Orleans, toll-free, 1-800-364-1280. Join yours truly, Wayne Mack and Renee Nadeau, and your phone calls as we wrap it all up on Saints Game Day on Sports 1280.
The law office of Cardell Thomas provides competent and trustworthy legal advice in a warm and comfortable environment. This team of legal professionals has served their New Orleans community for the past 10 years. Now, if you have legal problems, their professionals stand poised to help you. Cardell Thomas and his associates has assisted thousands of people just like you in cases from maritime, personal injury, criminal, divorces, and succession. Stop by their office at 3723 Canal Street or call 482-2841. 482-2841. The law firm of Cardell Thomas gets results. Sports 1280 with your chance to talk to New Orleans Saints coach Jim Mora. Every Tuesday evening from 6:30 to 7:30, you can call Coach Mora and tell him what's on your mind, compliment or criticism. The Coach Jim Mora Show, every Tuesday evening at 6:30 on Sports 1280.
There's one bank that lives by its motto of absolutely the best personal service in New Orleans. That bank is your friends at United Bank and Trust. At United Bank and Trust, they make it their business to know each of their customers personally because they know to better serve all your banking needs, they have to take a one-on-one approach. Whether it's home mortgages, car loans, home improvement loans, or small business loans, United Bank and Trust at 2714 Canal Street can help. United Bank and Trust, where personal service isn't just a motto, it's the way United does business with you.
Sports 1280 AM.
We're past the 2-minute warning. Second down and 2 from the 48-yard line. Quinn Early and Eric Martin are to the right. Martin is in the slot. Torrance Small is in there, wide to the left. Craig Hayward in the backfield behind Hebert. Looking at a four-man defensive front with three linebackers stacked in close. Handoff to Hayward, and he gets a yard to the 49. It'll be 3rd and 1.
The Rams call a timeout.
And this would be a good time for you, Archie, along with Jim and myself, to pick a Popeyes Pop of the Game.
Well, of course, Ricky Jackson has had 3 sacks tonight. Wayne Martin 1. But earlier in the game, Sam Mills had a big stick on Cleveland Gary. That's my Pop of the Game. What about you, Jimbo?
I think that's a real good call.
I'll go with Sam Mills as well. He deserves to get this award at least once this year, so we'll go with Sam Mills. We'll pause 15 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Saints Football.
You're listening to the home of the New Orleans Saints, Sports 1280, WQUE AM, New Orleans.
Our pick for this week's Popeyes Pop of the Game is Sam Mills for his play earlier in the contest in sticking Cleveland Gary. In recognition for the Pop of the Game, Sam Mills will designate a local charity to receive $500. Congratulations to Sam. Tune in next week for our Pop of the Game selection, brought to you by your local Popeyes famous fried chicken and biscuits. 3rd and 1 from the 49-yard line. Hilliard and Hayward behind Bobby Hebert with 3 tight ends in the lineup. And Hayward gets it on the handoff and gets it on the first down to the 48-yard line. And Toy Cook cheerleading on the sidelines going bananas.
Just power football right there. Actually, the same play that Saints were stopped on earlier when they had to settle for a field goal. Just off tackle, good hard running by Hayward, fine blocking on the left side.
That's the Saints' first 3rd down conversion of the second half.
Good time for it.
Well, the Saints have held their average, just allowing their opponents 10 points once again tonight. That's the average Saints have had this year, which I believe is 2nd in the league. And the Eagles had some points scored on them today.
And the Saints were averaging 12 points per game coming into this game, and they scored 13.
Hey, going up.
Rams had called a timeout. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 48th and 19th first down of the ball game for the Saints.
Well, the Saints just like to keep the thrill in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they could have, it looked like, really blow the Rams out early, but missed opportunities. An interception in the end zone in the second quarter when it looked like the Saints were going to make it 14-0 was very costly, but right now they're a minute and 47 away from being 4-2.
Well, Bobby will just nail on it now. No reason to try a handoff. Rams cannot stop the clock.
Hebert kneels and will lose 2 yards back to the 50, and one of the Rams, Kevin Green, was up on the shoulders of a couple of Saints players. I just dropped it. -1, so it'll be 2nd down and 11. At the 49 now, clock moving with 1, 2, 3 on the scoreboard. But the bigger numbers are 13-10. Saints will move to 4-2 on the year. Rams will drop to 2-4 on the year, and the Saints stay 1 game back of San Francisco in the West.
Rams go to the Meadowlands, take on the Giants next week, and the Saints will be in Phoenix.
1:02 on the clock. Hebert kneels again. The play clock resets at 45 with 53 seconds on the scoreboard. So it'll be time for one more kneel on this Sunday night.
A win is a win is a win.
That's right. The Saints came out operating with their greatest offensive efficiency of the season. Had their first lead at the half of any game this year. But it got a little hairy here in the second half until the defense rose to the occasion. And Marcus Dowdell did a good job of returning punts to help set up the game-winning field goal. His 32-yard return got him in motion.
23 on the game clock, 10 on the play clock.
Saints will finish with 19 first downs and 302 yards in total offense.
Hebert kneels with 12 seconds remaining, and that's going to do it. Saints beat the Rams here in the Superdome 13-10. 3 seconds, 2. Coach Mora shakes hands with Coach Knox as we speak, and that's the ending gun. That's today's game broadcast. The final score, Saints 13, Rams 10. Now, stay tuned for the wrap-up show coming up in 2 minutes. You're listening to Saints football.
Listen to the Archie Manning Monday Morning Quarterback Show every Monday morning, 7 till 8:30 on the home of the Saints, Sports 1280. Join Dave Garrett, the voice of the Saints, and All-American All-Pro Archie Manning at Stonebreakers Restaurant on Edenborn behind Swegman's off Veteran. A continental breakfast will be available, and you can put your 2 cents worth in about the Saints and their opponents. Audience participation, call-in, and prizes, all on the Archie Manning Monday Morning Quarterback Show every Monday morning, 7 to 8:30, exclusively on Sports 1280. Before you make a loan to fix your home, find a lender who will fix your rate. Come into Jefferson Savings and Loan. Our low home improvement rates let you know up front you've got a good deal. And our fixed rates let you know it will stay good for the life of your loan. When the time is right, the place is Jefferson Savings for all your financial needs. Jefferson Savings and Loan Association, an equal housing lender. Whatever you choose, you'll save at Shoetown and Put in Fashion's half-price apparel sale. Buy any apparel item at our everyday low price and get the second of equal or lesser value for half price. Got that? Choose any apparel item. Buy one, and the second of equal or lesser value is half price at Shoetown and Put in Fashion. Save up to 30% on name brand athletics. Reebok, Converse, Fila, Pony, and Nike. Men's, women's, and children's athletics. Up to 30% off and half price on apparel during our anniversary at Shoetown.
Uh-oh, looks like he's going to be out of the game.
If you just got put on injured reserve or want to stay in the game, the Sports Medicine Center at Lakeside Hospital can help. A full range of medical professionals are trained to treat everyone from pro athletes, weekend warriors, or Little League champs. The Sports Medicine team can show you how to overcome existing injuries or prevent new ones using modern fitness equipment and medical technology. From sprained ankles to the most complicated injuries. The Sports Medicine Center at Lakeside Hospital. Call 885-FITT. That's 885-3488.
New Orleans, Sports 1280.
Saints football proudly sponsored on radio by Southwest Airlines, providing frequent flights and low fares, which is why flying Southwest Airlines is just plain smart. And by Popeye's famous fried chicken and biscuits, official training table product of the New Orleans Saints. And by Ford Quality Care. It may be your car, but it's still our baby.
Welcome back to the Saints postgame show. Dave Garrett along with Jim Henderson, who has left to go to the locker room, and we'll talk with the victorious coach Jim Mora and players in just a while. Saints win their 4th of the season, now 4-2 on the year, and here's how it happened. Saints won the toss and elected to receive and took the opening kickoff from their 16-yard line and marched 12 plays and 84 yards. In that drive, Vaughn Dunbar had an 8-yard run. Quinn Early on a 3rd down and 2 caught a 10-yard pass. Eric Martin on a 1st and 10 caught a 13-yard pass. Eric Martin then caught a 23-yard pass on a 3rd down and 6. But it was only a 5-yard pass that counted most on 3rd and 2 from the 5-yard line. Bobby Hebert splits the seam of 3 defenders for the Saints' first touchdown of the game. Hebert out of the shotgun, snap back in good shape, throw to the end zone, touchdown Saints, Eric Martin, right in between 3 defenders. 12 plays, 84 yards. Time of possession, 7:15 to start the game, with 7:45 remaining first period. Point after puts the Saints up by a score of 7-0. On Jim Everett and the Rams' first offensive possession, 3 plays and out. Saints take back over and have to run 3 plays, and Tommy Barnhart punted 55 yards away. Well, another first down picked up. They're only one of the first quarter for the Rams, but the Rams had to punt it back to the Saints, and the Saints were driving when they got down to the 3-yard line, 1st down and goal. On their first play, they gained a yard to the 2. On their second play, they gained a yard to the 1. It was 3rd down and goal at the 1-yard line when Leon White made this big defensive play. Wainwright in motion, handoff, fake, bootleg. Hebert looks to the end zone, throws as he's hit. It's in and out of the hands of the would-be receiver, intercepted. Rams will run it back to the 10, up to the 20. Leon White still running to the 30. He's finally tackled at the 39-yard line. Rams take over at the 39 and drive all the way down to the Saints' 9-yard line, 1st and goal. No gain on the first play, no gain on the second. On 3rd down and goal from the 7-yard line, Everett back to pass. Ricky Jackson says no way. It was a gain of 2 to the 7. It's 3rd down and goal from the 7-yard line. 2:03 remaining. See if they get the playoff before the warning. They do. Everett back to pass. and he's sacked. Back at the 13-yard line, Ricky Jackson again with help from Pat Swilling. Jackson gets the sack, 1 of 3 in the ball game. That limited the Rams to only a Zendejas 30-yard field goal. That made it 7-3. Then the Saints turn back around and drive right up the field, stopping short on third down and 2 from the 10-yard line. They could not get but 1 yard on the play, so it's 4th and 1 from the 9. Morton Anderson comes in and boots a 26-yard field goal. We go to the halftime locker room. Saints leading by a score of 10-3. More in a moment after these network messages. Saints win 13-10 over the Rams. This is the Saints Network.
There are only so many hours in a day, so many days in a week. And if you believe time is money, you better be getting the most out of every business day. How? Fly Southwest Airlines, the only airline built to save you time. From the beginning, Southwest Airlines has done things differently to make your business day more productive and efficient. Just take a look at our flight schedule. It's specifically designed around the times you need to fly, with a total of 13 flights to Dallas and 16 to Houston every business day. And Southwest has one of the best on-time records in the industry, so you can get down to business a lot quicker and not waste time or money. Southwest Airlines also serves close-in, uncongested airports like Dallas Love Field and Houston Hobby, saving you time on the road, as well as cab fare. It's really very simple. While all airlines were built to fly you places, only one was built to save you time. Southwest Airlines, the most convenient airline you can fly, with the lowest unrestricted fares. Call 1-800-I-FLY-SWA. It's just plain smart.
When it comes to getting your Ford serviced, you don't want any surprises. That's why Interstate Ford in Metairie keeps the prices for the most common services listed on a menu over the service counter, so you can see what the charges are up front. Like an engine tune-up for as low as $39.95. Stop in at Interstate Ford, 3724 Veterans Boulevard in Metairie anytime. There are no surprises here. Quality care. It may be your car, but it's still our baby.
For the most fun, let the good times roll at the Class of the Coast, the President Casino at the Broadwater Beach Resort in Biloxi. Free admission, plenty of free parking, and we're open 24 hours a day, every day. Las Vegas-style fun. Come and go as you please. The President Casino at the Broadwater in Biloxi. 1-800-THE-PRES.
Welcome back to the Dome. Craig Hayward is being interviewed along with Stan Brock by the Turner Network folks, and I'll guarantee you the fans are down there razzing a little bit, celebrating this 13-10 victory, which is a stark comparison to the attitude in the Dome 2 weeks ago tonight when the Saints lost to San Francisco 16-10. Saints moved to 4-2 on the year. We're in our wrap-up and looking what happened in the game. Rams received in the third quarter, picked up 1 first down and had to punt it away. Saints ran 3 plays and then were out. In fact, the Saints only had 1 third down conversion in the entire second half. After the 46-yard Tommy Barnhart punt, the Rams started their own 25-yard line and consumed 8 minutes and 5 seconds, run 13 plays over 75 yards, and Cleveland Gary scored on a 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. The extra point by Zendejas tied it 10-10 with 1:53 in the third. Saints picked up a first down and had to punt back to the Rams. It seemed as though momentum had shifted to Los Angeles after Everett on a 20-yard pass to Ellard at the 40-yard line picked up the Rams' 13th first down of the game on 3rd down and 3 from the 47 on the same drive. Everett back to pass once again. He overthrows his receiver, who just happened to be a Saint standing in the right place. 3rd down and 3 from the 47. Out of the shotgun, Everett back to pass. He's going long, and he overthrows everybody. The Saints intercept the ball. It's Gene Atkins at the 18-yard line on the overthrown pass from Everett. Atkins picks up the Saints' momentum. Martin gets a 29-yard pass on 1st and 10 from the 18. The Saints pick up 2 first downs. Vaughn Dunbar, who had carried the ball very well in this ball game and ends up with 68 yards and almost a 5-yard per carry average on 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line, commits the no-no. Vaughn Dunbar back to the lineup. 1st and 10 from the 41. Hebert looking at one linebacking position and pointing something out. 2 wideouts to the right and 1 to the left. Handoff to Dunbar, sweeping right, cuts up a crease, fumbles, loose football, and is picked up by the Rams. The Rams get it at the 37-yard line. Michael Stewart recovers the fumble. Jim Everett and crew takes over. Ricky Jackson on a sack from second down and 13 at the 35. Made it 3rd and 24 at the 24. The Rams couldn't get any yardage and had to punt it away once again, a 41-yard punt. But that 41-yard punt was returned dandy by Marcus Dowdell, who was only activated this past week. Here's what the practice squad player a week ago did on this Sunday night. Punt off in good shape. Is a spiraling kick that never turns over. It's caught at the 30. Blocking set up 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. He's to the 40. Down to the 38-yard line. How about that for the man just off the practice roster? 1st and 10, Saints at the 37. Some stats back here in the dome. Total first down, Saints 19, Rams 13. Total net yards, Saints 301, Rams 196. Saints rushed for 135, an average of 4.1 a carry to the Rams 53. 166 yards passing for the Saints. 143 yards for the Rams. Everett was 11 of 20 with 1 interception. Hebert was 15 of 24 with 1 interception. Dunbar, 14 carries, 68 yards. Hilliard, 7 carries, 44 yards, and a 6.3 average. 33 carries, 135 yards for the Saint offense. Cleveland Gary, 19 attempts for 38 yards, an average of only 2 per carry. Receiving, Eric Martin, 6 catches, 103 yards and a touchdown. His longest was 29. Early had 2 receptions for 16. Brenner 1 for 5. Hilliard had 3 catches for 26. Carroll had 2 catches for 16. Return yardage, listen to this. Marcus Dowdell had 1 return for 34 yards, 1 for 0, 1 for 30 plus that was called back. Kickoff returns, Fred McAfee had 2 for a total of 42. His longest was 38, and Dalton Hilliard had a 48-yard kickoff return. So the Saints averaged about 30 yards per kickoff return tonight. Saints moved to 4-2 on the year. Rams 2-4 on the year. Rams play the Giants in the Meadowlands next week. Saints go to Tempe, Arizona, Sun Devil Stadium, and take on the Phoenix Cardinals next Sunday at 3 Central Time. Once again, our final score, Saints 13 and the Rams 10. This is David Garrett speaking for Archie Manning and Jim Henderson. Game producer Bob Carroll. Also statistician Dale Jones, fighter Chris Sturkin, and in-studio producer Craig Logsdon. Vice President in charge of Clear Channel Sports is Tim West. Director of Network Sales, Rob Fields. Executive producer, Ron Hayes. Engineer, Chester Grubbs. Stay tuned for the Locker Room Show, live with Jim Henderson. This broadcast was originated and produced by Clear Channel Sports Networks, subsidiary of Clear Channel Communications, Incorporated. Stay tuned for the Locker Room Show and the NFL Scoreboard Show with Doug Joubert, right here on the Saints Network.
Saints Football, an exclusive presentation on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network, is proudly sponsored by Southwest Airlines, providing frequent flights and low fares, which is why flying Southwest Airlines is just plain smart. And Popeye's Fried Chicken and Biscuits, an official training table product of the New Orleans Saints. And Ford Quality Care. It may be your car, but it's still our baby. And Sears Brand Central, the brand you want at the store you trust. And your Southland Jeep and Eagle dealer. Remember, there's only one Jeep. By Pennzoil Motor Oil and Gum Out, available at all Walmart stores. By BC Headache Powder, no matter where you're hurting, nothing works faster. And by Tabasco Brand Products, Tabasco Sauce, 7-Spice Chili, and Tabasco Bloody Mary Mix. They're Louisiana legends. Now stay tuned for our visit in the Saints locker room. You're listening to New Orleans Saints football.
Sports 1280 is well seasoned. Football, baseball, basketball, golf, tennis. Sports Final, morning 6 to 9, Monday through Friday with...
I'm Doug Joubert in the home of the Saints.
I'm Monica Pierre with a news minute for Sports 1280.
Drive carefully, Bob Noble's Metro Scan traffic.
Tony Doty, Sports 1280 Weather Center. Good morning, Tony.
Well, good morning, Doug. Really terrific forecast for you
Sports
today.
Page, middays 11 to 1 with Renee Nadeau and his guests like O.J. Simpson, Merlin Olsen, and Johnny Unitas.
Live from the Fairmont. Come on down and join us. We're at the Quarterback Club today, and we'll have Joe Dean with us today, Jim Finks from the New Orleans Saints, Coach Buddy Stevens from the Tulane Green Wave.
Talking sports afternoons 3 to 5 with Corey Johnson and Russell Cote.
Between the Hedges, an extremely difficult place to play. Let's go to John first, downtown. How you doing, John?
Fine, Russ. How you doing, Corey?
All right.
The voice of the New Orleans Saints, Dave Garrett, anchors Sports Central at 5.
Let's go to the phones once again. Guys, next. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Real good.
All right. I kind of
Your
like
station for all seasons, the home of the Saints, Sports 1280.
What is your office communication system like? First Communication is the first team in communications. They're ready and able to tune up that out-of-tune communication system you're using now.
Let First Communication compose your telephone system and service. It has some very pleasant notes. Listen to how First Communication guards against breakdown. Your present system's high notes compared with First Communication's low notes. Call First Communication at 464-1717 and listen to your telephone communication system perform like a symphony. Whatever you choose, you'll save at Shoetown and Put in Fashion's half-price apparel sale. Buy any apparel item at our everyday low price and get the second of equal or lesser value for half price. Got that? Choose any apparel item. Buy one and the second of equal or lesser value is half price at Shoetown and Put in Fashion. Save up to 30% on name brand athletics. Reebok, Converse, Fila, Pony, and Nike. Men's, women's, and children's athletics. Up to 30% off and half price on apparel during our anniversary at Shoetown.
Sports 1280.
It's time to head to the locker room. The New Orleans Saints Network continues our exclusive live coverage of the Saints with interviews with the coaches and players in the Saints locker room.
And welcome to the Locker Room Show. And special teams were a shining aspect of the Saints in this evening's game. Marcus Dowdell had a long punt return of 34 yards that set up a Morton Anderson field goal late in the contest and really gave the Saints great field position. Fred McAfee had a kickoff return of 38 yards. Dalton Hilliard had a kickoff return of 48 yards. And all this without new acquisition Lewis Lips, who was out of the lineup on injured reserve, and practice squad player Marcus Dowdell came to the front this evening. Let's go down to the locker room with Jim Henderson.
Okay, thanks very much, David. Joe Marciano, the special teams coach, the self-effacing special teams coach of the Saints, trying to get in there and get us Marcus Dowdell or Fred McAfee for the great job they did, but they're swamped by the horde of media in the Saints locker room, so you're going to have to talk to us. Congratulations on a return game today that really helped spell the difference in this ball game.
Well, our guys busted their hump, you know. I thought we had a good plan. They blocked, guys ran. We dodged a bullet on the fumble, you know, where the kicker recovered the ball with his feet out of bounds with the real heads-up call by the official, and we're thankful for that. And we dodged a bullet on a big return on a questionable clip call. So I thought we had 4 returns that could have helped us win. But the guys did a good job blocking. They really, and the guys did a good job running. So it's nice when everything comes together.
Were you at all surprised by how confident and what a good game Marcus Dowdell had back there? His first game in the NFL and on national cable television, he looked very confident back there.
Yeah, he's a mature individual, you know. If a 10-year vet makes a dumb mistake, you say, well, geez, oh man, he shouldn't make that mistake. But if a rookie makes it, you say it's a rookie mistake. He has no fear back there. He's been very poised in preseason games. He's been very poised in practice. We try to put him in stressful situations in practice, and I'm very happy with him.
Congratulations on the victory tonight, Joe. Jim Mora is here, and we'll go to him before we do take the break. Coach, congratulations. They're never easy, are they?
It doesn't seem like they're very easy this year, Jim, but as long as we keep winning, we'll take them. Any way they want to give them to us or any way we can get them.
One of the keys for you, and you had a lot tonight, you pretty much shut down their running game, didn't you?
Yeah, we did a great job against their running game, and they've been running the ball pretty well. They ran it good against the 49ers last week, but I thought our defense played the run real well, and I think our defense is doing a good job against the run. We're getting better every week, and, you know, I'm pleased with that.
The big 3rd and 1 pickup that Hayward was able to execute that enabled you to run out the clock, was it the same play that he'd run earlier on 3rd and 1 that got stopped?
Same play, 27 lead, slant 27 lead, and we made it, and good blocking and an excellent effort on Craig's part.
How'd you like your return game tonight?
I like my return game tonight. We got good field position in the kickoff returns, and didn't always take advantage of it offensively. But then, of course, the last punt return by Marcus that set up the field goal was nice blocking and nice individual effort on his part. And you know, hopefully that he's going to give us something back there. I think he did a remarkable job. I mean, here's a rookie in his first game. National TV, catching punts back there, and he seemed pretty confident and poised back there, and I was pleased.
Eric Martin continues to perform great for you. Had 6 catches tonight for 103 yards and your touchdown.
Well, I think I told you on the pregame show that I and Eric Stanton right over here that he's playing as good as I've ever seen him play for us right now, and he's been a great player for the Saints. He tied the record tonight, and he'll get it next week. And it couldn't go to a more deserving guy.
Sometimes it's difficult for you, isn't it? I mean, for every team, when things go well for you early, and you had that turnover in the end zone on the tip pass out of Hobie's hands, and sometimes it's awfully difficult to get that momentum back sometimes, isn't it?
Well, we had the momentum, and we still moved the football on them. We just, we couldn't get a turnover down in their end of the field, which helps, you know, because you don't have a long way to go for points. We got one, the interception by Gene, but it was deep in our territory. But we had opportunities down there, and we didn't take advantage of them. We've got to solve that problem because we can't keep winning games by 3 points. I don't think. I just don't think we can.
If you keep winning them by 3 points, we'll all have a lot more gray hair by the time the season's over.
Well, Jim, I guarantee you I won't have any that isn't, if that's the case. But I'll be a happy coach if we keep winning them.
You got good push up the middle from Frank Warren and also Wayne Martin again. And Ricky was fired up he played a great game, but you could see this meant something to him from the very first play of this game.
I think Ricky, Ricky's a great competitor and a tough sucker. You know, I mean, he's as tough as they are. And he knows it's a big game and an important game, division games, LA Rams, national TV, one we had to have, and great competitors respond in those kind of situations.
And you got it. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
David, back to you.
All right, Jim, thank you very much, and congratulations to Coach Mora from the booth. We'll have more in a moment on our scoreboard and locker room show. Scoreboard show coming up with Doug Joubert. We'll pause for these messages from Castrol and Ford.
Today's smaller, high-performance engines are really tough on motor oil. That's why there's Castrol. Castrol is the only leading motor oil that in every grade meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Stop into any of the 13 locations of Dimmick All-Pro Auto Parts for all grades of Castrol GTX and heavy-duty motor oil. While you're there, register to win free Saints tickets. Look for a special in-store mail-in offer when you buy 12 quarts of Castrol at Dimmick All-Pro Auto Parts for $1.25 a quart from October 15th through the 18th.
When it comes to getting your Ford serviced, you don't want any surprises. That's why Interstate Ford in Metairie keeps the prices for the most common services listed on a menu over the service counter, so you can see what the charges are up front. Like an engine tune-up for as low as $39.95. Stop in at Interstate Ford, 3724 Veterans Boulevard in Metairie anytime. There are no surprises here. Quality care. It may be your car, but it's still our baby.
Welcome back to the Locker Room Show. Don't forget, it's a 3 o'clock Central Time kickoff next week for the Saints and the Falcons. Or rather, the Saints and the Cardinals. I knew it was one bird, just didn't know it was the smaller of the two. Anyway, one man who will be catching passes, hopefully to break Danny Abramowitz's record next week against Phoenix, will be Eric Martin, and he is with Jim Henderson.
Eric, congratulations on a lot of fronts tonight, among them tying Danny Abramowitz's record. Catches now in 79 straight games. What does that mean to you?
Success. You know, I feel good about the things that I've accomplished since I've been playing with the New Orleans Saints, and I just hope it continues. Like I said, records are made to be broken, and if some get broken while we're winning ball game, that's fine.
Archie was saying up in the booth that he saw you open against their defense on numerous occasions before the ball was ever thrown to you. And I'm trying to recall exactly what he said about their defense, but he thought it was kind of a weird one that they were using against you that had a lot of cavities in it, particularly early, that you benefited from. Can you talk about that?
Well, they was playing mostly zone, cover two. You know, there was holes in it. It's just a matter if Bobby got time enough to throw the ball and, you know, we run our correct route and get open and, you know, we can move the ball that way.
How about the touchdown that you caught in the first quarter?
Well, it was all Bobby. You know, I had an option route to go in or out or just hook it, and I decided to hook it, and Bobby just zipped it through there, and we got a big play out of it.
Congratulations on the touchdown and the victory.
Thanks, Jim.
That's Eric Martin in the Saints locker room. David?
All right, Jim, we'll be back to you in a moment. After these local messages, Saints win 13-10. This is Saints football. Well, he had one punt of a return of 34 yards called back due to a illegal block penalty that was questionable, and then he came back with another punt return of 34 yards that set up a field goal by Morton Anderson, which really was the margin in the game. He is Marcus Dowdell, who is off the practice roster and on the team's regular 45. He's with Jim Henderson. Jim?
Thank you, David. Marcus, pretty much the way you dreamed it, except you didn't get in the end zone probably in your first game.
Yes, everything opened up well tonight. The guys did an excellent job on the forces. That has been our trouble during the pass in our return game. The forces getting down and stopping the return guys from getting started, and we concentrated on that hard this week, and the guys did an excellent job on the forces, and that's what got me started.
Jim Mora said, here's a guy, a rookie, playing in his first game on national television on Sunday night, and he said he was
pleasantly surprised by how calm you were. You certainly didn't seem like you had any butterflies out there. Were you at all nervous?
Well, you know, I have tremendous confidence in myself as being back there catching the ball, and everything else is left up to the guys in front of me doing their job. As long as they do their job in blocking, I feel I can do my job in returning the ball and catching it.
Even when Kevin Green's about to knock you on your back, huh?
Oh yeah. When that happened, I took a peek a little early. You know, I looked downfield a little early, and I didn't see how close he was. And then when I caught the ball, he was right in my face and knocked me down. But
you held on to it though, and that was the important thing.
Oh yeah, you know, that's one thing they teach you. You know, you got to hold on to the ball when those big hits come.
How much did it hurt you when you were, as I recall, the leading punt returner on this team in preseason, and then they gave the job to Patrick Newman?
I mean, it hurt me a little bit, you know, being a rookie, but I just didn't let that get me down. Go to practice. They put me on developmental. I went to practice every day, worked hard at punt returner and at playing receiver, and I knew my opportunity would come, and it finally came.
Now the next thing to do is make your impact as a wide receiver in this league, right?
Yes, just waiting my opportunity, just like at punt returner.
Congratulations, Marcus, on a great game tonight. You provided some of the pivotal plays in this game.
Thanks a lot.
That's Marcus Dowdell, who made quite an impact in his first game in the NFL as a punt returner. David?
Yes, indeed, a 34-yarder callback and a 34-yarder that counted and set up the winning field goal. We look forward to many more returns from Marcus Dowdell. And we'll return with more in the Locker Room Show after these network messages. The footballs are flying, and New Orleans is out to win the West again. And as an official member of the Saints training table, your local Popeyes Chicken and Biscuits is proud to offer the best fans in the league the Saints Touchdown Special. Enough of our famous New Orleans-style chicken and sides to feed 4 hungry fans and then some. This month's Saints Touchdown Special includes a box of hot, fresh Popeyes chicken, your choice of any 16-ounce side item, and 4 buttermilk biscuits for only $9.99. So come on in to your neighborhood Popeyes for a Saints Touchdown Special at the super party price of just $9.99. Home cooking for the home team. That's what Popeyes Saints Touchdown Special is all about. Pick one up today.
Dropping back to the end zone, Craig dancing around, throwing to the sideline, and it's picked off by Troy Cook at the 30. He's to the 28. He's down to the 20-yard line, diving forward to the 19. The Saints have it anyway.
Welcome back to the Locker Room Show. Dave Garrett along with Jim Henderson. Jim is down within the cavernous walls of the Superdome with Wayne Martin. Hi, Jim.
Hello, David. Wayne, sort of a weekly guest here because of your fine play week in and week out. 5 tackles tonight along with a sack, and you had some pretty good pressure up the middle against Everett, didn't you?
Yeah, I had real good success. You know, he was worried really about Ricky and Pat coming off the corners, and they did that, so he was making them step up, and we just got in his face sometimes.
I don't mean to have to ask you to talk about a teammate, but Ricky beat it out of here pretty quickly tonight, and he's not available for an interview, but he seemed like he was tremendously fired up about this game, maybe more so than anybody on the defense.
Yes, I mean, you know, Ricky, he always come to play, and tonight he was just in a groove. He was making things happen, and that's vintage Ricky Jackson. You know, that's the way he played, and he's a great player.
One of the keys to you tonight as well is it often is for the Saints defense. You really shut down Cleveland Gary in their running game pretty well, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We shut them out, and most time when you do that, you have a good chance of winning the game.
Wayne, I want to thank you very much for stopping by. I know you're in a hurry. Thanks a lot on another great game.
All right, thanks a lot.
That's Wayne Martin on his way out of the Saints locker room. I appreciate his visit. David?
Thank you, Jim. We'll pause for these local messages and be back with more. Saints winning 13-10 over the Rams. You're listening to Saints football.
Sports 1280 is now the official flagship station for the University of New Orleans Privateers. Join the Privateer broadcast team of Dave Garrett and Doug Joubert throughout the 92-93 basketball season.
Good. He was fouled in the arm by King. Talk about bringing the fans and the announcer alive on that one. So unexpected. Newton just jumps up, puts one through. He was banked on the arm, and they caught him.
NCAA basketball from the Lakefront Arena or on the road. Follow the UNO Privateers on their new home, Sports 1280.
He's flying around Brown. Double team. Gets it way out. Almost threw it away. Picked off by Morgan to the near side wing. Out to Connor at the top. He'll jack up the 3 again. Got it.
Coach Tim Floyd has 8 of 10 Lettermen returning, and with the teams rejoining the Sun Belt Conference, hopes are high for another trip to national postseason tournament play.
That gets the loose garbage down to Strickland. He turns down a 3-pointer. Now goes to Bricky, who drives the
Listen to Dave Garrett and Doug Joubert, courtside on the voice of the University of New Orleans Privateers, Sports 1280.
When Royal
Oldsmobile Mazda says they're the dealership that's different, they're not kidding. We're talking really different. I'll let them tell you about it.
We're here when you need us, evenings, Saturdays, and even most holidays.
The people seem more caring. They aren't pushy.
Of course, our number one concern is customer satisfaction.
Once someone buys an automobile from Royal, then they are truly treated royally.
Take it from the pros who know. Royal Oldsmobile Mazda, the dealership that's different.
Sports 1280 has the Jim Mora Show. It's your chance to call and talk with New Orleans Saints coach Jim Mora. Every Tuesday evening, 6:30 to 7:30, all season long, you can call 524-1280 in New Orleans or 1-800-364-1280 outside New Orleans and tell the coach what you think of the team, its players, and its playing. Coach Mora will analyze the team's performance and talk strategy as each game for the Saints becomes more crucial. Listen and talk to New Orleans Saints coach Jim Mora every Tuesday evening, 6:30 to 7:30, exclusively on Sports 1280.
Sam Mills in the Saints locker room. Sam, so often the Saints rely on their special teams, their kicking game, and their defense to win the game for them, and you guys came through again tonight.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job, especially against the run early in the game, to shut that down and force them into a passing game, and did a good job of putting pressure on Everett.
You held them to 53 net yards rushing and to 143 net yards passing. Ricky had a fine game tonight, and you also got some penetration up the middle. You're getting a pretty strong rush up the middle. And that's really the key to Everett, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to put the pressure on him. If you allow him to sit back there and read his receivers, 1, 2, and 3 receivers, he's going to beat you.
This would have seemed to have been an opportunity if the Saints were to go it all flat. This might have been one of them, based on those tough first 5 games. Everybody looks at the schedule. You saw what the Rams did last year, and they were off to a little bit of a difficult start this year. Did you sense any potential for a letdown on the part of this team this week?
No, because we realize that whenever you're playing a division game, you're in for a battle, and we treated it that way. We treated that team as if they had the same record as we have. And it looks like Everett, after a really rough last couple of years, kind of looks like the Jim Everett of old when he can step up there and throw those ropes to Ellard and Flipper Anderson 20 and 30 yards down the field, doesn't he? He's a talented quarterback, and we have a lot of respect for him, and we know we have to get the pressure on him, and we did tonight. Well, congratulations on the win, and thanks a lot for the visit. Thanks. That's Sam Mills down in the Victoria Saints locker room that's emptying very rapidly. Back upstairs to you, David.
And we all know where they're headed. We'll pause for these final network messages and be back with a final word in a moment after this for Castrol and Tabasco brand products. Final words from the locker room. Once again, the Saints rushing 135 yards, passing 166 yards. Total offense for this evening for the Saints, 301 yards. Leading rusher, Vaughn Dunbar, 14 carries, 68 yards. Dalton Hilliard, 7 carries, 44 yards, a 6.3 average. Tonight, Jim Everett was 11 of 20 for 165. He was sacked 4 times in the game, and he had 1 interception. Hebert was 15 of 24 for 166, 1 interception and 1 touchdown pass tonight. The important touchdown pass to Eric Martin for 5 yards back in the first quarter of play. Martin led receivers, 6 receptions, 103 yards. Saints are now 4-2 on the year, 1 game back of San Francisco in the West, and are on to Phoenix next week to take on the Cardinals. 3 o'clock Central Time kickoff. You'll hear that game right here on the Saints Radio Network. 1:40 airtime with Doug Joubert in our tailgate show live from Hooters out in Metairie. Thanks to everyone involved, to Karen Trasher for helping us out in the booth tonight, also to Chris Sturkin, our spotter, and also to Bob Carroll for turning the right knobs and pushing the correct buttons. Also to our soup bone indeed, Craig Logston back at the studio. That's today's Locker Room Show. Our thanks to Jim Henderson. Stay tuned for the NFL Scoreboard Show with Doug Joubert on many of these Saints Network stations. Once again, the final score, Saints 13, Rams 10. Airtime for next week's Saints and Phoenix game is set for 1:40 in the afternoon. Game time at 3 o'clock. Remember the Archie Manning Monday morning quarterback show at 7 a.m., the Jim Mora call-in show at 6:30 on Tuesday nights from the studios of our flagship station and from Coach Mora's office, and the Jim Vink Show Wednesday night live from Stonebreakers in Metairie at 6:30. This is David Garrett from the Superdome. Saints win. Let's party, everyone. Good night, everybody.